Oh, I guess we're going to have to stop talking about crazy stories from my wild past. Hey, so it is the CES after show today. We're going to stream live for, I think we got 3, 4 hours. What do you think, Austin? Is it 3, 4 hours somewhere?
I believe it
And
is 4 because we're going till 1.
yeah, so we got some great speakers coming in. CES has been exhausting as fuck. A lot of great events going on. I think I've seen the entire country of Korea's technology companies walk through there. Had to go see my guys from Fly. And yeah, so we're just waiting for some guests. And while we're waiting, we're going to do chit chatting. And if you're catching this live stream on Twitter and you want to post a question, well, I'll be honest with you. I'll be the first guy to read that question because we're going to do it just like that. So we're seeing some things here at CES this year that are wrap-up show. Okay, I guess it's not really wrapping shit up.
Yeah, I was able
to
change it on YouTube. I wasn't able
no.
to change it on your Twitter.
Yeah, we'll change it later. It's not really the wrap-up show. We're just it's the after party. So I mean, how many after parties can you have in CES? Let me pin this so that
Is there
everyone
a
can
limit?
see what's going on. All right, like I said, if you got a question, post a question in the comments, and yeah, you'll be famous. I'll read your question real time. I mean, by the way, Elon, if you've got a question, I got a couple of questions for you. We should be talking. Not exactly sure. February 3rd, we're doing the kickoff show for the NFL Pro Bowl. February 7th, we're doing the Super Bowl kickoff show here in Vegas with some pretty good guests. I'll announce those online as we get closer and I get out of the weeds and get my voice back. I think I'm going to drink probably a gallon of water throughout the next 4 hours. So see if we can keep my voice hydrated and I can actually get some clarity to what I'm saying. Hey, Austin, if I can get that power cord for the iPhone, that'd be great as hell.
Yep, I got you.
Hate to run out of juice and then not be able to answer any questions. So here's a good question. What's been the most interesting thing I've seen at CES? I think this year you're seeing a lot of companies like Microsoft and obviously Meta really make a push for the metaverse. But what you're also seeing that I think is going to be huge that I've been super impressed with is augmented reality. And I think as much as people think the metaverse is going to be epic, I think augmented reality is going to be just as epic and probably scales better than the metaverse does. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe Meta's working on some scaling things that make the metaverse more scalable. But I think augmented reality is some things that you're going to see a lot about, especially with augmented reality glasses. And that's one thing that I've been super impressed with is how augmented reality is being used. And the cool things, it's no longer running around looking for Pokemon Ghost shit, which, by the way, I'll tell you an interesting story in Vegas. I'm driving to a sushi place, Umiya Sushi, which, by the way, if you're ever in Vegas, that place kills it. They just crush it. And I'm in traffic. That's Austin, by the way. He's our trade show model for the show. Yes. Needs to lose a few pounds, but
I'm 2X right now. That's what
he wants. He's going to talk himself into that whole 2X thing. And the nice thing is we've got Lana here with Mickey D's, and I think we're going to have her on the show today a little bit because I'll be honest with you, she is by far and away the most interesting female comedian I've ever met in my life. That girl has insane energy. And her stories crush it. Hey, Lana, get over here. So, like I said, augmented reality is turning out to be a good thing.
I like your shirt.
No, grab a headset. We're live.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Let me take off my jingle.
So she's Lana, and she's a comedian, but she definitely is on the edgy side of comedy. And I couldn't be more excited to have a chance to talk to her again. We talked a little bit the other day. We haven't chopped up that interview, but she had some stories that I'll be honest with you. Just when you realize, fuck, I'm 56. I think I've seen and heard it all. Here comes Lana with her story, and you're like, okay, I'll be honest with you, I didn't see that one coming.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Lana. Lana, tell them who you are, what you do, and why you do it.
Thank you. I am Lana Cherries. I'm a comedian. My day job, I own a business doing patio screen doors. But my hobby really is comedy and like a comedic podcast. So I actually just started doing a my comedy podcast on my birthday, which is January 5th. And it was a lot of fun. And I actually do comedy because I'm just fucking funny. I'm a vibe. I'm a super vibe.
I will say you are fucking funny. Like,
Thanks.
and your energy is off the charts. Like
Thanks.
you really have a passion for it. Like it's not like you're doing it as a shtick. You really do have a passion for it.
1,000%.
There's a lot in life that you'll learn about people and the ones that are successful and the ones that aren't. The people in life that succeed, the ones that actually make it, the 1%ers, the one ingredient that they all have is they have a passion for the things that they're doing. They have a passion for what they're pursuing, and they have a purpose and a passion.
Right.
And you have a purpose and you have passion. 100%, like literally 100%. If you don't lose those qualities, you will absolutely crush it, whether it's in 23, 24, 25. And by the way, you should 100%. Andrew, motherfucker, I know you're listening to this shit. Andrew Schultz and you, I don't care how it happens. You guys got to get on a stream. You got to talk for at least 2 hours. I 100% think you will break the internet if you and Andrew Schultz are on a fucking stream together.
I am obsessed with Andrew Schultz. Like, I don't want to say it's like too obsessive, but like I had a dream about him. Like when I was watching his comedy special. And I love the fact that his comedy is so like he makes racism funny, which is kind of like weird to say, but he really does. I love his art. I love that he can like make racism and roasting and making fun of people funny and bring an actual room together with making fun of each other. I love that.
You know what's great about Andrew?
What?
He basically is one of the first artists to tell Netflix, fuck off. Sold his own comedy show.
Mm-hmm. His own stream.
Made significantly more than he would have made with Netflix.
1,000%.
Owns his own content.
Yes.
And now has an audience that can crush it.
Andrew Schultz, no disrespect to your wife or nothing, but you're so fucking hot because of the shit that you've done. Literally, like Andrew Schultz.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't think he's funny at all.
He's fucking hilarious. You're just a fucking hater.
Maybe I am just a hater.
Yeah, because Andrew Schultz is fucking
We
epic.
all know that Amy Schumer's the peak of comedy, all right?
Okay, but I still love her too, though. But
Okay. I'm about to throw something at Austin. I just can't.
the water. No,
If you couldn't tell that by my Amy Schumer comment, I'm kidding. I mean, Andrew Schultz has funny moments. I don't think he's as funny as everybody makes him out to be.
What?
But I can still respect what he did because he did go out there and be like, nah,
you
fuck it, I'm gonna do it
don't
myself.
think Andrew Schultz is as funny as everyone thinks he is fucking comical. He is
I'm not saying
epic.
he isn't. He just doesn't tickle my brain like he does for everybody else.
Bro, in my dream, he tickled my pussy. In my dream, because he would, like, I watched his special. He was so fucking funny to me that literally, like, I can't see him anytime. Like,
I'm just going to put it out there.
What?
That was funny when you said it, but it would have been 10 times funnier if Austin said that.
That he tickles his pussy?
Yeah.
If I would have said that, yeah, most definitely it would have been funny.
10 times funnier. All right. So in 2023, what are 3 big events that you have laid out on your roadmap? What are 3 amazing events that you have laid out for your roadmap?
Ooh, just 2023 or just like...
Well, I mean, let's just focus on 1 year at a time.
Okay, so this year I really want to get my podcast to blow up. So I just started it the day before yesterday on my birthday. And
you just started it?
Well, I just started it professionally because I actually started
on
it
when? Thursday.
Thursday, yeah. It was on Thursday. I did
Where,
it
here?
here at
Yeah,
Sticky
she did it
Paw
here in Studio A.
Oh, way to go.
Yeah.
Where was it? On OnlyFans?
It was on OnlyFans, yeah.
You streamed the OnlyFans?
Yeah, so here...
You can stream on OnlyFans?
Yeah, motherfucker, ain't that great? I know, yeah. Yeah, look, we putting him on.
We are.
Yeah.
I'm going to be
So if you take
Pull your shirt off.
Take off your shirt.
Hey, are we rotating the graphics or is it just block quick?
It should be rotating. I can rotate it. Let me make sure.
Yeah.
Put Laughing with Lana. No, I'm like, that's my podcast. It's called Laughing with Lana. You guys can check it out on OnlyFans. But Yeah, I actually, that's probably one of my biggest things right now is like focusing on getting my comedy podcast a lot more viewers, a lot more followers. I think it won't be hard because I show my titties in it. Look, my goal in life, I love this motherfucker. He's so cute, these chibi dinos.
I still don't understand why he's eating small children.
Like them kids.
Like,
Fuck them kids.
chibi dinos, fuck those kids. I'm okay. Just for the record, it's not an NFT project built around dinosaurs eating small children. It's actually, I found out the truth. It's a kid in a dinosaur costume. Now, I'll be honest with you. I think they need to work on the graphics a little bit because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person that thought that dinosaur was eating a kid. So shout out to my buddy Sean White or Sean Kelly.
Sean Kelly.
And I'm 100% that they're going to have to work on that whole branding, artwork, image thing. Cause,
It looked dope.
well, I mean, let's be honest. When you see it, doesn't it look like the dinosaur's eating the kid?
Honestly.
The kid's like, please don't eat me. Like, the eyes look like he's dead. Like, the eyes look in the kid. When you come here, look. Those eyes are the eyes of a kid that knows he's dying right now.
His little smile.
But no, it's not a smile. It's like, okay. It's like goodbye world. I'm being eaten by a dinosaur.
Like that kid looked like he about to run off to eat some snacks. Like,
well, where's he gonna run off? He's inside of a dinosaur. Like the dinosaur is gonna swallow him in a second. He's like goodbye world.
Oh, swallowed. The dinosaur's gonna get swallowed.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. You got any kids?
No.
Okay. You
Latina
gonna make any?
with no kids. What the fuck?
How'd that happen?
Pull-out games are on point. No, to be fair, I actually have I have a scar on my uterine wall, so I can't really it's hard for me to get pregnant, so I just haven't, which is cool.
You know, I got a friend of mine. Him and his wife tried to have a kid. Like, I'm not kidding you. Like 6-7 years, they did all the
in vitro.
They did everything. You know, he put her on her head one time.
Put her on her.
They figured out the exact timing. They literally timed everything perfect. He checked his sperm count if he had weapons in the arsenal. They did everything for 6 years. Finally, they gave up on it. They said, fuck this shit. We're just not going to have a baby.
Yeah.
And I think it was mental because when they stopped thinking about it, literally, bam, like the next month she was pregnant.
Yeah, because stress will actually get your...
I think so. Like
stress will
if
actually fuck with your reproductions.
I think if you're a guy and you're like, fuck, I got to get this girl pregnant. I got to get this girl pregnant. You're like, and that's in your head.
Or you could be like me.
What?
What?
Oh, well, that happened.
Oh, fuck.
What? Oh, you got kids?
Yeah, I have a 4-year-old. Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean,
he was just like, whoop, whoop, oh, fuck.
Yeah, but I mean,
should have pulled out.
I mean, you know, like, I don't think you really can plan kids. Like, everyone I've ever talked to,
yeah.
I don't, and like my buddy's got, my buddy John Andrade, John the Bomb Andrade, he's got 3 girls that I'm godfather to. The third one, I don't think they really planned it, but they were like, okay, cool. You know, she's awesome.
Yeah.
And like, you can't plan kids. Like, it's just something that happens. But even when you do plan it, like they planned it for 6 years.
Yeah.
And then when they stopped thinking about it, when he stopped thinking about it, he didn't put the pressure and he didn't check the clock. And even she was like taking a thermometer. She's like, okay, my body temperature's perfect. Let's do this.
What?
Yeah, and I'm like, wow, that's a lot of work just to fucking
makes sex
hit the
so
bullseye.
Unfun.
Oh, I know. Like he was like, he's like, God, he's like, sperm, swim, 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 swim. And if you think about it, like I learned a lot about that whole process. You shoot like 1 billion sperm, and you got to hope that one of those
just
billion
one of them little motherfuckers just
makes it to the egg.
They come out at 20 miles an hour too.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I don't think.
How the fuck you know that motherfucker?
So there was a great show on Spike TV back in the day called Mansers.
Oh, really?
They answered that question.
Okay, so here's the crazy thing. I don't think everybody shoots at 20 miles an hour. I'm pretty.
He's like, I shoot at 5. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm pretty sure I've seen some of my shots where it's like, and then boom, right
there. Oh, goddamn. It was a dribble, not a squirt.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like, if it's going at 20 miles, I figure you're hitting the headboard and, like, leaving dents or bullet holes. like, next girl that comes into your bedroom, like, are those bullet holes? No. My shit comes out at 20 miles an hour.
That's what you get to look forward to.
You go to Austin's house, him and the wife. Yeah, this is our bedroom. Those are all the bullet holes.
Do you try to make it in the same bullet hole twice? Just you got
it's
like
a game.
Ammo. I mean,
It's a game.
It's a game now. You got a little target.
Pretty sure that we just lost about 8,000 viewers watching this live stream.
Oh, they're totally streaming even
Wait,
more.
I thought it was CES. They're talking about sperm and babies and bullet holes.
To be fair, I was like, I know I can't have kids, but I decided like.
Oh, you can't?
Well, I have like a 15% chance of having babies.
Okay, so listen to this. My buddy, Mike Nene, shout out to Mike, he's a karate instructor. And one day he was doing karate. I think it was like preparing for some event. Actually, he was in an event. He got kicked in the foot and nutsack. One got shot up, so they had to lose it. So the doctor said, hey, you're one nutting from now on.
You got one nut, motherfucker.
Well, here's the thing. The doctor told him, you're never going to have kids. He's like, the odds of you having kids are like very slim.
Mine are slim.
You got one nut.
Yeah.
Guess what?
He had a baby.
He had 2 babies afterwards.
Damn.
Yeah, so I think the whole never have kids.
It's not that I'll never have kids. It's just that like because I'm older. I'm 33. I just turned 33, and I have the scar on my uterine wall. It's just I have like a 15 to 20% chance of having babies.
33 isn't exactly old.
Well, 35 is that cutoff to where you're high. You're a high profile.
Geriatric. They put you with the old ladies in
pregnancy.
pregnancy.
You're a high risk pregnancy. Automatically, if you're over 35, you're a high risk pregnancy, which is stupid.
Shout out to all the old ladies that are out there.
Shout out to all old pregnant ladies. What's up, 40-year-olds with the babies inside them? I'm glad you still getting a nut inside you, bitch. What's up? No, but I decided because I can't have babies, I'm gonna buy a baby.
Yeah, why not? I mean, buy, you mean adopt, right?
Well, yeah, but okay, so look, if I adopt a baby, is that considered slavery? Because if I have a baby,
I mean, you paid for it.
Well, I paid for it so he could do my chores. So what's up?
Just don't tell him that. They won't let you adopt.
Is that slavery or is that
Exactly.
Just don't tell them that. They won't let you adopt.
It's considered adoption.
You know, it's funny, like kids these days, like when I was growing up, if my grandmother told me to do shit, I just did that because otherwise I was getting hit with a wooden spoon. These days, you tell kids to do it, they're like, fuck that, I'm not doing it. And then they're like, make me do it. And then you're like, fuck, I can't even hit this kid anymore. Like my buddy's like, I can't hit my kids. I'm worried about losing my kids.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to put it right here on the screen too. I'm going to beat the fuck out my kids. I'm a Latina. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to beat
You're never going to be able to adopt ever again.
Yeah, exactly.
Give a fuck. I was like, then don't let me adopt because I'm sure it's fucking to straighten the fuck out of my... Bitch, what you know?
I can see the adoption interview. Okay, now as you look over here on the TV, we have a little video clip of you a couple of years back.
Yup, I sure will hit my little Asian kid if he wants to act stupid. I will hit my
And then Lana in like 18 years, why does my kid not come around and talk to me? I was great to my kid. I just beat him.
Why'd they take that baby away from me? No, but look, to be fair, I really think like the whole laws on like you can't hit a kid kind of deal.
Yeah, there's no laws.
There is CPS. CPS is a whole thing. They have like a whole organization on protection of fucking kids.
Yeah, I know, but like
I know there's abuse.
I got my ass whooped.
Yeah,
I called CPS. They didn't do anything.
That's what I'm saying. There's difference
wait, you called
between
CPS?
whoopings.
Yeah, but how old are you?
25.
Yeah, shit's changed in the last 30 years. Like 30 years ago, if I would have called anybody, they would have like, shut the fuck up.
I mean, dead ass.
We're not coming over to arrest your grandmother. We'll arrest
they really
you
want you to put your kid in a fucking corner. I'm like, that doesn't work. You're just raising a fucking prostitute. Why are you gonna put a fucking kid in a corner?
There's a poem that's going around on the internet where they're like soft men, weak or strong men make strong leaders, and
it's I know what you're saying. So it's strong men create easy
pussies.
Times.
Oh,
easy times create soft men. Soft men create hard times. Hard times create strong men.
Exactly. And I think we're in the soft men time.
Can you say that one more time? Because I'm lost. Hang on. The Mexicans lost.
What?
Say that.
It is.
Say that one more time.
Strong men create easy times.
Uh-huh.
Easy times create soft men.
Oh.
Soft men create hard times.
Oh.
Hard times create strong men.
Oh.
And I think we're in the time right now where we have a lot of soft men. Like if you look at some of the leaders in our country, and
I've dated them all.
Well, I don't know.
I've dated them all.
Shout out to Joe Biden. Anyways,
the best president we've had.
Oh, that old fucker.
Literally could possibly go down as the greatest failure in American political history.
The greatest failure? That's a guy. I thought he was going to say the greatest president.
In less than 2 years, he's created record inflation, gotten us into World War III with Russia.
Yep.
And, I mean, we're not going to turn this into politics, but let's be honest.
But
do you really think 81 million people filled out a vote for fucking Joe Biden? Come on, man.
I didn't vote for him, but I also didn't vote for Trump.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I voted for the bitches every time.
Yeah, I voted for the.
I was like, fuck it, Hillary. We need a pussy in this bitch, bro. We need it. We need it.
Yeah, I voted for Joe Jorgensen on this last one, independent.
Joe Jorgensen?
I was
Yeah, she was
say,
the
I have no
independent
idea who that is.
Was it Jill or Joe?
I think it was Joe Jorgensen.
I'll be honest with you. Shout out to Joe Jorgensen. Never knew he existed.
Yeah, she was the
Same.
independent.
So you voted for Hillary?
Huh?
You voted for Hillary?
Hell yeah,
know
brother.
she
That was the
did.
first election I could ever vote in.
Hell
And I campaigned for her. I got paid to campaign for her. That was my job right out of high school.
Listen, let's be honest with you. If you're not getting paid, you're not voting for Hillary these days.
To be fair, okay, that is fair. And that totally skewed my opinion on politics working that election.
Mm-hmm.
Like campaigning, like I'm so like jaded and like just desensitized to politics now.
I think a lot of people are. I think 2020 made people question whether their vote matters anymore. I think a lot of people questioned and said, "Wait a second, this shit's rigged." And now now there's people all over the world. Like I travel internationally, people all over the world are like, America talks about democracy and all this stuff, and they're going into other countries trying to enforce democracy. People in other countries are like, "Do you really think America voted for an 80-year-old guy that smells women's hair and is kind of creepy?" I'm like, no. But then again, we didn't have a lot of good choices.
So how many old creepy men were at
exactly
CES?
What I was going to say.
Huh?
Let's segue this. How many old creepy men were at CES?
Plenty, motherfucker.
Shout out to the creepy guys at CES. There's a couple of them walking around. I mean, it is CES, right? You get a lot of Silicon Valley creepy guys. Not that they're all creepy in Silicon Valley. Anyway, so let's talk about the Adult Video Network. Is that what that is? Or
Adult Video Network, AVN.
AVN? Mm-hmm. Has anyone had a chance to go check that out?
I didn't go. I was actually invited. I was supposed to be working there as a model, but then I kind of fucked it up for myself. But,
Really, what'd you do?
I just have an issue. Well, I had to wear like a see-through bikini, and the guy that was there, I have an issue with like men touching me and like just stay away from me. No, you can touch my arm.
All right.
Like it's just like I was there
Hey,
for.
Chris, there's 4 blacked out vans out front now waiting for you.
No, there's
I'll be leaving through
it was
the
a
back door.
see-through bikini, and he kept trying to like he was just trying to do those sly little touches, like one of those like, let me see this, let me see that, and my bikini was see-through, and then he was like, oh,
Listen,
let me
guys,
see if this
you want to
fits
grab
right.
ass, if you want to just feel up a girl, just come right out and say it. Say, listen, let me see that ass. And by the way, if they say no, then just take it as a no.
Take it as a no.
Yeah, don't try and slide in and go, I'm just feeling the fabric. Woo, 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 woo.
My thing is like some guys are like, I hate the sly.
It's weird,
It's weird as fuck.
Like if
when
a guy
you're,
just came up to you and say, hey, can I feel that ass? Because that ass looks good. And you could say no, but I appreciate that.
Well, because yes, actually,
Yeah.
in all reality, if a guy actually came up to me and was like, "Wow, you have a nice ass. Can I touch it?" If I find you attractive, guess what? You're not a creep. You're
Yeah.
not pervy.
Yeah, exactly.
If I find you attractive, you're not pervy. However, if I don't find you attractive, now you're a creep. Now it's just like, no, don't touch me, and it's simple.
And
It's
even
that.
if he might not be a creep.
He might
and,
not be a creep,
and you
you're
might
right.
you might not want him to
Judge.
do that, but you just might just say no, I'm not into that right now. But
Yeah.
thanks for asking.
Listen.
Whereas if you're like Joe Biden, you're like, hey, let me just slide this on the down low, and then you're like, yo, buddy, what are you doing? And he'll be like, hey.
Or if you're Trump, you just grab it.
grab her by the pussy.
Let's be honest.
Lesbian.
Trump was the most fucking entertaining tweeting president of our lifetime.
George said this yesterday. He was alive. Like that's what we.
Yeah.
It was like that's what was the difference. Is
He was fucking
alive.
entertainment. Like
I can give you
I would
that.
wake up every day and go to his Twitter account just to see what the fuck did he say today. And when he would rip into fucking Crazy Nancy or Lion Chuck or
When he was talking about disabled kids.
What?
He had like a comment about
No,
disabled kids.
he
He was
mocked
just-
a
he
disabled reporter.
He mocked the disabled reporter.
mocked
There you
a
go.
reporter. I mean, listen.
It's fine. Freedom of
That's
press
right.
doesn't mean anything.
I mean-
Disability doesn't mean anything. We don't care about people.
Come on, who hasn't accidentally mistaken this for not being disabled? And by the way, the guy was giving Trumpy grief, and I'm sure Trumpy was like, "Listen, fuck you." And by the way, that wasn't me making fun of anybody disabled, And
He
by the
was
way,
imitating Trump.
It's not disabled; it's just uniquely abled. How's that?
Uniquely.
And by the way, shout out to Zion Clark, won his first professional fight with no legs. The guy is a human inspiration story. one of the greatest people on the planet. Like literally a special human being.
I have a legit question about that. Can you kick him in the head because he's technically a downed opponent?
You know, it's kind of funny. Craig was in here the other day. Did you ask Craig?
That was a really good question.
I didn't ask him because he was on your show.
Yeah, you
Right.
should.
I didn't want to butt in.
I'm gonna introduce you to Craig via text, and you can just ask that question to him because I actually found that question very interesting because I saw the fight, and I thought to myself, I actually thought that was a really valid question. I thought to myself, in theory, like if it was another MMA fight,
Yeah.
I think they could kick each other in the head on the way down or whatever. But I think to myself, it would just be wrong because I mean you're kicking a guy with no legs. In the head.
Hey, equal rights, equal fights. All right.
No.
You stepped into there.
But I'm not so sure. Like I don't even know. Like I think somebody he needs to help me out here in UFC. If an opponent is down on his knees or down on the ground,
You cannot kick him in the head. You cannot.
Yeah,
kick him in the
exactly.
head.
Exactly.
It's as long as they have a hand on the canvas.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't. Well, in Zion's case, he always has a hand on
Exactly. But he's also not in the UFC.
No. I mean, and shout out to the UFC who didn't let Zion enter the league because he doesn't have legs. But I mean, at the end of the day,
Fuck a shout out. Fuck you.
I don't think you can. Like I think that would be rough. Like it would be. I don't think that would be fair. I think that would be horrible. And I think you can't hit anybody with legs when they're on the ground anyhow. So I think the answer is probably no.
Right,
I know.
But then you just have to let him come to you and grapple you.
I mean,
Right.
yeah, but I mean, let's be honest. Like you have legs, so you're way ahead in advantage. Like you've got
Just sprint.
Yeah, you've got an advantage. You can run circles around him. You've got leverage. The fact that he was able to bring that guy down, even like I don't know if you saw his fight. It's on YouTube. Like it was just. And by the way, Zion fought an incredible fight, and his upper body strength. I don't think there's a human being alive as strong as him, upper body wise.
I'm not discounting him because he is literally a modern marvel.
His modern.
But if you have the only way of your transportation is your arms, I would assume they would be pretty strong. Like I'm not surprised that like.
Yeah, but
Have you seen him move though?
Yes, I have seen him move.
Saw video.
Okay,
like,
did
this
you see the one where he's doing the rope?
Yeah.
Like, let me tell you
This
something.
homie moves like nothing.
Let me tell you something. He is insanely strong. Like,
Yeah.
he's stronger than you can even imagine. Like, when
Yeah.
you shake his hand, you're like, please don't break my hand. And that's
Right.
him. That's him just doing a slight grip.
Right,
Like,
and it's like with people who use a wheelchair and they roll it themselves all the time. They have a much better upper body strength than the average person.
Yeah.
But it's because of the fact it's like
listen, he's working on a book called Why Can't I and a digital community called the I Can Community. He is going to show millions of people, kids, adults, whatever, that the impossible is possible. And Craig Levinson is the nuclear power reactor that's going to make that thing
1,000%.
1,000%. Shout out to Craig Levinson and Zion Clark. They are literally changing the narrative of what is impossible.
They really are, yeah. Actually, because I saw his Instagram.
Hey, would you do
last
Zion
night.
on your new podcast?
Fuck yeah!
I'm telling you, you and him
I
would
show
get along.
titties though, so he has to show his.
I'll be honest with you. I think he's okay
I
with
think
that.
he's okay with
he
that.
fights shirtless. He shouldn't have a problem with that.
No,
Yeah.
see, I would see that's what because I would ask disrespectful questions. I'm like Zion has to give me the disrespectful. Hey, I needed
we got
that.
we got
My teeth
Oxyhydrate.
is sticking to my lips.
Oxydrate in the house. Dane, get your ass in the room. So
You got Dane, Andrew, and Antonio.
okay, let's bring
This water is not flammable.
let's bring human. That is true. It would be weird if we had water that was flammable. Actually, that would be gasoline at that point. All right, so we never did get to what are 3 things that are on your roadmap for 2023.
Right.
3 events, 3 things that you're working. I mean, are you doing Coachella with Kanye?
No, I don't like Kanye. I'm not big on Kanye.
Okay.
I'm just. I know a lot of people love Kanye. I have nothing against people who love Kanye. I don't have anything against Kanye per se. I just don't like his like persona and the person the image that he has for his fans. I'm like, whoever he is in real life.
What
great.
image does he have? Like he's a creator.
Just
he's
a
very
fucking
creative.
dick. He says too much.
I know,
He's
but
like-
let
I
me
know
tell you
he's
something.
smart, but I just
Let
don't.
me
like
tell
it.
you something.
What?
10 years ago, Kanye was a different person than he is today.
I liked him a lot. Back
You liked him a lot. I think
He's woke
I
now.
think well, I don't know if he's necessarily woke. I think he's heartbroken over some of the events that have happened with his family and his ex-wife. And at the end of the day,
Whose fault was that?
well, I mean, listen, it takes two to fail. It takes two to succeed in a relationship. You know that.
But-
and at the end of the day, I think Kanye, the person that he was, is not the person that he is. And the person that he is probably not going to be the person he's going to be in a year or two. He's either going to get worse or he's going to get better. I personally hope that he gets a better circle of people around him, because I think the people around him need to help him become the better person, become the stronger person.
Right.
Who's that?
I forgot his name though, but he was here last time. He was.
We'll tell him to get in here.
Oh, I don't remember.
I mean,
his
we
name.
got 2 empty seats. What are we doing? We got 2 empty seats and we got a dinosaur eating a small child.
It's me.
Hey, get your NFT and you can feed your children to an imaginary dinosaur.
I need an NFT of me. Look, this is my jacket. I need an NFT.
We should do one together. You want to do
Look,
an
and
NFT?
you know what's funny? I'm talking shit about Kanye, and
That's so weird.
I'm wearing a Kanye sweater. This
Wait a
is
second.
me
Let
on
me
my
see this.
jacket.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, that's cool.
That's
Did you
me.
make this
I
jacket?
made this jacket.
I loved it.
And that's Kanye.
How can you, you're literally talking shit about the man and you're
Yeah.
promoting him on your jacket.
Yeah, and
You're
I'm putting-
leveraging his brand.
Leveraging his brand.
So
No, deadass.
hey,
It's
so
just him as a person. He's
you want
entertaining. He's like Trump.
You want to do something cool?
Yeah.
How about we do an NFT
Mm-hmm.
that gives people access to private dinners and events with you, and you can literally make the NFT
Smoke.
a all access VIP card.
I'm down as fuck for that.
You want to do that?
Yeah, but it has to be for smoking. I literally,
What do you mean smoking?
I smoke weed all day, every day,
Listen,
motherfucker.
it can be for smoking, it can
Yeah.
be for events, it could be for dinners, it could be for parties, it could be anything. It's basically their digital VIP access card into your world.
I love that.
You want to do it?
I'd want to do
You
it.
want to do it next week?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Oh shit! This
It's
sounds
happening.
exciting.
It's
Okay.
happening.
Y'all gonna pay the
All right,
the
so do you-
NFT to smoke with me?
Do you have an Ethereum wallet?
The fuck is that? Put me on.
All right, so you got to go to the App Store. You got to download MetaMask. 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 Shout out to my team over at MetaMask.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. My phone's over there, so I'll do it as
All right,
soon as
we'll
I'm done with you.
yeah, we'll
Okay.
walk through it later.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
I mean, it's happening. It's happening. All right, so before we get some more people in here, let's talk about the 3 events, the 3 things that you're going to do in 2023.
So okay, well, one is my podcast. I already said that. 2, I want to get into stand up. So I do want to do more stand up, more open mics. But hear me out. When it comes to stand up, like I'm funny during conversation. I'm very funny during conversation, which is why I want to do like a podcast feel. But on stand up, I know I could do it, but I'm more of a roaster. I'm like Andrew Schultz. I do crowd work. So I would like to get
Have you
into.
done any stand-up yet so far?
I've done 4 shows, but it was I did 3 shows before the pandemic, and then I've done 1 show since then.
Did you have like a script? Did you follow did you
Yeah.
train and prepare for it?
Yeah, I'm fucking funny.
All right. Well,
I have people laughing.
I'll be honest with you. If you can't find a place in Vegas to do stand-up, that's on you, because there's so many opportunities here in Vegas.
No, it's not that. That's what I'm saying. So it's not that I can't.
And I think we
find
live in a
them.
different age right now. I don't think you necessarily have to do stand-up with 50 people. I think your podcast is your stand-up. I think that's the
what I wanna
digital
do.
age.
And because my podcast, I'm actually kind of like working on my podcast to be I want to be the female version of Howard Stern. I show my titties. I talk about sex.
I'll be honest with you. Howard doesn't show his titties that often.
No, but he has his guest show titties.
Does he?
Have you seen him?
I mean, I haven't seen him in a long time, but I don't remember seeing titties on his show.
Howard Stern. Howard Stern was like,
I don't think
he was epic.
Yeah, but I don't think he did titties, because he was usually on some broadcast. Like, he did it in the studio, and you could tell on the radio.
All of his exclusive
But you didn't
stuff.
see anything, did
A
you?
lot of his exclusive stuff had like the porn stars that he would interview. Like,
Was it on a private stream or something? 'Cause
Yeah,
that
well,
was back
he
in the
would
day.
like
when-
the DVDs. Those
Does
back
Howard
when-
Stern have an OnlyFans?
I don't know. Damn,
Like
I just need to look that up. That'd be great.
Like, you could be the Howard Stern of OnlyFans,
I want to be okay. Then yeah,
or
the Howard Stern of OnlyFans,
or the Lana
the
Stern.
female version. Yeah,
Yeah.
because my comedy's super raunchy. I'm always talking about dick. I'm always talking about pussy, sex, and I say the most outlandish shit. I love showing my titties.
Yeah, but I'll be
I'm
honest
very
with you.
confident in my body.
You're
so.
you're actually funny as fuck. Like, your
Thanks.
shit's funny. All right, hey.
What's up?
So you got one more thing for 2023.
I know.
One more thing.
I'm trying to think because.
Yeah, you gotta think. Just kick the brain. Just give it a little
Kick
hit.
the brain.
Come on, let's go. Come on, we need a thought. We
I mean,
need an idea.
to be fair, it's to make money. I want to get a, okay. I
Come
wanna
on,
get
you're
a
making
land.
you're making bank.
Yeah, I mean,
You're making bank.
I make enough to get by. I want to get comfortable. I want to get comfortable enough to buy to put my parents in a home type deal.
In a home, like you just get them. Listen, I'd like these
in a
people
nice
committed. They're a
house.
little crazy. I want them out of my life.
I mean, no. If my parents ever get to that age where they're like too much to handle, then I want to be able to get them private nurses in their home. But I mean,
A
like
friend of
house.
mine, she does that where she has like 6-bedroom homes here in Vegas, and she has one for the nurse and 5 for old people. And like the nurse takes care of them. They drive them in a van. She cooks for them. They have 24-hour
They
care.
actually have that right next door to my mom's house.
It's actually, I'm telling you, that's a great way. Like if I had to like put my family in there, I would do that in a heartbeat because it's better than like an old folks home. Wow, this is amazing. I'm like literally getting people to try and FaceTime me while we're on the show live.
Look at that. But no, I honestly just want to be. I want to get to the point where.
So
I'm
we're live on the
comfortable.
show here, and we've got Luna. Luna, are you going to get in the studio or what? All right, so she just had to put a towel on or something because she just got out of the shower or something.
She called you naked on a FaceTime, my
I don't know.
guy. Look at you.
Look at
Don't
this.
leave me hanging. Don't leave me hanging.
There you go.
Don't leave me hanging. Did you Did you call him naked on a FaceTime, girl?
No. She's got some white teddy or
He
something.
got me. Oh, yo, she fine as fuck too. She's pretty as shit. I see her face. Her face is fine as fuck. I'm like, he got. Let me put a towel
right.
on real quick. You FaceTime me this early in the morning. What time?
Let's go, Luna. I can't talk right now. All right, there you go. I don't know what she just gave some sort
Her
of sign.
name's Luna too.
Yeah.
She
What-
gave you a full moon.
What does that mean? Like, what is that? Is that half a heart or like?
Oh yeah, this is a half a heart. Yes, it's
All right.
this.
She said she loves Lana. She said,
Oh, love you too.
connect me and Lana. She's cool as fuck. All
Did
right.
she say that?
Yeah, she just texted me.
Oh, cute.
All right. So I think your roadmap's strong, and you just had your birthday yesterday, right?
The day before yesterday, yeah, January 5th.
What's today? The 7th?
Yes.
Wow, I lost a day somewhere. Are you coming to the party tonight over at Aria, 8 to 11?
I didn't even know there was a party.
Yep,
Now I
Maseo,
know.
private party. We're closing down the shop.
Okay.
Bourbon sipping in the back room and music. And
I don't drink, but I do drugs. I'll probably pop a Molly before I go.
Huh?
Just playing. I don't do Molly. I like shrooms, but I know I won't. I'm actually.
Hey,
down.
Austin,
That'd
I
be
think
fun.
we got something wrong with the live stream. But,
Hey, yo, Austin.
yo, stop eating
Stop eating that Mickey D's,
McMuffins. There's something wrong with the live stream.
Ooh.
It's not streaming. Anyways, so I think you've got strong passion for what you're doing.
And I
Don't
think-
lose that passion. Don't lose that edge. Some people will probably tell you, "Oh, could you tone it down a little bit? Tone it down." Whenever they tell you
already
that,
did, bro.
whenever they tell you
I
that,
already-
just pump up the volume. Because you know what? Those people, you need to drown their shit out and listen to the people that love to hear you talk.
Speak. Because the funny thing is that I had people tell me like, hey, you know, like you shouldn't do this because it makes you look mean, or you shouldn't do this because it makes you seem like this, like that. And I'm like, but the funny part is that I've gotten to the place where I'm at today because you fuck with my vibe. And this was my manager. This was people that I was working with. They were like, you shouldn't say that to your fans, or you shouldn't do that to the guys or whatever. And I'm like, but that is exactly the reason why you fuck with me, because I am raunchy, because I am honest, because I am very like, if you fuck with me, I'm gonna say something.
Hey, Antonio,
So-
come on in here.
People like my personality. Come on in. The price is right.
This is dangerous.
This is dangerous.
I was watching in the other
Chris, by the way, we're still good on YouTube. At least on this end, I can still see that the stream is up on YouTube.
Awesome.
Something's wacko on Twitter.
Getting it sorted.
Yeah, no worries.
It's Twitter.
It's life. Hey, Elon, could you fucking fix Twitter? I mean, please.
Damn.
I mean, Elon's had Twitter for 3 months now. He's done more for Twitter in 3 months than the circus clowns that ran it for 10 years. He's made the technology better. He's made
Shout out
spaces
to
better.
Elon.
He's made it more of a free speech platform. People are no longer afraid of being banned and Hey, get over here, Ben. Come on, man. Let's
Elon
have some
himself
fun.
has changed the fucking world. We don't give
He
him enough
has,
credit.
and-
We do give him credit, but we
And
don't
I
give him
know
enough
for a
credit.
fact he's getting threats on his life from a financial standpoint, from a physical
Yeah.
standpoint. He's getting threats against his kids.
Yeah.
We need to, as a world, as a
Protect that
planet,
man at all
we
costs.
we need
Whoa,
to
you're
protect
calling
him.
me? Thank you.
We need to protect Elon at all costs.
Yeah.
He is a
'Cause he's one of the
treasure.
more, genuine.
He's a treasure.
Well, he is. I mean,
All right, so let's introduce who's sitting down right now. To my right, he is a ball of human energy. He is an expert on ERC tax credits. He is a small business savant. He is a leader of men. He gets his ass up in the morning. He works his ass off harder than anybody else that's not on cocaine. He is Ben motherfucking Quigley.
Wow.
Very nice, Ben. Can you turn
Turn
more towards your
around.
right, please?
Yes, I will.
The camera's right.
I don't. Oh, hi. Yeah.
You can see the screen right
And
here.
what
too,
is
by
this
the way.
thing you call cocaine? You speak of?
Oh, I got some in my truck.
Good old
Want some?
days.
Hey,
No.
hey, yo, dumbass, turn.
Okay, I got to turn that way. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
There you
I
go.
was just snorting a line. Boy, I tell you, that's the problem when you. This way. Okay, here we go. We're gonna look this.
There you go. Look at you. Look at
Everybody,
you.
give him a great big hand.
Hey, I just.
He does need a line. He needs his connectors.
The cat just rolled in.
Where'd you get this shit?
From George, people love me.
What is that, tea or
It's
coffee?
called Sweet Sunrise. It's tea.
Whoa.
Chris, we're good on Twitter.
Yeah, where the...
That sounds good.
How does
Thank
she
you,
get something to drink? I
George.
don't... Who went to Dutch Brothers? Oh, good job, George. Hey, Chris, do you want something from Dutch Brothers? I'm going to Dutch Brothers. Oh, don't worry, George.
Antonio.
No.
Yeah.
So how was your
Wait,
meetings
to be
in
fair,
at
we were in a
Resorts World
group
last
chat
night?
before. We were in a group chat before.
Oh, wait a second.
Before this came.
Wait a second. Without further ado, he is Antonio Brasse. Is it Brasse?
E silent brass.
Brass?
Yeah.
Brass.
Antonio
like
Brass. He has brass balls.
That's right.
He is a grinder.
Gary-
He is a hustler. He is a crypto exchange CEO. He is a leader. He is a by the book, no fuck around hustler of hustlers.
Motherfucker.
Thank
And-
you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
There, you like that?
Smart motherfucker. That means you got mad on point.
Chop up that fucking clip and send it out.
Yeah. It's funny every time like people hear like, wait, you're launching an exchange. Like they think, what scam are you up to? I'm like, no, not
No.
SBF. And I'm like,
Actually, I don't think. I think SBF. He wasn't the epitome of every exchange in crypto. Shout out to Binance,
Yeah.
who runs their business like by the book, has a great CEO, leader, and CZ. SBF was just a criminal from the word get go,
Yeah.
and he literally set that up. Has very little to do with crypto. The fact that he
Exactly.
set up an exchange with both his parents, who did all the legal work, which basically makes them criminals also. Literally from day one, they were taking people's money, having it wired into Alameda Research, and then crediting it to a company called FTX. And they never really moved the money into custodial accounts.
Yeah.
So that was never designed as a real crypto
Yeah.
exchange.
Yeah.
That was designed as a money laundering operation from day one.
one, yeah.
And
I
it
know
was
another one of those.
architected by his parents, who have yet to be charged criminally.
Wow.
well, like you said, it's not a crypto thing; it's a people thing, right? And I explain that all the time. Like, there's always going to be criminals, people trying to run scams.
I feel like I'm not part of the conversation.
You had
Literally are. You literally are. Just enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
All right.
Chris, you remember Quadriga out of Canada?
Yeah.
I bet you
Yeah.
Andrew doesn't look this way.
I bet you that guy's still alive.
Yeah,
Just
that
look
same
in.
kid. He was involved in criminal activity from teenage years.
Yeah.
So it's like it's the person.
Yeah,
Yeah, oh,
it's
yeah.
the
Totally.
person.
You're right.
Always the
Really?
person.
And by the way,
It's like
by
the
the
Ponzi.
way,
The Ponzi. That's
Yeah.
what he is.
By the-
He was.
by the way, it is the person. It's people that make great companies.
Yes.
And that's why, it's from the time that I've gotten to know you, just here in Vegas, I've seen you and Chad. Where's Chad Aru?
He is
I've,
en route, yeah.
I've seen, he's not here?
He's en route.
Oh, he hasn't gotten here yet?
Not yet.
Oh, no wonder you didn't come in here, because I thought he was here, and I'm like, Chad, get in here, and then I
Oh,
didn't
you sure
realize you were
did.
there.
Yeah.
But from the moment
I'll act like
you
Chad.
guys have gotten
I'm not
here to
bald, though.
Vegas, the moment you got here into Vegas, you guys have literally hustled everywhere you could go. You've gone to every event, you've pressed the flesh, you've kissed the babies, you spanked the strippers. I'm sorry, you didn't do that.
No, it was Avian.
I want to
Whatever.
spank
you-
strippers
It
with
was
you.
at the awards.
I'm down to spank strippers.
100% you're not using this clip on Instagram. 100%.
It is being live streamed, so it is up there whether
Please,
out on
someone
it or
screen record it. Someone screen record it.
But hey, by the way, we got the logo going.
I appreciate that.
Well, all you had to do is work with George.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you have literally put in every minute. You squeezed every ounce of juice out of this opportunity here in
Wow.
Vegas.
Well,
And that screams volumes to you as a person. That screams volumes to you as a leader, and that screams volumes to Blockquake and its future and its roadmap.
No, thank you for that, and I gotta say I appreciate you for setting up as much as you did. Right. You told us coming into this you were going to go above and beyond anything you wrote in a message to us to deliver, and you have. The many intros that Chris did for us, it's a testament that you believe in us too, and I really appreciate that. Yeah.
Doesn't it feel nice as a CEO, because I don't get that very often. He genuinely, whatever he tells me, he's just softly under delivering verbally,
yes.
and then he actually delivers.
And that's an amazing thing about Chris, because few people do that. A lot of people overpromise and never deliver.
Yes.
Shout out to Chris.
Well, no, Chris knows it too for me. I know I'm not part of the conversation here, really looking this way, but hey,
you don't have to face that way. You can face directly towards the yeah, that's
talk
fine.
to the mic.
You just don't have to turn towards Chris.
There we go.
There you go.
Well, I got to look at him.
Buddy, you're better
You were
off
on
facing that way.
punishment.
So-
You were on punishment.
Hey,
for doing the line.
Anyways, how did you come up with the name Blockquake? What was the specifics to that?
So when we were deciding to jump into the industry, we knew we wanted to launch a crypto exchange as our first product. We had a bigger vision beyond that, but that was the first thing. And I felt like at that time people kept talking about crypto or Bitcoin, or coin or money, and blockchain technology was so much bigger to me than just having it be quote unquote money. So we
Tap Andrew on the
took
forehead.
the word blockchain and earthquake and combined it, Blockquake, because we kind of have one of our taglines, creating seismic shifts. We wanted to come into the space and actually disrupt it further, but from the perspective of customer protection.
Right.
Because I saw a lot.
Right.
Well, I got into the space because I saw all the assholes in the space.
Right.
I'm I've traded stocks, options, forex, commodities, you name it, like many of us here, before crypto. When I jumped into crypto, I was like, what? I'm trying not to curse here.
Right.
Go ahead and cuss.
I was like,
do it.
W2F.
You know what stinks is
what the
I
hell's
was more of a
going on here?
novice to crypto. My girlfriend, she has been trading forex and been in the crypto space way before me, and she actually handles all the wallets and everything. I don't do any of that stuff. The KYs and all that, all that stuff.
Jelly?
Yeah, the jelly.
You might want to add a C to that. I'm just.
I know.
Yeah.
I was checking if you were really paying attention, Andrew Cartwright.
Otherwise, it sends a completely different message about you.
You're right.
He's investing in
Hey,
KY
you
jelly.
missed the first part of our conversation.
Although, you know what? You probably do need KY if you deal with those other guys.
Right. Aha. Yes.
Good
Good
plug.
plug.
To bring that back
The
in.
blue pill
So
and
how do
KY
you-
jelly.
Sponsored by KY. Shout out for KY.
Sponsored by the Rhino pill.
Thank you for my childhood. Just kidding.
Good segue.
Because the thing is like what you're talking about there. What stinks is I'm pretty much tainted because I lost a lot of money that I moved over, and that was just the market too. But also I trusted in some people with some platforms.
Yeah.
Like I met with them, looked them in the eyes, and like and then they knew that it was not a good place. And so I'm very adamant about anything that you put your money in. If you can't get it out, right away. Don't do that.
Are we back to the KY stuff?
KY jelly?
If you can't get it out,
If you,
I'm
you
sorry.
can't get it up, you can't get it in.
Hey, I think we're all still in the
Yeah, I got
mindset
you.
of what's been going on with the major award show around town.
I think we're having a different podcast.
I think it is.
Yeah, I think it's.
Well, I like the name, and it makes sense. And I'm just thinking about why have not like our voting system gone to a blockchain voting system yet? Things like this. I mean,
Wait, you're asking for transparency?
right? Oh, I know. A government.
It's because of old people.
I love that because
can't
that's my
ask for
biggest
that.
thing is
Right?
transparency.
So
Too much
not to
transparency.
pick any sides, but like the last presidential election really highlighted the fact that we don't have transparent elections, and I've been
Facts.
telling people that for years.
we all know.
But just come from an audit background, like none of this stuff's transparent. I don't care what anyone says. And people were like, "Oh, this and that was audited." I'm like, "No, it wasn't." They used the word audit, but an audit wasn't done.
We talked about this yesterday. It's like banks have the ability, and this is legal, to go borrow money from people to settle every night. And that gives them a balanced sheet, right?
Yep.
But 90% of their money is gone. The difference in crypto, if you're borrowing from a big institution, you really don't have that money. So it's because in a bank, and this is what they use that narrative, that banking, but the difference in banking is that 90% that's gone is a mortgage in your home. Right. So I have collateral. So they sweep my accounts and pull my cash out so they can borrow it to balance their books. But when they do that, my money is backed up by somebody's house, somebody's car, somebody's collateral that can be taken for that people are paying interest on. In crypto, when you got proof of reserves, and you can show proof of reserves just during the audit, you can't prove that the money's always been there, and that's an inherent problem.
Now, does blockchain technology help with that?
I'd be such a billionaire if I was deciding to use
that's
these
what they,
brains for
when
evil.
Andrew and I were talking yesterday, we talked about that, where this whole proof of reserve thing where they moved it around, that was on the blockchain, but you see whatever moving, but you don't actually know who owns what from a legal perspective, right? So it doesn't do anything.
So could you use an NFT for that? Or
yeah. So even though I'm in the crypto space, I always tell people, like, blockchain is not your Lord and Savior, and it can't be applied to everything in life. It has its place, right? And I think a lot of people in the space, they are trying to apply it to everything, and like anything else in life, has its place and its point in time where it makes sense to use it.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And I'm kind of speaking. I know a lot of the viewers are obviously crypto nerds, maybe even guys. Really heavily invested. Learned. I mean, just a year ago, I don't know where your knowledge is. You're probably more knowledgeable in crypto than me. Okay. All right. Well,
I'm over
you
here
look like a crypto girl. And
I want to be though. I really do.
You want it? Well, you got the guy right there, and another one right here. Woo.
Oh, cool. We're live. You got me live on Twitter. Very cool.
So
you guys look great, by the way. My hair's messed up.
It sounds silly, but maybe it wasn't a couple years ago, where just mining, it's processing like a credit card. It's the same thing as mining is like credit card, like processing, but they call it mining. That right there, I just didn't click. Yeah. That little basic area. Yeah. And I think the average person out there, especially when you get into the 50s up, they have the money. The boomers have the money sitting around that they could really, shift to market.
Yeah, I think a lot of people in the industry, they like to overcomplicate things, use big words, not explain things in a simple way to people.
Yeah, because it's new, it's foreign, and it's your money. It's people's money, and they're worried.
It's very new, very foreign. That's why I'm kind of like intimidated by it, because it's a little too new, a little too foreign. I'm like,
it's not new anymore.
It is.
It is to me.
It is not new, and it is based.
How old is it?
20 years,
25 years.
Blockchain.
How long have you been doing it?
So blockchain is just another word for like what computer programmers call like an array of records. Like this stuff has existed.
What's that?
Before any of us were born, right? Like because people were programming in code way back when,
right?
And it's just the word that's used now. So this concept of blockchain, like it's always existed.
Oh.
It's really what's going on is like someone figured out, we can use it for like monetary purposes.
They figured a new way to use it.
A new way to use it.
You know what made me think there? So I was asked years ago, about 5 years ago, to speak up at Stanford. Yeah. Okay. And it was kind of cool experience for me. And I drove up from LA and took my time to go up there. And I stopped at a town just outside, like before you got to San Francisco.
Right.
And I happened to go into a little tiny bar that used to be like a train station stop.
Cute.
Well, guess what? There's a picnic table there. And the very first ever fax was sent from a machine on that picnic table outside there to something in Massachusetts, to MIT. Now, the guy that created the fax machine, I mean, that's pretty inventive, because who's going to fax back to you, right? Yeah. And now we have the emails and everything else. It's the thing is this is where it does need to go, and I think just for human race, as far as we can control the money a lot better with the crypto than we can, fiat. Right.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I do kind of understand is the ownership of the money.
Yeah, well, Andrew and I talked
protecting
about this yesterday. We're like,
You guys talked about it a lot.
Most of the money
did.
laundering still happens in fiat money. It's not crypto.
Exactly, and they try to pin it on that. Oh, just because there's a Silk Road dude.
There is definitely more money laundering going on with cash than
Yep.
and real estate and gold and everything.
Loving
Oh,
this
the gold! I'd like to actually
conversation.
see all this gold that
I'm
people
like,
buy.
I didn't know
Where's
none of this.
How much is it really there? Right?
Gold is interesting because
Yeah.
the KYC requirements are a little different when people.
KY.
KY jelly.
God,
Right.
it's the hey, butt plug. Butt plug.
I have a unicorn butt plug. It's cute.
You do?
All right, we're
Yeah,
plugging
dude.
butts now. Is that a song?
No, we only give those out at Christmas presents, right?
All right.
And
White
there's my
elephant.
cute. I love you guys.
Yep. Oh, you're leaving us?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm gonna go get some McDonald's.
Well, we lost the prettiness of the show.
Yeah, you're going. You're going to McDonald's?
McDonald's.
Is that are we sponsored by them?
Um,
Craft Services sponsored.
we would
by,
not do that.
By it's apparently.
I tell you what, though, a sponsor, Oxy Hydrate. This is amazing water. I absolutely love this
it is
water.
good.
This one's cold. I am going to drink this water.
good.
It's some of the best tasting water I've ever tasted, and I do honestly feel that it helped me after our Wednesday night. How did you feel after our Wednesday night on Thursday? Did you go run your 20 miles?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I did.
okay.
I did.
You ran
I
20
gotta-
miles?
Yeah, I have an Ironman coming up October 22nd. I might do Brazil in May.
Dude, that's amazing.
So
Yeah.
140 miles.
Just throw that out there.
If all the successful things you've done with your life, that shit is mind blowing.
It blows my mind.
At age 67, right?
Can't believe I can do it.
Wait, what? What?
Yeah, look how handsome he
old are
is.
I'm 52.
Oh,
Yeah.
Chris, we have a Zoom guest. Do we want to bring him in?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I took Lana out and put myself in.
Okay.
There you
So
go.
all the way from the great state of Texas,
Texas.
we've got Ryan White, who's going to talk to us a little bit. Maybe
He's joining.
Okay.
any second now.
So you know what's funny, and I think a lot of people don't realize what Bitcoin really solved.
What?
But
It's you can have one of one. Typically, if I send a picture, right, through an email, how many copies of that picture are established that are in perfectly? You could not tell the difference between that picture and another picture. How many copies, if I email you, are made?
Infinite copies, yeah.
Well, there's the copy on my computer.
Yeah.
are you talking
There's
carbon copy like?
No, I'm talking about a copy of the actual picture.
Oh, you're right, because it's one there. There's
Yeah,
that
it's
one.
keeping-
Well, wait a
Copy.
minute. Okay.
Okay.
First, the computer,
Yeah.
right? So my computer has it. I put it into my email. I send it out whatever email server. Let's say I send it out on Apple's,
Sure.
right? Me, right?
Yep.
So I send it to you. You're on
3.
Google,
Yep.
4.
right? So you have Google's actual server that actually does it. You download
5.
it on yours.
Yep.
Potentially, you have several devices,
Yeah.
which could
6,
end up
7.
on several
Oh,
devices.
right.
Yeah.
And that picture, there's no distinction between the picture I have and all of those pictures in the server. What Bitcoin does is allow with SHA-256 to have one of one, like a serial number
Right.
on a piece
Well,
of
what
the
does
Bitcoin.
SHA-256 have to do? That's the encryption. So
No, but what I'm saying is it's encrypted to protect it.
Sounded good.
But it solves like that serial of a one-on-one that can only be held in one place.
you got to admit,
I was looking
Whoever-
for the actual name for that, and
immutable.
no, that just means it can't change.
Too big a word for Saturday morning.
What is that? I've
Immutable.
used it so many times. I forget. I know it's immutable because it's on a blockchain. What I'm talking about is what the original paper solved,
Yeah.
and that was the revolutionary thing because we've had this encryption, this ability for 20
Yes, Ryan.
years.
Yes, Ryan.
As far as the blockchain.
Yeah.
But what we didn't have, what was solved with Bitcoin. And what is anybody on the feed or anything that can tell us?
Well, what you're
On the feed.
specifically
A double spend. Double
yeah,
spend.
there's a double spend, and then you're definitely going down the road.
But do you know what the double spend is?
Yeah, it's I don't know how to describe it very.
It's
simply,
very
but
simple.
yeah.
You can only spend something one time, and the blockchain codes it. So that's the
Stores
simpli-
it.
It's like
Stores it on the ledger.
It stores it on the ledger. So he solved the double spend. That is exactly what it was. Thank you.
You know,
for that.
speaking of
I
double
was looking for that.
spends, we've got Ryan. How are you there? Can you
Hey,
hear us,
I'm-
Ryan?
No, we can't hear him.
Ryan, can you hear us?
Is he muted?
No, I think his microphone is.
He's not mute, folks.
We don't hear you, Ryan.
We don't hear you, Ryan.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Maybe I can read his lips and
Actually,
reiterate what he's
I'm
saying.
going to read his
Okay,
lips. He accidentally double spent
slow
money at the
and-
blackjack table
Yeah.
in the Cosmo. He kept double spending till he ran out of chips. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
May need you to back out and rejoin the Zoom call.
All right, so Ryan, they're going to work on getting your Zoom all worked out, and we'll get you back.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, you talk a little bit about one of the great things that Bitcoin does, and the double spend, immutability, all those things from a technical standpoint.
Correct.
Ryan, can you hear us?
Yeah, I hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear. We can hear you.
Oh,
loud and
good. You got a beautiful echo there. I love it. I love it.
Sorry.
That's okay. He's in the bathroom.
Yeah, he's coming to us from the Grand Canyon.
He's sitting on the toilet. Let me do the Zoom call from the toilet.
It's a small office.
That's the beauty of Zoom is you could actually sit on your toilet and do a Zoom call to millions of people on a live stream.
Imagine.
Yeah.
So Ryan, you're in Houston. You were in Vegas.
Like last night, right? Was it? No, the night before.
No, I think it was
Yeah,
last night.
we left yesterday.
Left yesterday.
Yeah.
We had a chance to spend a couple of days together. Talk about 3 things that while you were in Vegas that stood out for you, either through the events that we did, the people that you met, or some of the things that you saw at CES. Talk about 3 things that caught your eye.
Well, one thing, so I've always been behind the scenes type of guy. So I've been running this company for 2 years now.
What company? Give the company a plug.
So the first one is SokuSwap. We're actually separate companies, but so we have SokuSwap, which is a decentralized cross-chain aggregator. We're on 8 different blockchains, and we help you find the best price from chain to chain. We're very big in education. So the biggest problem is just that people don't know about crypto, people don't understand it, and we're here to try to bridge that gap from traditional traditional finance to DeFi, and help people kind of understand and demystify it. So we have another website called DeFi Decomplicated, which is a news and education site where we, just help get the news out there and educate people. And we have 2 more things coming up. We have an NFT marketplace that's going to revolutionize the industry, and we have a wallet coming out too that's going to change the game.
So talk about 3 things that stood out to you this week when you were in Vegas.
I was impressed with the actual crypto community, the people that I met. To be honest, I was a little bit nervous about the whole thing. Still a little bit nervous to be doing this. I do Zoom calls all day long, but never quite been on a podcast, so it's a little bit different. But everybody I met was just really open-armed, very helpful, very friendly, and it was really good to see. It was really good to see. It helps you really see what kind of people are in crypto compared to what a lot of the masses think, right? A lot of the masses just think, there's horrible people. It's all what they say, black market stuff and money laundering and this and that, and people don't realize
That's just in Mexico.
Crypto is the future.
I've been one of those too.
Shout out to the cartel. I
Yes.
think they took over Mexico the last couple of days.
Yeah, they've taken it down. You know what's funny? I talked to somebody that was.
I mentioned the cartel and he starts sweating. I don't know.
know.
You okay, Ryan?
She's been running. You don't know that she was.
No connection at all.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to El Chapo. I don't know if you get this all the way in Colorado.
Yeah. Well,
Live on Twitter.
yeah, people are definitely having a tough time with that one. You know what happened the last time they arrested him?
Who, the kid or Chapo?
The kid.
Oh, they let him go. They're like,
Well,
They did so much destruction. They killed so many people. They burned so many places down. They threatened so many people that they just went,
Yeah.
forget it. It ain't worth it.
yeah. Well, here's the funny thing.
And they can't get him to the United States, which is what they're ultimately trying to do,
Well-
until he faces someone legally a judge in Mexico.
Well, here's the funny thing.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the weapons that the cartel has compared to the weapons that the Mexican police and the Mexican military have?
I'm wondering why they aren't helping Ukraine right now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's a language barrier.
I saw a video with
mean,
a guy shooting down a plane with anti-aircraft weapons. I'm like, damn, these guys must be buying weapons from the U.S.
SSP, man.
Well, they got. I was just
SSP.
What's SSP?
Secret Space Program. It's right out here in the desert.
What?
Yeah, we're not going to go that route. That's a whole other rabbit hole for another show.
All right, so Ryan, you were impressed by the people you met and the community. What are 2 other things that stood out to you this week?
What's he gonna go to? You're gonna put him on? Is he on a test? There's like 5 things you got to come up with. I'm sorry.
No, I wasn't ready for this. You guys should have gave me these questions earlier.
Hey, he was enjoying.
No,
dinner.
you know what? I wanted to address that elephant in the room that you brought up, Ryan. Which is like I was talking to someone last night. I have hugged so many people, met so many wonderful people.
For the record, Andrew is a hugger.
Yes, yes, I am. I'm a hugger. I love people. I love helping people. And when I get around other people that are trying to solve real problems and create services and products that are going to benefit everybody, I think I get excited. I'm fired up. I love hunger. I love people trying to make a dent in some of the problems we have. So, and there's lots of solves for all the stuff that we're doing. And I'm like, and then somebody came off and said, yeah, it must be nice to be around your fellow grifters. I'm like, wow.
Who said that to you?
I can't say his name. You know him. You went to dinner with him.
Oh, that's the last time he comes to my dinner.
No,
just kidding.
No, he didn't go to one of our dinners.
Oh.
He went to a dinner with us, Mexico dinner. Think Mexican.
Oh, Javier's.
Okay,
no,
worries.
On the hill overlooking the whole Vegas
no
Strip.
worries, no worries.
Anyway, sorry to get divert off that, but my thing is that if people don't understand something, they automatically label it like something bad, so they don't have to learn. I think for me, if I don't understand it, I better dig in and find out. Like for example, I've studied Buddhism, I've studied all this stuff in Scientology, the Quran, everything, because I don't want to walk up to somebody not knowing. I'm a Christian, but I respect all different philosophies, and I'm interested in what people believe, what they think, and I don't judge any of it. But I do want to understand, and when people judge what each one of the people that I think are good people for what we're trying to help people with, and just instantly label us, I think it's,
Well, do you remember when we first met at your house? We went upstairs from your very beautiful podcast studio as well, and on your coffee table
Is that the house we're having an event on February 7th to kick off Super Bowl week?
That's what I heard.
Yeah, that was.
You should have a gathering there. You should. Yeah. It's perfect for it.
I'll be honest with you. I think I've already invited 50 people.
Okay.
So I think he's having a gathering.
Okay. And we are giving away tickets to the first person that asked a great question on today's show. No, I'm just joking.
I don't even know how to get to the
I don't
questions.
think we're giving away tickets.
No, I'm just joking. But he had a very interesting book. And again, I'm open-minded to everything. I want to learn everything. I don't read and stuff as much as you do. I'm more of a kinetic learner. That's how I just learn. But there was, about a certain type of religion. I don't know if you call it a religion, the Scientology, that you're studying.
Yeah, I study everything.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I study everything.
That's what was fascinating about it. When Andrew tells you whatever he's doing, and he's very transparent, and he's constantly learning. And I wish, how many of you guys wish you would have learned 3 languages by now? Right? At least 2.
I should know 3 by now.
I wish I could speak Chinese, honestly, or Japanese.
I speak 3 languages.
Me too.
Hey,
so Ryan, did you get those 2? I gave you time, brother.
Oh, he bought you some time.
I bought you some time. So you.
Oh, I know I was on the spot. I thought I got taken off of that.
No, I was giving you.
This is how podcasts go. It's not like a Zoom.
Yeah, but like you said, education fear is a huge thing. When people don't get things, they get scared. We did a thing for a week before Christmas where we bought a couple hundred Christmas presents, and we set up a table here in North Texas, and we gave out Christmas presents to kids, right? And for adults that wanted to set up a wallet, we would give them some cryptocurrency, okay? And there were so many people that were afraid. If I handed people $10, every single person would take it, right? But if I tell them to set up a wallet and I want to give them some cryptocurrency, they're afraid. right? And it's just this lack. It's this lack that we have right now of education and knowledge. And I'm afraid because I feel like it's going to put an even bigger dent in the middle class. I feel like it's going to definitely help separate the middle class from the lower class when we switch over to crypto. Because I think a lot of the people that are hesitating are
They're
going to
be
move
left
slow.
behind.
That's what we were just talking about right before you got on was because I'm newer to the space for the last 4 or 5 years. Started putting money into it, and just little things. It took me a little while to understand. It's just mining. Oh, it's processing. Okay, it's just processing of it, and the different terminology. And I wish we could figure out a way to get to the boomers because they have so much money sitting around in places that if they could move it over, and yield farm it with us. And that's what we're doing with, the payroll tax credits is we have business owners that are either wanting to diversify and have a little bit of crypto or they're already in. And as we get them the tax credits back from the government, what do they do with that money? And we're having them yield farm it into different platforms and stuff.
So Ryan, you talk about people's fear about crypto, and you've got to really give the president of El Salvador mad props because he's literally not only made crypto a legal currency, which is what it should be anyhow. It should be in America a legal currency, not a security type of a product. It shouldn't be anything else but a currency. But he's not only done that, but he's literally saved, I don't know if it's millions or hundreds of millions of dollars worth of fees in the remittance business because people in El Salvador, remittance is a big part of their business, big part of their life. People send money from the U.S. back home to their parents down in El Salvador. And what he's done there to have the entire country embrace Bitcoin and make it part of their country's currency system and getting away from being weaned on the IMF, which, by the way, the IMF is like straight up mafia. Like they are literally holding these poor countries down with their foot over their neck, and he's literally standing up to them and saying, fuck off, we're going to be independent. I mean, talk a little bit about how getting people past that fear, which basically is lack of knowledge. You give people knowledge, they get over the fear of the unknown.
Yeah, 100%. Knowledge is power. Like people just need that knowledge, and as soon as we start to bridge that gap, and like we call it like knowledge chunking. Give people a little bit here, give people a little bit there, till they get it right. And I think when we see big things like this, like countries adopting blockchain, right? I think people start to get over it. Right now, now that some big companies are starting to move, I think we're going to see a really heavy push beginning of this year into cryptocurrency. I think this is going to be the year.
To buy? I think a lot of us are ready to buy and put money into that.
Wait, did you say Dubai?
Yeah, why not? That's where the crypto
Dubai's
started.
Well, no, it didn't start in Dubai. But Dubai is crushing it from a standpoint of crypto regulation, crypto embracement. What the people,
I love everything about
what the
Dubai.
people in the leadership of Dubai are doing is amazing. Shout out to Dubai.
Yep.
Shout out to my buddy CZ, who's got a massive condo out in Dubai. I still got to check it out.
Can't wait to go.
Yeah. So Ryan, let's talk a little bit about the importance of DeFi. It's one of the things that I wanted to make sure we hit on before I lose you. I know you're a busy guy. Talk about the importance of DeFi. I personally think that DeFi is going to be the big thing in crypto for 2023 and 2024.
Yeah, I think it's important. I think DeFi is important. Cryptocurrency was started up as a decentralized financial instrument, right? And then it changed, and then we started trusting a lot of companies to hold our money again, right? And I'll say, not to beat on any of these exchanges.
Let me help you out. Let me help you out. Shout out to the fuckheads over at Celsius, FTX, and BlockFi who ruined people's trust because they couldn't manage their business, because they committed large-scale fuck-ups on an epic scale. That's what you wanted to say, right?
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Now there's no clip of you saying it. It's just a clip of me saying it.
Thank God it's not Sunday.
What they're doing is they have 200 different currencies, right? They have 200 different currencies, and then they shrink them down into 6 currencies. And then they say, okay, everybody's money is safe. But that's impossible once you made that first trade. You know, so I know Antonio's on here, and we've talked about this. You know, and you know, making sure you know,
Custodial.
he's very on board of how to do it right? Because everybody's doing it wrong. Everybody's doing it wrong.
Not everybody. Let's give a shout out to Binance and CZ. They've done it right for a long time. CZ just processed, I think, $6 billion worth of withdrawals. Didn't skip a beat. He's committed no fraud. Let's give him a shout out. Let's give him the respect and credit he needs. There's a lot of people in this space that literally believe in Satoshi's vision, which is to empower and secure people with their own private keys, their own protections. Listen, there's some people that are literally preaching the good word. And by the way, let's give a shout out to Eric Voorhees, one of the best voices in our space.
Can I speak to that?
And I was going to say, and earned my respect.
Can I speak to that? When Coinbase came online, right? I was like shocked. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. We're going to have a centralized place where you're going to keep your decentralized Bitcoin and other coins. You're literally going to put it in a centralized system. It boggles my mind that people don't have cold wallets and just keep their own crypto. And I'll feel really good.
When you say cold wallet, let's go a little bit further. You're talking about a hardware wallet. You're talking about a ledger.
Yeah.
You're talking about a Trezor.
So because, Bitcoin, you have a public and private key.
Hot wallet.
Okay. You can take that offline and you can put it in a secure device called
Andrew,
a cold wallet.
photo opportunity. Give him a smile.
Hey, guys.
There you go.
So you can literally put it in a hardware device, and it's like putting cash in your wallet. And no one can get it. They can't get access to it, right?
It's actually a little bit different than that. It's actually like taking your cash, putting it in a safe, shutting the safe, and letting no one near the safe with the combination. Because you're basically taking it offline.
Well, you said the same thing I did.
Yeah, but just pickpockets, they can pick your wallet. I just made it a little bit stronger.
If we put the wallet in the safe, can we combine our ideas and say it's the same thing?
I'll go with that.
Or you can put the safe. You can put the safe in the closet under the floorboards.
But I want to. This was one of the things I looked at when I was in Dubai. Another friend of mine was putting together an exchange, and we talked about the wallets and having a multi-sig system, which is 2 signatures, basically to a wallet. But basically, it would be an exchange that nobody ever held your money in a third-party bank account. That it literally was yours, like really yours, and exchanged that way.
Yeah, you're talking about Uniswap. You're talking about
exactly.
DeFi.
It's already there.
Ryan, talk a little more about DeFi. I want us to really drill down because this is what Andrew's really hitting on is DeFi, where you control the keys, you control your wallet. Your wallet is a Web3 connected device. Or not device, but connected
I mean, you gave your money to Sam Bankman fraud.
Run fraud.
You
shout out to Sam's parents who did all the legal work.
And have like 50 million or 500 million in property. I think it's 500 million.
I don't think anybody knows how much the parents have, but from what I understand, they went from not millionaires to 100 millionaires, and they own $121 million worth of real estate in the Bahamas, which, by the way, let's be honest, those motherfucking condos are expensive down there. Well, like if you're living in the Bahamas and your name is Bankman Fried, you got some fucking nice place.
It's beautiful right now. Did you see that letter they sent out?
Well, it keeps having to get rebuilt,
Huh?
You have to keep getting rebuilt as well.
What do you mean rebuilt?
From the storms and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think they've had that problem in a while. Bahamas hasn't
What do you
been
mean?
They haven't been hit in a while. No, not
year.
Bahamas. You're thinking like Puerto Rico or something.
Well, Puerto Rico keeps getting hit.
Yeah, they're like.
I'm going there soon. We got some big things going on down there.
Shout out to all my buddies in Puerto Rico. You were going to say something, Andrew?
No, I'm thinking.
They sent out a letter. Or something?
I always think about the audience. Like, how are we creating value? And then that's the only place I want to sit. Other than that, I want to go have drinks next to a warm beach. And I'm thinking of like how. That's why I talk about.
Shout out to Tulum, where Andrew's going to take a bunch of people and just party and share education.
Have a boot camp.
And I really did enjoy seeing you.
Talk about the boot camp. Talk about Tulum boot camp.
Yeah, the boot. It's really a reset. 4 hours, like 4 hours a day. But then after that, we'll do like kite surfing and beach stuff and yoga and spa and all that kind of stuff. It's really a place to get away from your normal everyday heat that's coming into your world.
When are you doing that?
We're looking at March. We're solidifying the dates. There's a $50 million resort that I know the owner.
Do it in
And
April. We'll do it around my birthday.
that'd be cool.
You can bring
That'd
out
be cool.
a big fat cake and sing.
Is ayahuasca included?
There'll be some other psychedelics that will be available if you want to do them, like mushrooms and stuff
Hey,
like that.
Shout out to all those bettors that bet that
Yeah.
Antonio was going to use the word ayahuasca on the show.
He had some
Who? Okay.
GP, yeah.
Yeah. So
A little shout out.
Shout out to GP and his ayahuasca.
yeah, ayahuasca. I've done ayahuasca actually in Peru.
Yeah.
Ayahuasca, ayahuasca.
Do you
it's all
do it
the same.
before a race? Not like
I-
day before, but
Pretty sure he doesn't
no.
do that. Pretty sure.
No, it's,
Pretty sure that's not happening.
before a race, everything's pretty
Hey,
pure.
but afterwards is it a treat?
Ryan, only because we have for a short time. What does the future of NFTs look like? And will you be coming out with a personal NFT series of your big, amazing mug?
We might. So for NFTs, people just don't understand. People think they're just art. NFTs are access to everything. Our wallet is going to help NFTs be the keys for everything. The keys are going to be for your car, for your house. They're going to be the access to your Netflix subscription. They're going to be the passes for Disneyland. They're going to be your movie tickets. People don't understand the power that they have. And there's a whole other thing that I'm not.
Hey, are you familiar with Ritesh from Ticket Fairy? Have you talked to him at all?
You know what gets me is I think we kind of talk over people's heads. Let's break that down a little bit.
Just act like you're speaking to me.
Yeah. So I only say that because I'm thinking I've been involved in this stuff since 2016 and been lobbying and aware of NFTs, but I think most people don't understand what an NFT really is.
Non-fungible token.
Hey, Ryan,
right?
talk about what an NFT is.
Yeah, and now you even more confuse people by saying non-fungible.
Well, I don't know.
Without defining.
I don't know.
what
I'm saying that
non-fungible
because I'm not the perfect. That's
but
what it is, right?
that's what I don't want to talk over anybody's head. That non-fungible means there's only one of one. Fungible is where you have all of the same units that are the same. Like those bottles of water, they're all bottles of water. You can interchange them back and forth.
Okay.
And NFT is one of one. Non-fungible means it can't be traded for equal value. $1 is $1, right?
Right.
Another dollar is $1, but they're fungible because they both are equal value and have the same basic freaking system.
No one's ever explained that.
Right? So non-fungible means it's original. You are an NFT.
Yes.
Ben is an NFT. Why? Because there's only one
Very valuable.
of you. There's one of Ben.
For now.
So just like
That's right.
just
No, I
like
got
Ryan
clones.
White, there's
SSP.
There's one of Ryan White, right? Would you say that? I've never met another Ryan White.
Absolutely.
So if there's only one and one of you, you're creating one of one that someone can hold to be able to get into their car, get into their whatever they get into, and it's even more secure than a key that you can go to Home Depot
So the utility of
and
it, right?
make a copy of that key. With an NFT, there's only one.
Hey, Ryan, why does everybody in the world need a crypto wallet? And let's even go one step further, a decentralized crypto wallet. Your new wallet is decentralized, correct?
Yeah. So we're gonna hold crypto and a DeFi, and then we're gonna hold fiat and custody, and then we're gonna have a debit card that will allow you to spend crypto or fiat at whatever your local retailer is, right? And the thing is, like we're talking about NFTs, right? NFTs are going to be a part of everyday life. So everybody needs a wallet for their NFTs. Besides the fact that the whole world's going to be switching to crypto, like most people don't understand right now that we're on a fast track. So Biden said, let's test out the idea of having a cryptocurrency. That ended in September. In November, they launched the CBDC pilot program. Okay. And it's a 12-week pilot program. So after that, I think we're going to be moving to crypto very soon.
Well, let's be honest. CBDCs are not crypto. They're their own centralized blockchain controlled by some straight up idiots. And let's also realize that CBDCs that they're proposing for people are light years different than Bitcoin. You don't hold your keys. 100%. They can freeze your funds. They can delete your funds. It's literally more control by government politicians, which we all must agree are fairly stupid on a broad scale.
Well,
Shout out to Nancy Pelosi.
I won't. I recuse myself of that comment.
You big chicken.
No, I lobby with these guys, so I'm more towards sitting with them and helping them understand that they can still get our money. We'll still give it to them. without them making our lives difficult. That's why I'm on the blockchain task force in Wyoming, trying to help politicians.
Shout out to Wyoming.
Yeah,
they
they're-
are really doing some amazing shit.
Yeah, Caroline Long over there, Caitlin Long.
Caitlin
And,
Long, yeah. I remember
so
Caitlin when she started
she used to be in
crypto.
banking. She's moved over.
Wasn't she with Silvergate for a while? I
No,
think she was a
I don't-
consultant for them at one point.
She's consulted for lots of people.
Yeah, she's a great
Yeah,
girl.
but
Caitlin Long,
I think Chase is where she came from originally.
maybe.
Yeah.
So, Ryan,
But one thing I'm going to speak to why those things could be, for every bad, there's things that can be good. Right now we have terrible gateways where we have to pay a huge amount of money to move fiat money over to a regular exchange, right? So if we have a digital plug that we can finally digitally plug in, because right now we already have cryptocurrency on a dollar. It's called a serial number, right? So if that serial number becomes an online digital serial number, which already exists,
well, wait a second.
they
Those,
already-
those serial numbers are duplicated. It's not non-fungible. Those serial numbers are duplicated for batches of dollars.
right? But sequentially. But my thing is
No, it's not sequential. You could have $100 bills all with the same serial number.
Okay.
You know that, right?
No, I didn't know.
Doesn't
that.
make any one of those dollars unique.
Okay.
Yeah, just so you know.
It's not fungible.
Okay.
Well, it's definitely fungible.
I'm wondering what can I
Oh,
use
it's
that?
fungible.
How do I use that information? So you're telling me that I can now counterfeit it, use the same serial numbers, and you're telling me that a banker that they won't scan that, and I'll find out. I have a banking license. I can call and find out right now. Well, it's Saturday, but I can find out if that's an
do it
accurate
on
statement.
Saturdays.
Okay.
I did not know that.
I'm wrong usually 30% of the time. I could be wrong on that. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, but you're willing to take a chance,
least you
and
admit
that I got to give you, Chris. Chris,
I do leap sometimes
yes.
before I look.
And hey, 70% of the time you're right. That's better than baseball.
It's not bad.
Hey, no, that is better than baseball.
That is
It's
better than baseball.
Well,
Hey, Ryan, before we let you go, talk about some things in closing that you plan to do in 2023. Talk about 3 things that are on your roadmap.
Just help bring in mass adoption through education and with a focus on DeFi, and that's going to be through the wallet pretty much. Like we said, everybody's going to need a wallet in the road. So our plan is to simplify that process, do heavy marketing, get that wallet out there on pretty much every major partner, Netflix, Disneyland, everybody's website, and just pretty much help spread the word. That's the biggest thing: education.
You have a launch coming up on the 16th, don't you, or something?
Launch our NFT marketplace, yeah, and that's going to change the game again.
Where's
too.
that going to be at? What domain name?
SokuNFT.com.
SOKU?
Yeah, SOKUNFT.com. We have some game-changing tech. So we've been ahead of this industry from the beginning. We were one of the first AMM dexes to be multi-chain. We were the first multi-chain DEX in the world to have limit orders. We were the first AMM DEX to have on-screen chat support. We keep beating the game. We've just had a issue with marketing in the past and getting our name out there. And that's one of the reasons that now I'm coming to do things like this.
You recently fixed that problem by working with some guy, Champion, right?
Chris Champion.
Oh.
he changed everything for us.
The shit just got real. All right, so he's Ryan White. He is an entrepreneur. He is a crypto OG, motherfucking OG. He was in Vegas this week. He'll be back in Vegas on February 4th,
for
the
Super
5th,
Bowl.
6th, and 7th, right?
Super Bowl?
You're going to join us in LA. You're going to join us in Miami in March. He is literally one of the finest entrepreneurs I know in the space. Let's say goodbye. Where can they find you, by the way?
Just check us out right now at SokuSwap. SokuSwap is our lead company.
You have,
that purchases everything.
You have an OnlyFans page, right?
No, sir. Hey, sometimes I wish I did because life would be way easier.
Hey, I was at Resorts World. I was an adult escort, a male
Yeah,
escort.
this is the wrong show. You're going to have to do that interview with Michael Sartain. Shout out to
Mike,
the
yeah, Mike.
hardest working man in podcast, Michael Sartain. I
Yeah.
think he's literally in bed still sleeping. Might actually be on his way to LA. Ryan, we love you, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you
Yeah,
guys. I
man,
appreciate
great stuff.
Have a good one.
Thanks.
So, Antonio, you understand Ryan's space, the exchange business. What do you think about what's some of the things that he's doing?
It's needed to be done. Obviously, Ryan and I have known each other for a couple of years, and we've always talked about, we have to tackle this from both a DeFi and centralized angle. The two areas must work together. At the end of the day, all of us at this table, we know how to hold our own keys, hold our own crypto, but the masses out there don't. So there's that opportunity to work together. And Ryan and I are always chopping it up ways to integrate our projects.
And Andrew might have a solution to this. He seems to have solutions to everything. But one of the problems is the novice. It is a learning curve that isn't easy, and because it's things you got to do at the beginning to set up certain things that you don't ever do again after you do it once. And a lot of people are fearful of that. It needs to be easier because that's one of the big issues.
And I think
me.
it's human nature. Most people just aren't going to want to learn something new.
Oh, well, that's a fact in today's society.
Right? They're just like, I want you, somebody I'm supposed to trust, you manage all of it. So, this is why it's important for certain best practices to be in place in our industry.
Well, this was really born out of from engineers, right? So it's like, for example, if you go back, I don't know if you remember this or if people can remember this, when Apple and Microsoft were competing for the personal computer. And my dad and I would have arguments because he loved Microsoft because he could just type in the directory where he wanted to go in the file base.
Right.
And I'm like, but Dad, I can just take my mouse and move it to the file I want. And it shows that Microsoft really was born out of kind of an engineering mindset of a directory and going to where you want, which seemed very complicated to somebody who visually just wanted to see what I was grabbing. Yeah. And I think this first evolution, until we can put... Now, what was still happening in the Apple computer was the same thing that's happening in the Microsoft computer. The distinction was the interface. Yeah. What was created, and actually Apple didn't create the interface, actually Xerox did. And Apple basically took it from Xerox, and their team was pretty mad at it, so that they took it, but it was that visual GUI interface. And I think that's what's needed for crypto is a GUI, and that's what people are really, I think, really wanting right now is a GUI that makes that's as intuitive as using an iPhone.
I agree.
I
mean, we all hear it from people. They don't want to type a wallet address out.
Why should
we want to deal with it?
Right.
Why should they have to learn? Now, the flip side of that is...
That's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
The flip side, nobody's making money off of Bitcoin itself necessarily. There's a trade of energy for a little bit of margin on Bitcoin. But for the most part... the incentive to do it when there's the zero cost basis in it, you've got to add a cost to give people that GUI. And I think that's what's tough. That's going to cost us a little bit of coin to create an interface that works and helps people.
And then I think that's the change. The change will happen then when it becomes easy as like what we have with our fiat and a debit card type situation or a bank account. Make it that easy. We have to be realistic. Today's world, people are lazy and they don't want to learn. I don't know. I just my experience. Just like with what I'm dealing with, I'm making it as easy as possible where people don't have to learn about tax credits and everything. All they have to know is you pay payroll taxes and the government's giving you a refund for keeping people employed during the pandemic. That's it. So keep it simple. But that's different than what we have to do with the individuals.
Well, they do have what's called BitPay.
So awesome.
I could tell your arm was getting tired, Ben.
They do have what's called BitPay, and you can have a wallet that's in crypto and it converts it to actual cash, and you can spend it on I believe MasterCard. I have it at home, but
these are things that these are the things that if I can learn these things, and I don't know about these things, okay? Because I'm too busy off doing what I'm doing.
Just told you.
I know. I know. They're talking.
And what Andrew's
that's what he does.
And what Andrew's talking
What
about
did you just say?
is different from what I read in the Financial Times yesterday about the cash to crypto stuff FTX was running in Hong Kong.
What? Oh God.
What?
Oh wow.
I thought all the servers were shut down and they're taken over there all constantly, and CEOs were kidnapped.
Oh, you know what's interesting? So they have this new series called Madoff that's on Netflix.
Oh.
And I painfully watched the first episode. I'm gonna get through it, I'm sure, because I want the information. But it's just so minute, the details they go through in it. And Madoff got up to like $62 billion in that Ponzi scheme, and
no one knew.
And they recovered his and then I looked, almost his whole family is gone. Both kids, one died of like cancer, the other one committed suicide.
No.
His brother Peter that helped him do much of this stuff has also passed, and you look at the whole thing and you're like, wow.
Didn't they have like a room on one of the buildings, like a floor that nobody went to, but like the people that were Ponzi-ing? Like, is that the same one, or is that?
I'm not
else?
to that point in the.
Okay,
I
don't want to ruin it. He does Ponzi people.
I mean, and just the idea that his name is so perfect for what happened.
Made off.
Yeah, right. I'm like,
God does have a mysterious way of giving messages,
and he does. Like, Sam and him kind of look similar in a way, just with the look and everything.
Oh, poor Sam.
You feel sorry for Sam, huh?
Yeah. Well,
You feel sorry for Sam.
Oh, all of them. I feel bad for everybody out there in the world right now that wasn't here at Resorts World this last couple of days.
That isn't Ben.
I just,
that's a Benism.
That just makes it more difficult for everybody else. That's all that does.
But
everybody who does stuff like that, who breaks the public trust, makes it more difficult.
Oh yeah, totally,
for
absolutely.
everybody else.
Because people that are doing it honestly and genuine, it's so hard. I mean, honestly, you that are such a genuine and just fountain of knowledge. I'm learning things I can't remember now that you just said 5 minutes ago.
Well, you brought up BitPay, and I know we didn't talk about it yesterday, but you had a company called Wire that just went bust. They were like a BitPay and a MoonPay, etc., where
I remember
they were processing, and then they went bust. We found out they went bust because they were taking customer funds and lending. I'm like, that's not your core business.
Well,
what were you doing there?
Yeah, you look at the licenses, and I look at the licenses. They got this, they got lending, they got this, and I'm like, you can't be all those things. And this really, when you peel back the onion, this was passed in 1999. It was the Modernization Act of 1999. And what?
Sorry, I just had a flashback of 1999. It was a great year. Life was good.
Just trying to help people understand.
Well, you are.
So basically, they put investment banking and banking. They erased the line.
That was the
Glass-Steagall, which crashed, which created the Depression.
Oh,
was when
the one in
1929?
Oh, that one.
We've only ever labeled one depression.
I don't know. I was pretty damn depressed after 2007 and 8, so I was depressed badly.
Yeah. All right, so
the rest of it
was the great
reception, U-shaped bathtub.
But if I had oxyhydrate water, I would have been much happier. It would have made me a lot happier. Thank you for making me happy again.
You're welcome.
So
we're going to get into that in a minute.
There goes my effort to try and educate and get people to understand why.
You're keeping it a little bit light. It's Saturday morning.
A little bit light? Yeah, I don't do light.
Okay.
I spend 8 to 11 minutes trying to distill, and I study for hours and hours and hours and hours so that people can.
He does.
It shows.
Real information.
Oh, I've seen his house.
Impressive.
Okay, he had whiteboards at his house when I came over.
He's dead serious. I have whiteboards
in
my living room.
I thought he was given
chart.
like some type of maybe a training of some sort, network marketing thing or something. No, it's him and his wife just having a normal conversation in depth. I mean, there's pages of it too. It's when you roll over the paper, not just a whiteboard, the paper one.
Okay, so
anyways,
so just to set the stage, normal guys can have a discussion with their wife.
Yep.
And they can work stuff out. I have a wife that has a PhD in artificial intelligence.
Not normal.
She has a master's in machine learning. She's a professor. She also has a separate master in finance and a bachelor's in finance and a law degree. So in order to cement my ideas,
So does
or
anybody
her
else feel
ideas-
non-accomplished out there, or what? I mean, Jesus.
So, and
I'm a less than.
she speaks 5 languages.
Okay.
So yeah, we have
underachiever.
we have flip charts to have our conversations and whiteboards.
How many pictures of whiteboards are on your phone?
But we
right
did.
now?
Well, but next to it, we have like an 85-inch TV.
Yes,
So,
they do have that.
Yeah, that's break
And
time.
then lots of books.
Yeah, tons of books.
Yep.
Tons of books.
Tons
yeah.
of books. I mean, I wish I read more. I wish I
But
did.
just to cement this, I'll cement it
Yeah.
as fast as I can. In 1999, they signed that Modernization Act. They got rid of investment banking, insurance, and banking, and merged them so they can all do the same. So these companies have been able to ride under the radar with doing instruments like lending,
'Cause of
investment
the laws.
bankings, because Clinton erased all the lines that separated custodial type money from investment money. And now we have companies that are called American Express that are banks that issue credit lines
Capital
and credit
One.
cards.
They got rid of the Chinese wall. Am I still allowed to say that?
The Chinese one?
yeah.
I rode my bike on that one.
Yeah, it's
So yeah, it's but I mean, let's
And
get,
Andrew is an attorney, but not an attorney yet, officially.
yeah,
He's more
not,
knows.
not
I
officially.
mean, as part of that,
It's
that's
not
how
officially.
like the AIG stuff happened. I actually worked at AIG twice. I remember when when they first approached me to work there. This was at 08.
You worked there twice?
I did.
I only had one company
So
I've ever
I
worked for
actually, the
twice.
first time I worked there was at 2010. I was approached in
another good year.
2008 to go there as an auditor. I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah, right?
Clean up that mess first, then.
Man.
But, I mean, yeah, that's how stuff like that happened.
Yeah, makes you
You know, the laws
makes
and
you want to
regulations-
make water.
It is
You're
actually.
like
It's a lot more fun.
this is so complicated, right?
Surprisingly, it is actually one of my greatest work experiences.
Yeah.
Because this is post all the
Oh,
mess.
yeah, totally.
Yeah, post the mess. Grateful for those years of
Yeah.
madness coming in and helping to clean stuff up. I learned a lot.
Yeah. I mean, that's the side of these large corporations anymore, and that's what's going on. Is we don't even, as the general public, we don't even understand what's really being written into our by Congress and made, and that totally changes everything every year.
Yeah, the reason I look scared is because Congress doesn't read the bills they input.
Right. I'm learning this myself.
Yeah, we had who ran for president out of Texas, the senator there,
Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz. So Ted Cruz, very hardcore Christian, comes on and shows the bills that were just passed, and he didn't water it down. He didn't water it down a bit.
Right.
He said straight up, we have not read this bill. And he shows a bill this thick. When you have a senator, and this is what gets me. You have not read the bill, but you're voting on it. That's like you're going to sign on a bill and you haven't read it and you're going to tell us about it?
I don't know why we write 1,000-page bills. Like, does it?
It's so nobody will read them.
Yeah.
Right. But how do you do that? So does that mean if I sign a mortgage and my mortgage is that thick because I didn't read it, should I be responsible? So those senators and the House of Representatives shouldn't we have like a test on the bill that they have to pass the test before they can sign it?
There should at least be a learning environment, a class or a Cliff Notes version,
Right, like a
or bullet
sandbox.
points, something where they've got the key salient takeaways okay, this is what I'm agreeing to and put my signature on.
They literally said straight up, I'm like a dozen of them. We have not read the bill and we voted on it, and we felt pressured, like bullied, into signing it. So you're bullied into signing a bill you haven't read. We put you in office where we give you a $3 million budget for staff. Is your budget $3 million for your staff?
Absolutely not.
You don't spend $3 million for. So it costs less to put out good water.
It costs much less to
put out bills that aren't read.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, no, exponentially less.
I mean, at least give these guys cliff notes, right?
Right, yeah,
At
exactly.
least, okay, these are the ways we're screwing people, and these are the ways we're helping people. And the only way we can get this bill passed is if we screw half the people and we help half the people. Welcome to America.
Right.
Right? I mean,
but at least there's balance.
there is balance, and if you ever want, this is a good movie to watch. I think it's with Chris Rock or with Eddie Murphy. And I think it's Eddie Murphy. Or no, maybe it was Chris Rock. He goes in as a congressman.
Distinguished gentleman.
And he goes, okay, so who do you want to play ball with? Because no matter who you help, you're going to hurt somebody.
Yeah.
And I never thought about politics that way. That if you help one person, you basically hurt somebody else. Yeah. I'll just take a perfect example like the water. If you make better water that's hyper oxygenated, that helps create an oxygen environment in your body, right? Which helps you, like Iron Men like me, get their O2 levels up so that you can process better, function better,
recover
faster. Somebody else is not getting the sale. Right. So
yeah, which is going to be one of the big boxes. Like what was Chris drinking earlier? Kirkland.
So yeah. So
breaking my heart, Chris.
So I mean, it's inevitable. I mean, I love a whole win-win idea, but sometimes there is definitely a win-lose. If somebody buys your water, Kirkland is not getting bought.
Right. I'm okay with that.
I think Kirkland can handle the damage.
They sell a lot more than just water.
No,
I like your idea about the Cliff Notes team. It creates creates more jobs. Let's do it.
And we can probably just and honestly, I could just take AI today and run a bill through the AI and ask it how it's gonna help. You can use AI now. So congressmen out there, Chat GPT, put your bills into it and ask it whatever question you want.
Yeah, while it's still free. I just saw someone trying to buy the company.
No. They're not trying to buy it. They're doing $29 billion fundraising round.
Okay, so it's not a
I'll give him
straight
money.
up sale.
Elon's
I'll give him
that,
money.
right?
Yeah,
Elon's got some cheddar in that deal.
Okay.
He was
listen.
going to be the CEO, and then he left because they didn't want AI, OpenAI, and Tesla. The great thing though is he laid his footprint in.
What does he have of open? Here's the crazy thing: he invested early on.
Yeah, very early.
That guy literally just crushes everything he puts his money into.
Yep.
I want to say he put in, let's say, 50 million.
Mm-hmm.
He's literally going to 29x in this next round. Because I think he's going to do 290x because they did a round at 100 million when he got in valuation, and it's now doing a valuation at 29 billion.
Well, and you know why?
Shout out to Elon. Hey, by the way, Elon, take all my money and do whatever you want with it. Just give me the same return.
To your point, Elon, we're looking for investors in OxyDrate.
Yeah, Elon. Let's be honest. Come on. Seriously, I mean.
Well, part of what I like about his messaging around OpenAI originally, which is, I covered it years ago with DeepMind when DeepMind was acquired. What blew me away is if you don't know what DeepMind is, DeepMind was the first AI machine learning that beat the first Go player. Why that's important is so much of the game of Go is intuitive. There's so many, like with chess, there's only so many moves, right? But with Go, there's infinite moves. So the AI, the machine learning has to intuitively get an idea. And it actually beat the Go player like 3 out of 4 times. The champion Go player. And this guy was devastated.
By the way, they didn't actually beat Chris Champion. They just beat the champion Go player.
Oh, sorry about that. Did I say Chris?
So
important point.
So Dane, you talked a little bit about the science behind OxyDrate. Talk about the roadmap for OxyDrate in 2023. Talk about 3 things that you guys have on your roadmap.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, we're starting to expand into this market in Vegas. We're a Houston, Texas-based company. Mm-hmm. Love the big state of Texas, but making some serious inroads, Chris, with your help here in Vegas. So we've got a distribution opportunity and expansion there.
You're expanding into Vegas?
Expanding into
Vegas. It's not
Vegas.
a bad market for water, right? You know, it stays
there's
hot all the time. People are dry. It's the desert.
There's a lot of thirsty gamblers out there, and the theory of the oxygen being pumped into the casinos, why not give the gamblers an opportunity?
That's true. They do pump a little O2 into the casino, don't they? Yeah. What was the reason behind that? Wasn't it to keep gamblers more alert, more awake, and more gambling?
Improve focus, yeah.
You feel better on it,
Hey,
too.
by the way, the poker industry. I think you guys are doing some cool stuff with the poker industry, aren't you?
The poker industry? Oh, with the high roller room opportunity?
That and a couple other things. I mean, just, go.
Yeah, so On the casino high roller.
Shout out to
opportunities-
Phil Ivey, one of the best poker players on the planet of all time.
Well, he needs to drink some Oxydrate. It'd be even better.
I'll be honest with you, if he got any better, he'd be dangerous.
Well, I need to take a lesson from him. I could definitely use a little help over how this week.
Phil Ivey's been giving lessons for about 30 years at the table. All you have to do is sit down with him with some money, and he'll give you lessons. They'll be expensive lessons, though.
Yeah, so to the point of expanding into the West, we want to find some bottling partners in some strategic markets. Right now, shout out to Chuck Norris and Seaforce in Navasota. Lone Wolf Springs is our source water.
When you say Chuck Norris, are we talking the Chuck Norris or some guy named Chuck Norris?
The Chuck Norris, the actor.
So is there going to be an Oxydrate commercial where he puts it on his shoulder and says, try and knock this off?
I haven't talked to Chuck about that, but that might be worth talking to him about.
How many Chuck
Celebrity
Norris jokes
sponsorships.
will be out there about him and
it's-
Oxyhydrate?
Well, there's a bunch out there with his brand, Seaforce, and it's a roundhouse kick to your throat, thirst, and just a bunch of different puns that they have in their marketing thing. But the technology set that they have at their plant was perfect for what we needed to incorporate our technology into. So I'm looking for bottling partners, additional bottling partners in the Texas market, because that's where our home is and where our growth has been over the last 2 years, as well as finding some on the West Coast and the Southeast in particular. Have some opportunities going in Florida that I need to partner with to capitalize on.
So I'm trying to think of your journey. Like, what would be something that would help somebody, starting a business that's out there? Your journey, as far as getting this to the map. How did you start?
Oh well. How much time do I have? Because I could go into a lot.
No,
so
I always
You got
think-
2 hours, Dane.
I would
You got 2 hours.
always what goes through. I don't want to be.
It's a good question.
I hate being.
you're
I
an
hate being
entrepreneur.
a babbling buffoon, right?
Or
right.
babbling.
Like I hate doing that. I don't want to waste anybody's time. I don't think Andrew Cartwright is important. Like literally, what's important is someone else's success, how I can bridge that gap, and what I can do to facilitate that. Everything else is, nobody gives a shit about me, honestly. They don't, right? They just don't. And I don't matter.
I think Mrs. Cartwright.
I was going to say, I know a blonde chick that gives a little shit.
Yeah, so, but the reality to me is like,
Shout out to Mrs. Cartwright.
it ain't about me, but if somebody's watching and they're wondering, you got a product to the marketplace in the most freaking competitive market out there. Let's think about this for a second. I want to break this down. And make it real for you. The idea that you're going to bring out a bottle of water when you got Kirkland, you've got you've got vitamin water with 50
Lana.
cent. We've got
Say hi to the audience.
Wait a minute, we got something more important. What is it?
Yeah.
Say hi.
Oh, no, that's Chad walking in saying hello.
Anyway, forget that. Let's just go back to just shooting the shit.
So no, I really do want to spend just a couple of minutes on.
No, it's not important. We don't.
The technology. It's not important.
It's not important. People don't want to succeed. They don't want to produce a product and put it in the most competitive marketplace ever and be on a show and talk to a guy that charges $30,000 for 30 seconds on my own channel.
Okay, so was
That's how much I charge. If you want sponsors, $9,000 is my minimum for 30 seconds on one of my videos. So
Gotcha.
that's my minimum. So
I gotcha. No, was it you?
This
Michael, that was
commercial
talking
brought
about
to you
the,
by Andrew Cartwright Enterprises.
I just want sponsors to know. I get sponsors calling me for like $3,000. I'm like,
Right.
man, I'm telling more. You know how many? Literally, look at my emails. I got 3,000 emails. Probably
oh my gosh,
about
that would make me nauseous.
300 of those are sponsors that want to pay me to talk about products that are unethical.
So was it you or Michael that last time we were here, was it Wednesday?
And I'm sitting here because I love Chris.
Yeah.
So that's
Thank
Who
God.
doesn't love Chris?
I love Chris.
Let's talk
I
about
love
that.
Chris.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about Chris. Andrew Cartwright doesn't matter, but Chris Champion, he matters. So let's give.
We're
going to
spend the next 2 hours talking about that subject matter.
Yes, 2 hours of Chris Champion. Let's talk.
So
about
Dane,
that.
you were just
something's happening.
Dane, you were just going to say something about the product.
Yeah, so the origin story, we actually were developing the technology.
Okay, so
for
we're back
industrial.
to creating value.
We're back to
for
creating
for
value
people
for-
that
for
want to
Dane.
put a product into the marketplace, in the most competitive marketplaces out there. So you're
yeah.
crazy enough, and you have the balls to do this. Well, because you're from Texas.
This was a crazy idea. So the technology we were originally pursuing, the oxygen infusion technology through surface tension reduction for aquaculture, agricultural, wastewater treatment. There's a host of industrial applications that are it's really game changing for the green energy.
I was thinking that
standpoint.
you almost got to repeat that 10 times because that was deep, brother. That was deep. That was very scientific of you.
So we were going. We were focused on the industrial applications for the technology. We're actually a technology company. Oh, by the way, we bottle water. That's kind of who we are.
Interesting. So you more fell into water than going after water.
But I'm bum.
It's true, and I got wet.
Oh,
And it's wetter water because of the surface tension.
Shout out to
That's
Puncher's
funny.
Chance. We'll be pouring that instead of water tonight at the after party.
Yeah. So during our development into the industrial space,
Right.
we were going and buying 5-gallon jugs at the local market, oxygenating it, taking it home, feeding our friends, feeding our family, giving it out, whatever. And it's fantastic water. It does great things for the body.
Wow.
And then what happens? COVID hits. Lung deficiency, oxygen deprivation to the body.
Wow.
And I told the partners, I said, look, we've got to figure out a way. We've got to find a partner that's going to bottle this. And we go to market because it's too good and too needed right now in our current state, our current environment, not to capitalize on what we can do for people. It would be humanely and irresponsible of us as a company not to provide this.
Interesting. So, because everybody was talking about pH, high pH to create a highly oxygenated environment so that cancer, I can't say that this is a claim because they won't endorse it.
Right.
But,
Well, the pH isn't going to create the oxygen environment. It's
but
going to
it'll
create the
create
alkaline
a
environment.
non-acidic environment,
Right.
which has promotes, they're saying, a disease environment, something like cancer and other things.
Right.
But they can't. It's actually helped people, and it's actually done nothing for people at the same time. So,
Right.
That was
So-
the big hook. So I haven't heard any. Is there anybody trying to do this? Do you have a competitor that's auctioning water like you guys are?
Yeah, there's a handful of competitors that are claiming to oxygenate water. Some of them, it's all different technologies, right? And I've bought all of them, and we've tested all of them with our equipment in the lab. And we
Many
far
of you
exceed-
might not know that the problem with being able to label today is it's so loose that you can have the real deal, and then you can have somebody copy it, and there's just no. I know a bottling company that actually did negative ionized pH balance here in Vegas that people died. It actually poisoned their liver.
right.
And I believe it was their liver or the kidneys. And
Shout out to all those failed livers.
yeah, I don't want to mention the names. It's just such a sad story.
Yeah, that is a terrible story. And
Oxyliverate, was that the water?
No, I don't even want to put
I hope
oxy
not.
in the name.
if that was the name, then I chose bad label.
No, I just don't want to mention the name. I know the owner. I know his intention. What happened was a new person that was bottling put more of the concentrate in the water and it was just one batch that he did, and the guy just didn't care. What they did was they registered. This is what happened in the litigation. They uncovered all this stuff. Basically, he tested it, and it showed that it had none of the pH balance. So he decided, and they called the owner, and the owner's son just went ahead and said, go ahead and just put another batch in it if it didn't register. So he just put a whole nother batch in it and basically created water that damaged people's,
Oh,
I think it was
wow.
kidney or liver. And then the next thing you know, people went to the hospital. They finally figured out where the source was of these 10 people that had the cases, and one person passed away.
So,
So it's
Moving on to something
So-
a little more uplifting.
Sorry.
Shout out to all the dead people.
The original thing was about how one, bottling is important. I think
Right.
And then also concentrates. Could anything like that happen in this? Do you put a concentrate in it?
No, it's not a concentrate. It's actually natural spring water that C-Force pipes to my technology, and it's just a series of processes inside the pipe where we manipulate the surface tension and infuse the water. And there's a lot of science behind the process.
So you're not putting any funky additive into this to create the
Just
manipulating it like
just
like
molecular
hormones
oxygen
in a
No,
cow.
We don't even add flavor.
No kidding.
That great taste that you're tasting is nice, pure Texas water from Lone Wolf Springs.
Shout out to all the Texas water. It's
wonder-
just bigger.
I wonder.
So it's
on the label it says "Go Texas." What if you're in Florida and you're competing with Texas? I mean, if the water's in Florida, are you going to say "Go Florida"? every state you're going to.
Where do you see it say "Go Texas"?
yeah, there's
right there.
it's a Go Texan logo, and that's my in order to get that, you have to register with the state agricultural department
Yeah.
as a pure Texas agricultural product.
Do you get any money
by
from the
doing that-
USDA?
No, we do not.
You probably could get some actual grant money. Should look into that. Grant.gov. Or watch my channel.
Oh, but I'm bummed.
Good plug.
Where is that channel?
Good plug. Like it, Andrew.
Andrew Cartwright. Just type it in. Type it into YouTube, and you'll.
Thinking
find it.
about speaking about giving
seriously-
plugs.
But seriously, you could probably get grant money for a lot of this, especially since it's USDA type.
Yeah, but back to the question real quick on the competitors' water. The most oxygen, molecular oxygen, this is biologically available molecular dissolved oxygen. It's what fish consume. It's what bacteria consume. It's what all living organisms need. It's what your lungs create. When we bottle, my goal is 45 parts per million at the time of bottling. So, and it has a lot to do with barometric pressure, dew point humidity, water temperature is critical. So if I get the water as cold as 34 degrees, I can push up to 70 parts per million. The competitors, everything that we've bought, and I'm not going to name names, I'm just going to say that I've bought probably 98% of the product out there that
you're competing with?
claims to be oxygenated water. Because alkaline water is different. I mean, alkaline's a very saturated market. There's tons of
everybody's-
companies out there that are doing it and adding different salts and different minerals to get to that alkalinity.
Those minerals can poison you.
Right, and that's we're taking that alkaline
One miss.
marketing. Yeah,
Sorry.
and thank goodness that Lone Wolf Springs is naturally alkaline as it comes out, and they've got a very good quality
Hey,
department.
I see a new thing on your label. Naturally alkaline.
That could happen.
No, I'm just saying that if you look at what can happen with the minerals that are added to tweak that process, I don't know anybody who's doing it naturally.
Oh, there are several.
Yeah,
There are several?
There's a lot.
Because it's much easier to do it with minerals.
But so the other guys are getting the most that I've tested is 15 parts per
A lot.
million.
How many bottled water companies are doing it?
Well,
there's-
just from it being naturally occurring out of the spring.
How many?
I don't have
how
an
many
exact
companies?
figure. I know there's
globally there's a lot in Europe that claim that. Croatia's got one.
Now, I'm trying to say you're special, and you're telling
Yeah,
me you're
well-
not special at all.
Well,
So,
no,
okay. Forget that. Forget me trying to help you. And,
By the
you
way-
know,
Now, Andrew, I'm going to
forget me
accept your
trying
help,
to
but I'm going to say
figure out how
it's-
you have a competitive advantage. I'm tired of helping.
that'd be
By
what
the-
the
oxygen.
the
That's
oxygen part.
So you're telling me that everybody's like there's millions of companies.
No,
that
just
have,
some springs are naturally occurring to be alkaline.
But I mean, how many people bottle and put in the water and sell next to him?
He would probably know more than me.
I'm
but
a business guy, so I'm
I
trying to
know
figure
there's-
out.
yeah,
like
there's-
there's 2, there's 10, there's
Well, Dane,
The I would say 30.
30 companies.
Yeah.
That
right,
that
actually.
so pH you don't even need to bring it up. If you're
Yeah,
not
they-
pH, you're not a competitor.
Right,
If
right, but-
everybody's doing it.
Because my distinguisher is the oxygen content.
Okay, all right.
Right? That's
So-
the peg I'm hanging
That's
our
the
company's
peg.
hat on.
So you can add that.
and
as
that's our technology.
By the way-
you can add that as a byline. The difference, though, is I've never seen anybody say naturally alkalized. I've never seen that on a bottle. Have you? Have you seen it where they say specifically naturally?
You know what I've never seen before?
that
I've
company out
never
of Hawaii,
seen us
Himalayan.
not introduce Chad.
Oh, okay.
And
Chad just shows
and
up.
speaking of all natural,
Uh-huh.
we're lucky to have Chad with us today. Chad,
Yeah, all natural. Yeah.
talk a little bit about who you are and what you're doing.
Well, hey everybody, welcome. Thanks for having me. My name's Chad Rue Anderson. I am
All natural,
all natural. Yeah.
pH balanced.
100%, 100% naturally alkaline, and I'm an investor and also advisor to Blockwake. Shout out to Antonio and the whole Blockwake team. And I got my start at MySpace.com back in the day.
You sat next to Tom, didn't you?
I would work with him mainly at the events. I was doing like strategic marketing, but he would come out from time to time and hang out.
Shout out to Tom.
Yeah, he's a really fun guy. And before that, I was working at Hewitt Associates in the financial department, and been doing a lot of different startups over the years. One went public on the Australian Stock Exchange, and got really big into crypto in 2017.
Shout out to the Outback Stock Exchange, not to be confused with the restaurant.
Yeah, so we've done a lot of stuff in crypto, helped a lot of companies, and got a lot of people into the space early that are now, doing different projects, etc. And my main focus over the last year has been a fund, and we use AI to create trading bots and do high frequency
Chat
trading.
GPT AI. Chat GPT. Should I invest in FTX? No.
Yeah, so we may be building out our own like competitor to that. We're kind of working through some of the numbers right now, but we've since been moving more into doing stuff with defense and medical fields, and also a social media company.
Now, not to hijack the conversation and go back into AI, but I read a stat the other day. Chat GPT is growing its knowledge base at a staggering stage. And I think I hope I'm not butchering this statistic out, and if I am, somebody correct me. They're growing at 30 terabytes of data a day. So like it's actually growing more intelligent.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
They are literally 6 months away from launching Skynet, and I'm almost sure the first Terminator will come off the assembly line somewhere in the next year.
I don't know if it's 6 months. I think it's more like 4 years.
What? Whatever you think is in 4 years, I'm telling you, AI is going to shrink every number we ever thought.
Yeah, no, I'm watching it infinitely grow. It is, and it exponentially grows, and that's the part that's mind-boggling is the fact.
How about the city of New York? We're going to block ChatGPT on all of our computers. Like kids in school couldn't fucking get to ChatGPT on their phone.
New York is talking about?
The New York school system banned ChatGPT on all their computers. It's literally politically stupid to say stuff like that, and even it shows off how much dumber those politicians are to an AI bot.
Sounds like somebody was at the kitchen table and made their dad look bad.
Yeah, exactly.
For using ChatGPT to beat him in an argument.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure that happened.
My 12-year-old's not going to beat me in an argument. I'm sorry, that was my
Do you
bad
have any-
Texas, Arkansas.
I will say,
I don't know where the hell that
AI
came
is
from.
going to change the scores that kids get on their tests from now on.
Yeah, it's already happening.
It has changed.
Has to, yeah.
In this last month, I used to get progress reports, right? So I would get a progress report, I think it was every month. And part of it was my intimidation. I intimidated my
Wait a second,
my
are you talking
teachers.
about progress report on
Progress
your
report.
schooling? Or
Yeah, all my classes. So I required my teachers to give me a progress report every month. And if I dropped...
Wait, for your kids or for you?
No, for me. I did it for my kid, too.
Wait, you're doing schooling?
He's getting his GED.
That's funny. That's funny.
Pretty sure he's well beyond the GED.
No, it's so funny. I put a thought out there, and by the time I actually could get it out, nobody's going to understand what the thought was in the first place.
Yeah, but at least
That happens.
At least
Yeah, that happens.
At least you're not some dinosaur eating a kid.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chini Ibus.
Yeah. So.
All right. So, Chad.
Yes.
How's Vegas been this week? Talk
awesome.
about some of the highlights from the last couple of days.
Well, Antonio and I are going to be on the Andrew Cartwright show, so tune in to the YouTube channel coming
When's that?
soon. What do we have a launch date for that?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, did you
maybe
do the
a
show?
week or so? Yeah, we did. But
Did,
it has to
was
be
Steve
edited
there?
and-
Was he hitting the button with the clapping and stuff?
No, actually, can I finish this statement? It's okay. All right. So my guy got COVID, and my other person couldn't make it. So I have a doctor, an emergency room doctor that lives next door.
Steve.
And I have a gastrologist. So is it gastrologist? Somebody who works with your does colonoscopy.
Gastro.
Yeah. So those were our choices: emergency room doctor or shit doctor. So,
Shout out to all the shit doctors.
Yeah, it was either that or an attorney, and the attorney probably would have cost us more than the doctor. So we would have negotiated way past our time. So we had an emergency room doctor that edited the show.
Well, it was
And
an emergency.
It was an emergency,
Yeah.
and he did a great job, Emmanuel. Shout out to you, brother. Thank you so much.
Wait a second, Emmanuel. Oh, you're talking about their show, the show you did this week with
Yeah,
Chad.
we had an emergency room doctor.
I was thinking, I thought you were describing Steve.
Surgically cut the show.
Yeah.
Steve wasn't available?
Who?
Steve?
Oh, Steve.
Your neighbor Steve,
Yeah,
right?
that's the other neighbor. He's a technician.
I like Steve.
Yeah, Steve was. He was.
We did our talk, and at one point, the the laughter came in.
Yeah, that's funny.
Or the clapping. It was clapping. That's what it was.
Yeah, so now I've since turned the volume down on that. So it happens for some random reason. I probably should send it back to road because it's brand new. But I have out of nowhere, the machine just claps.
That's wild.
Like no one presses a button, nothing happens. It just randomly.
Andrew's
decides
guiding
to
Steve.
clap.
He's like, okay, hit the button. No, the other button. No, turn it off.
It's the AI creep.
Yeah,
It's creeping in. Yeah, I would say the other highlight was the Crypto Dinner Club the other night. Thank you for having us. That was really good conversations with everybody, and
I second the motion.
yeah, it was
great.
really fun to connect with everyone. I know Andrew and I got to chat after the dinner about a lot of stuff, and it was good connecting with Chris Kelly as well, and just everybody. That whole
Shout out
day
to
was
the
awesome.
Sacramento Kings owner.
Yeah, that whole day was really special. I think that we made some good connections and a lot of ways for people to build on their core business and new ventures, new opportunities as well. So
I
thanks for
ordered
bringing people together.
I ordered the cheapest thing on the menu.
What?
The chicken. I ordered the cheapest thing.
Thank God.
Yeah, I was saying cheapest. I wanted the pork chop.
You got the
did?
pork chop?
Was that
Yeah.
one of the most
was-
inexpensive?
It
as well?
was, and it was delicious too.
I'll be honest with you.
I just think about that.
If you guys get a chance to go back to Blue Ribbon.
Oh, Blue Ribbon was awesome.
The shrimp pasta with the spinach. I don't know what they call it, but that was amazing.
That was fabulous.
Shout out to Blue Ribbon. Great food, great service,
Everything
great
was
amenities.
great
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
They really took care of
And they
us.
had killer mashed potatoes. Like,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The truffle mash was really, really good.
man,
That
I'm
was
getting
incredible.
hungry just thinking about it.
Yeah,
we probably could have filled the restaurant.
You could have.
I mean,
hey,
it
you
was-
planning on coming out to another dinner anytime this year?
I think we have one in March in Miami.
Don't we have something going on in Beverly Hills?
Oh yeah, so I'm excited to announce that we have my first Aru Industries mastermind. So we're bringing out a bunch of folks. They're going to be we're going to be having a panel about crypto, e-commerce, real estate, and AI. It's kind of touching on all those topics.
$14 million shack in Beverly Hills, right?
Yeah, on the top of Mulholland, looking over the whole city. It's really going to be a special night. So 7
Private
to 10.
event,
Yep.
invite only.
Yeah. So reach out to me on Instagram at ChatterooLA for information on that, and I'll get you the Eventbrite link.
There we go.
So-
That's the plug, the hot
Yeah.
plug.
Do you need
January
water
what?
at this?
19th?
January 19th. Yeah. What's that?
Do you need water at this event?
Ooh.
Potentially, yeah, for sure. Yeah. We're gonna have a bartender. We have a special tequila tasting
Ooh.
coming out. Thanks to Chris. Yeah, so we're excited about that, and something I'm going to be doing about every
thanks
couple
for the
months.
tequila, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
I just wanted to make sure we
gone.
brought something.
It's gone.
Well, yeah.
It was a rough night last night. I had to deal with
What'd
a
you
lot
bring?
of demons. Just kidding.
It wasn't anything too crazy. I think it was like a 1800, something like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
It was a nice bottle.
You and the wife
It was a nice gesture.
doing tequila
Yeah.
shots after the
The
left?
shots when they left, we just shot.
Body shots. shot.
And then
Body
we had
shots?
the whiteboard up on the thing, right?
Yeah.
Who was that exposed the whiteboard thing?
That was Ben.
Oh, that was Ben.
Yeah,
Just,
Ben
What
did that.
whiteboard thing?
just in my living room, I have there's the TV, and then next to it is a whiteboard, and then I have a flip chart thing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, me and my wife, we map out ideas and thoughts and stuff.
February
like that.
7th, right?
At the house, yeah,
at
February 7th.
the Cartwright Mansion,
Yeah.
kicking off Super Bowl week.
Yeah,
Mastermind Connect. Come and meet like-minded, very successful individuals.
Yeah.
That sounds like something I need to come out to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're allowed back to Vegas.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm pretty sure you are.
Yeah,
You haven't been 86 for me.
I've been coming out here since 1999. So
Still going strong?
Been a while. Yeah, I love it. It's really one of my favorite cities in the world.
I think there's 44 million people a year that say that.
Yeah, it's great. There's nowhere else really like it, and
That is for sure.
you know, I just really think that there's always so much opportunity here, and
I just followed you back on Instagram. Bro.
awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
And if you aren't following Andrew on Instagram, please do.
Yeah.
Anyone that's
And
listening
Andrew
out there.
X Cartwright.
Awesome.
Chatteroo's easy. I mean, you know, it's easy to.
Is that really your name?
Is that really your
Chatteroo?
name?
Should I be addressing you as Chatteroo? Or is it just Chad?
It's a nickname that I got back in the day and was using it for like music stuff, and
I
Did
didn't know
they
you were
confuse you with a kangaroo and then they just
yeah,
said Chatteroo?
I don't know. It was one of my buddies in high school just kind of came up with it, and it just kind of stuck.
Yo, Chatteroo, what's up?
Yeah, so I just kind of went with it.
Wow.
Let's go get some beers, man.
Wow, I think people would be like if they were like had this and just kind of in the background, they're
Yeah, a
like,
little bit
okay,
of
what
that-
are they talking about now?
Got a little bit of that hair
Yeah.
standing up.
You woke him up.
I think I broke the gel on your head.
I think you did, man.
So what's the plan and agenda for the big event to kick off the Super Bowl?
I just really getting good people, like-minded entrepreneurs and people that are making stuff happen or want to make stuff happen. My thing is, you know, surrounding myself with people like Chris and yourself, and of course, people from Texas. Half my family lives in Texas, by the way.
All
moved
my
here.
exes live in
But
Texas, actually.
But
I'm pumped.
I think that's the thing. If you're
Where's Lana when you need her? All her
Yeah.
exes.
Hey, Lana.
She's
all
hiding
all her exes crossed the border into Texas.
so
Oh,
Damn.
oh.
that's funny.
Love you, Lana.
Actually, did you hear? It's funny you bring
Hey,
that
Dane,
up.
why don't you let her come sit back in?
Yeah, I think she should get. She's much
can-
better
she
looking
can
than
get-
me,
she can
so
give a
I
shot.
understand the boot I'm getting.
She can give a shout out to all her friends in Mexico taking over the country.
Let me go grab Austin really quick.
She's like, let me
Yeah.
grab
Florida-
Austin.
Florida.
I'm gonna go text the cartel. Say, hey, listen, these jokes are not personal, people. Don't come up to Vegas and shoot it up.
Speaking on that, did you see yesterday the governor, newly put in, right? But I mean, same governor, declared Florida a state of emergency because
For what?
for immigration. That they're he says is overwhelmed, and it's a state of emergency. And
Okay,
he
I got
needs
it. Okay,
federal
we're gonna
funds.
do a little politics for a quick second. New York
Mm-hmm.
gets 1/100th of the, and I'm just gonna say illegal immigrants shipped into them, and they asked the federal government for $1 billion in aid.
Really?
El Paso had to beg to get $10 million, and they take 100x than New York took. And Joey gave New York a Billy. Here's a Billy.
How much is that? Like, if I take in 30 people, how much money do I get?
Like $1 billion.
$1 billion?
According, I think everything.
I can take in 20 people in
I
my
think-
home.
I think the
It's
U.S.
12,000 square
government,
feet.
yeah.
I think
I think-
20 will easily fit there, right?
For sure. Probably in the front room.
In the front room, just yeah.
Something happened in the last couple of years where all of a sudden
That front room
politicians,
sucked in 300 people, basically.
they're like Oprah
And
now, and they're like, you get a Billy, you get a Billy, you get a Billy. Like everything's in $1 billion mark now. I don't think people
I
understand.
want $1 billion.
$1 billion is 1,000 million.
I have $1 trillion in my pocket. 50 trillion to be exact.
Shout
pull it
out
out right now.
Shout out to all the Luna coins that Andrew's talking about.
Well, actually,
Pull it out right now on the table. Come on, Andrew.
Yeah, right. Hey, I just want to thank you guys for having me again. And it's Dane _Ellis_ and Oxydrate _ on Instagram.
Hey, could you get
it
a profile
just-
picture on that thing?
It just
Yeah, I'll
ripped.
work on that. That's all new.
This is-
Ah,
50 trillion, by the way.
What is that?
Nice.
50 trillion.
Did you make that?
Zimbabwe. No, it's Zimbabwe. It's like
That's like $3. Come on
it just
now.
tore, but
Man.
Now you
have
doubled
more-
your money.
I have
To
more
be
than
fair,
enough.
Andrew did not say USD, so I guess that is fair. He did not say USD.
Shout out to all the people still holding on to Luna. I think that's.
Right.
I think you can have $1 trillion Luna
Oh,
for
this-
about $10.
This sucks. You know, this was dollar for dollar in 2008. Like one Zimbabwe dollar to dollar. They had 1.1 billion % inflation. That's what I mean. So the idea behind crypto was that there's 2,000 currencies that have collapsed because you just can't trust the central institution that is behind them. You know,
If you really think about it,
I mean,
that's what separates Bitcoin from every other cryptocurrency out there. And you got to really say to yourself, whoever Satoshi Nakamoto was, whoever the creator of Bitcoin was, he spent a lot of time thinking about the road ahead. And it really is, as far as I'm concerned, the greatest technology introduced in our lifetime. And it's greater than the internet. It's greater than anything because it takes politics and its control away from people. And that in itself is freedom. And at the end of the day, people will start appreciating and yearning for freedom more than ever before. Speaking of freedom,
I am free.
Well, that is true.
I'm a legal Mexican in America. Yeah.
Welcome. You're an American citizen, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
I was born in East LA.
Shout out to East LA.
Whoop whoop.
Do you drive one of those cars that goes?
I want one so bad. It's a dream car.
Now, do you really want one?
I really want one. It's a dream car.
What kind would you get?
6'9"
Impala.
The 6'9" Impala.
All right. So, I mean, we're putting it out there. If you make Impalas that bounce up and down, you got a buyer right here, Lana.
Oh, I'm in a car club.
You're in a car club?
Yeah, West Coast. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Here in Vegas?
No, they're originally in Arizona, but they do car shows. They do car meets. The Majestics. You ever heard of the Majestics?
So how are you in the club if they're in Arizona? You go down?
Well, basically, I met them when I was in LA doing a car show, and I was doing a video for them. And because one of my
do you have a tattoo? Because if you don't have a tattoo, you're
I got
not
a
in the
shirt.
club.
I'm shirt official.
Do you wear like a blue or red
certified.
bandana?
Yeah. No, I don't do bandana. I don't do colors. I'm smarter than that. No, I don't do colors.
So it's not that kind of club.
No, it's not that kind of club. It's
to get out of the club, do you have to be beat up?
No, of course not.
No, you just get your car. You sell your car.
I'll be
you
honest.
basically sell your car, yeah. So, but I mean, in all actuality, I was like their photographer for a second. I did a video for them, photography, and then I was willing to do modeling, but I never did the modeling for them because we hung out and smoked a blunt.
Shout out to all the people smoking a blunt today.
Whoa, whoa.
So what are 3 things that you've learned from the show this week and the people that have come in and out of here? You've been here for both days.
Yeah, well, I learned a lot about crypto. I still couldn't say I understand a lot of the things that you guys talk about, but I've listened about like how I guess money, like the currency is going to be going into all crypto and all digital. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm still like super into cash. I used to be a stripper. We're all about our dollars.
Now, you want to hear something crazy? Okay, I literally know at least 3 girls that work in Vegas as strippers that have millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin because one girl actually, I don't know if it was a temporary or permanent tattoo, got her Bitcoin wallet QR code put on her hip.
What the fuck?
No, wait.
You should be able to accept crypto, right, for dances?
Oh, yeah. In fact, there was a strip bar that was set up and launched with an ICO in 2017 here in Vegas. And she worked in that club. And she literally took Bitcoin. She literally had them scan her QR code on her hip. And last I heard, she had about $7 million in Bitcoin. I don't know if she blew it all on blow or bought some real estate. But I actually know 2 others that literally they took Bitcoin for a variety of services.
See, more than I'm learning. I just keep learning every time I.
And this was back
on her other hip was Apple Pay.
So
on her left cheek was Cash App.
Cash App.
Hey,
go Cash App.
Shout out to Cash App.
Yeah.
Good project by Jack and the team over there. But
you
think
love
about
how
this.
many sponsors we have. We got Cash App. We
don't have Cash App, but
not yet. You can call us.
Cash App if you're watching.
You can send me Cash App. It's $ Chatteroo.
Chatteroo. So think about this for a second. Vegas became one of the biggest Bitcoin and crypto spaces in 2015. A friend of mine actually set up 11 Bitcoin ATMs. They were the first 11 in Vegas.
Who was that?
He's now got 5,000 cloud ATM or cloud something. But they Chris McClary. Shout out to Chris. And they literally, by the way, Chris, if you want to be on the show, I'd love to have you. We got a couple old stories we can talk about.
Yay, Chris.
But he literally set up 11 ATMs or Bitcoin ATMs. And I don't know if you remember Backpage? You remember Backpage? Anyone else ever hear of Backpage?
Honey, I've never heard of Backpage.
Okay.
Honey.
Long story short,
I don't want my wife knowing that I've heard of Backpage. Like, are you calling people out here?
no, I'm not calling anyone. Well, the owner of Backpage.
You know what Backpage was used for?
Yeah, it was. Girls would post their ads for girlfriend experience, but they had there was a point there where Backpage lost their credit card processing. So in 2017 or 15 and beyond, they were taking Bitcoin for the ads. So there would be a line of very hot women around these ATMs, especially the one at Planet Hollywood. I got there one night, there was 50 girls in line. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Trying to get them.
And no, here's the crazy thing. They were buying Bitcoin with cash so that they can replace their ads again. Because I guess the ads cost money on a daily basis or whatever. And then they would take Bitcoin as payment, and then they just wanted to get cash for their Bitcoin. It was insane. Backpage did $50 million a year in Bitcoin, and they were one of the biggest Bitcoin people until they got shut down. Shout out to the father who didn't shut down the business and decided, I'm going to fight this and go to jail. But yeah, so Vegas has probably from the beginning of the beginning of Bitcoin has been the number one city in the world for crypto.
Well, and I think Dan Fleischman put the first Bitcoin ATM in Vegas in like 2013.
I don't think so. That was Chris McClary.
Oh, he might have done it in conjunction.
Maybe. Chris and Dan were poker players. A lot of the crypto activity in Vegas hovers around the poker industry. In fact, I think poker players are not only degenerate gamblers, but they're degenerate crypto investors.
Yeah, it's fun.
Oh, I just got a text from...
What's fascinating is Craigslist is not free. Originally, the girls would go to Craigslist, and they have pictures and so forth. And then, I mean, it's the first, what do you call it, business ever, I guess, right?
What?
Exchange for girlfriend experience.
Yeah.
Right? It's the first, ever. And then it migrated over to Backpage, and then Backpage was there. But I
think Craigslist got rid of that stuff, didn't they?
No, they completely did, and that's what was the movement. The whole movement was over to Backpage, and then I study advertising. Period. Everywhere. So to me, Craigslist was free to post all kinds of stuff. Like I don't like to be known as a car guy. That's why I don't tell anybody. But I have 4 car dealerships and exotic.
Currently?
No.
I need a car.
Well, yes. Yes, but I don't ever talk about it because people have, it's like such a small part of who I am.
Can I ask what your favorite car is? Not to get deep into that, but like.
Well, you drive a Tesla.
I drive a Tesla, but I have 375 cars.
Right,
so.
Right now?
Mm-hmm.
Where?
Dude, I don't want to get all into the car business.
Okay.
And so I don't want people
It's
thinking,
your fault. You brought it up.
He's a car guy. I'm not. I don't want to be.
You literally
associated
just brought
with
it up. Nobody asked you.
Damn.
It came up with advertising.
It did, but
so-
you didn't have to mention the car dealership.
Damn.
You're right. I'm so sorry.
I don't want to
So-
talk about it. Let me talk about it. I don't want to talk. Okay. Let me.
I just didn't know what else to put there.
I
Okay,
have,
okay.
I have
real
more
estate.
cars than a parking lot.
So I
like 300 cars.
Okay.
Do you know how big of a space
It was the
you
first
need
thing
for
that
300
came.
cars?
It just
Like
came
that's
to my
literally
mind.
bigger than most car lots.
It just came to my
Like
mind.
I went to the Tesla dealership
Okay.
here in Vegas.
Let's talk about
They
real
had
estate.
200 cars on the lot.
I can make the same point with my real estate.
that was
Your
his.
cars are bigger than the
Okay.
Tesla dealership.
That was his dealership.
He's literally
it? Yeah.
tweedling his thumbs like
yeah.
a.
He's
I don't
like, note to self: don't bring up the car
I-
business again in front of
Okay.
Chris.
Yeah. All right, so let's. I can make the same point with real estate. I do have a real estate brokerage. You can find it online under Cartwright.
Yeah.
So the real estate.
This ad brought to you by Cartwright
So-
Industries Incorporated. We have 450 businesses, all of which you can advertise with. Thank you very much.
So we would put on Craigslist, and you'd be dumb if you didn't.
And we advertise on Craigslist.
It's free, right? It's free to advertise,
Right.
like it was. It's
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore, yeah.
So then Backpage came in, and you saw because the whole idea in business,
What's Backpage?
one of the biggest things to do is get somewhere nobody is, and what you need is an eyeball. So here you are, girlfriend experience house. I mean, at
What?
least- yeah.
That makes sense.
All right. So all of a sudden, I have my unfair share of business because I found eyeballs that were looking for girls that actually might be in the realm that might live in a home or want a home or sell a home or.
Well,
So
usually people who can afford a girl can afford a house, a car, and all that good stuff.
Usually,
I'm a little lost right here. Are
Yeah.
you telling me that girlfriends were offering a girlfriend experience in return for a house?
No, but it was right next to the ad.
Yeah.
It just, I'm
Are you telling me
I'm an
were
entrepreneur.
advertising selling homes
No,
next
he's
to
basically
girls?
Right,
saying like
right.
if you have a
Hey, my clients never complained if we sold the house off back page. They never did.
yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I never heard that one. The shit I learned is amazing.
Yeah, I'm creative.
So,
And the advertising was cheap. It was pennies compared to trying to put it anywhere else.
but you had to pay for it in Bitcoin.
Yeah, I had to pay for it in Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
That is true.
Yeah.
So that's literally some of the
But I
history.
put my real name in the ads. Unlike the girlfriend experience. I don't think those were real names.
Ah. Strippers never use
Wow.
their names.
Who would have thought that one day I would learn that you can find the name Andrew Cartwright on Backpage?
I just said that. Good
Selling
Lord.
services.
I went,
He said I just said that. Good Lord.
I'm gonna put that
I
on
have
the
to-
internet today.
I have to stop being so transparent.
No, don't talk about cars.
that's what
Let's
makes
talk-
you the best.
I gotta
Hey,
fit
by the
them-
way,
fit
don't
them
talk about my
thumbs
car
together.
business, but let's talk about the fact that my name was on Backpage for an experience.
Fuck it. Hey, listen. If
you want-
your
if-
name being
if you-
on
if you wanted
Backpage
to
got
walk-
you here, fuck
Yeah.
it.
If you want to walk through in a house, in a luxury home,
I will give you an experience like nothing before.
yeah.
All right. Well,
I'll show you the bedroom, but we're not going to use it.
who else is advertised on Backpage that wants to talk? Chad. Anything?
Chad,
You wanna-
Backpage.
I've had no comment this whole time.
I've never even heard of
no,
Backpage.
I'll be honest with you.
Sometimes
Bringing
you
up
just-
Backpage was my greatest idea of the day so far.
Sometimes you just keep it out of your mouth, right? It's like we don't want
But
Backpage. Yeah.
All right. On that note,
Did-
let's change the
Did I
subject
just
matter.
say that?
Well, how many girlfriend experiences have you gotten off of Backpage?
Ooh.
Boom, because you're the one who
Oh.
mentioned it.
I was talking about how they were one of the pioneers of Bitcoin. They were doing $50 million a month in Bitcoin.
So this is how Chris got interested in Bitcoin.
No, I'll be honest with you. Here's the crazy thing.
He met his first GFE and she'd only accept Bitcoin, and he's like, "What
He
is
was
this
like,
Bitcoin?"
what the
Okay,
fuck?
you want to hear?
And ever since he's been,
All right, you want to hear my Bitcoin?
he's an early adopter.
Origin story.
Yes.
I had a friend of mine in Israel, and do you guys remember World of Warcraft, the game?
Yeah.
Yes.
So they had World of Warcraft Gold. So
Yep.
he used to hit me up on IRC, which was the old chat, and he'd be like, "Listen, I need World of Warcraft Gold." I'd ship him gold. He'd ship me PayPal, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So one day he blows me up on IRC. You gotta get into Bitcoin. You gotta check this out.
What
now
year?
This is 2011.
Okay.
Now this is back
Oh.
when, just so you know, Bitcoin had jack shit in the form of wallets and technology. But they had a what's called a QT wallet. Do you guys remember QT?
I do remember that.
Oh shit.
No, and
So
I
it was
wasn't even. I don't know about it.
So
But someone told me
it
about
barely
it.
worked on a Mac, and it was basically a Q and a T wallet, and they
Yeah.
called it QT because they wanted to call it Qt, Qt wallet.
Cutie, yeah.
And it was very rudimentary. It was like the user experience was god awful, fucking horrific. The tools you have today dwarf everything that was around back in 2011 to 13, maybe 14, 15 even. Jack's wallet was a big improvement around 215, maybe even later. And he's like blowing me up. He's like, "This is gonna be a game changer. Shit's fucking amazing." Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, "Dude, if you need some World of Warcraft gold, I'll send you that. But shut up." And he literally pings me like 100 times about this Bitcoin shit. I said, "I'll tell you what. If I give you $100 and I buy some of this shit, will you leave me alone about it?" He's like, "Yeah." So about $100. 3 years later, 2 years later, I'm walking by my TV, and I hear CNBC in the background because I like just random noise. And all of a sudden, the lady just catches my eye. She said, "Oh, in other news today, the little-known product called Bitcoin hit $161. I'm like, "Motherfucker, I got 34,000 of that shit." So I go look up an old laptop that had the QT wallet on there. I reboot it. It's still working. I look up there, and I'm like, "Holy mother of God, I got a shit ton of this stuff, and it's worth something now." So I go to this exchange, which had dominated the space back then, called Mt. Gox.
Oh
Never
god.
heard of that.
Oh god.
Mount-
This is where the origin story turns
This
into a
is-
villain story.
No,
Yeah.
actually not.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you got in? You pulled out?
Well, I pulled out, but this was
Good.
back in the day.
So there's no little champions running
Mount
around.
Gox, Mount Gox couldn't get you your money other than going through Venmo for a period of while. So you would have to send it. You send a request, they would send it to Venmo, and you can only do $5,000 at a time. So I got eight payments of $5,000 through Venmo. It worked. I got the $40,000. It was in my account, and all of a sudden I realized, wait a second, I got to fucking research this shit. This shit actually is real. I just turned literally $100 into significant money. And I'm thinking to myself, holy mother of God. So then I started realizing this could be a game changer if this thing actually does what it's supposed to do. And then it went from 161 back down to 40, back up to 600, back down to 200, back to 1,200. And we all know the story since. And now shout out, it's back to 17,000. The thing that made me really excited about Bitcoin is I realized very quickly this provided you freedom. Like, I hated banks. Like, I literally hated banks. I had horrible experiences with the banking system, and I came to the reality, I don't ever need the thing. This Bitcoin shit works, I don't have to deal with another motherfucking banker that's going to ask me what the fuck I'm going to do with my motherfucking money. And when they come in there and they ask you, sir, what's this $10,000 for? Could you fill out this form?
That's so
And you know what? There should be an amount of privacy where when it's you and your money, unless, as long as you're not doing something horribly insane illegal with it, it's your money. You don't have to explain. And by the way, when you want to get money, here, I'll give you another example. I was going to play in a poker tournament or cash game, and I needed a large sum of cash. And I went to my bank, and I knew I needed to go a couple days in advance because I knew I needed to let them know, hey, I need to take this cash out. I needed $300,000. It took me a fucking week, and I had to literally explain everything under the God's green earth to tell them that I needed that cash. They had to go to fucking 7 branches just to have me meet at their bank one day to go get the cash that day.
That's true.
But I learned from that experience that I'm like, all right, Bitcoin is way better than this because this shit was fucking annoying. Oh, you're really going to play poker? Are you really? Why would you gamble this much? I mean, seriously, have you thought about getting consulting and counseling? And I'm like, lady, it's my money. It's literally my money.
Right.
Like,
They
don't.
told you to
Oh
go
my
to
God.
counseling?
They ask you for an SAR, a suspicious activities report.
Bitch, mind your fucking business.
And then here's the crazy: you get a banker, and then that idiot goes to and brings their manager in, and then that idiot calls in a regional guy, and the regional guy starts counseling. Like, you need counseling. Like, listen, it's my money.
They have bankers telling you that you need
Listen,
counseling because they can't do what they can do.
We live in a day and
because they're
age-
broke.
Yeah, we live in a day and age right now where the government and the banks want to know more about what you're doing with your money than they deserve to. There should be a level of privacy.
Yeah, because now you got to report over $600. If you get $600 in your account, you got to report it.
They want to know if you
Or
did
they
over
flag it.
$600 on Venmo. But
Yeah.
yet there's no accountability to the $110 billion that we're shipping to Ukraine. Shout out to Zelensky, who just announced or was announced that he's a billionaire. How does a failed actor of a country that's fucked up become a billionaire? Can somebody explain that shit to me? All right, anyways, enough with the politics, Lana. Tell us a funny story.
That's super depressing, but I don't think anything's gonna. I mean, I wish
This
that
podcast got pretty pro-Russian real fast. Wow.
Yeah, I don't.
Pro-Russian?
Well, I wouldn't say pro-Russian.
I don't know.
Pro-Russia. Listen, I'll be honest with you. Russia and Ukraine, if they have
ain't
if they have a
pro-shit.
beef, that doesn't involve America one bit. Guess what? If the cartel's shooting planes out of the sky in Mexico, that's on our border.
Let's talk about
I don't
the
see us shipping
cartels.
$110 billion.
That
to
is
protect
very
our border.
valid. That is very valid.
Yeah.
Can't argue that.
We're willing to protect Ukraine's border, but our fucking border's got a bunch of guys with ground-to-air missiles? Are you kidding me? Like, seriously. And by the way, I heard those
Viva mi
cartel...
raza. It's because my raza's the shit. Everybody's scared of my raza. No, I'm
Do
kidding.
not fuck with the cartel, man.
Don't
They are-
fuck with the cartel. Why would you do that?
It's so funny. I'm sitting here literally dizzy because I don't even know how to have a real conversation around these ideas.
Like what?
No, just what we're talking about right now.
The cartel?
I mean,
the
cartel.
girlfriend
I get.
experience.
Does the cartel want to find out the same thing Russia wants to find out, and that's why America doesn't have free healthcare?
No, but when we were
Because
talking,
we have a good military.
an actor that becomes a
Oh, like, hey,
billionaire,
Mexico got a good military, but we call it the cartel.
I don't know. We have
The thing about it is, low key in Mexico, we look at the cartel, not we, because I'm not there, but like the Mexican people look at the cartel kind of like respectfully, like they look at them like you're a god, because like, the cartel really takes care of
respect
Mexico.
doesn't stop drone strikes when
They-
they're in Nellis right here in Vegas dropping. missiles.
Yeah, it's in some way, in some parts of Mexico, they actually feel better with
With the cartel
The
around.
cartel takes better care of their
Yes,
people than the government
yes,
does. Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
they do.
in some, and this is horrible to say, but in some ways, it's a cleaner, regulated environment than one that that's corrupt.
like ours.
Yeah.
You know, so corruption is everywhere.
I'm like, wait,
right?
to be fair, I'm like, our government is the same thing as the fucking cartel. They
It-
sell drugs.
Yeah.
They do
Oh.
illegal shit with money. You don't think
Shout out to all the COVID
No,
companies
hang
that
on.
have become $1 trillion.
let's be real. Let's throw this into it a little bit. But if you say the cartel sells drugs and they wanna stop it, whatever. One of our biggest
Chris got so heated he had to go outside. He has to go outside and scream. He has to let it
he has
out.
to go get his girlfriend experience.
Are you okay, Chris? Yeah. But grab a beer, buddy.
The cartel does the same thing. They sell drugs, and I feel like our in America, our biggest money making thing is medical, pharmaceuticals, and we sell the exact same shit except the cartel sells it cleaner. In my opinion, it's an opinion. It is an opinion, but we sell like the cartel sells cleaner drugs. You do cocaine, that's Adderall. You do weed, that's a Tylenol. They sell.
I've seen people on. Adderall can get you to a certain point where you're actually in a psychosis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean by psychosis?
Psychosis in what sense?
In the sense that you like psychotically in a spot that you don't even know that you're in.
Yeah.
And in order to get past that, because I have someone very close to me that became like just in this psychotic break. The family got them to a treatment center. They didn't even know what they didn't know about where they were at. It was like their reality was the reality. You're like you just threw out half your family. I'm just crazy stuff. And so and then after 2 months of treatment, realizing the psychosis that he was in, he was able to pull himself out. And I want him on the podcast desperately so that we can have this conversation about how you can be in a drug so entrenched that you don't know where you really are. You're like literally in that reality. And now he's starting to see all this stuff and balancing his reasoning now with a balanced chemistry against how he was acting on Adderall, right? Like this legal speed.
That's exactly
right. And I think,
exactly
and
what I was about to say.
my point coming around is I think cocaine is cleaner.
I've been saying this.
I've seen people at parties do take part, and literally they don't become psychotically broken demons that are doing all kinds of stuff that they regret.
Why? Because they say a doctor wants to like regulate the or watch the patient or regulate the medical the pharmaceuticals that they're taking in.
Right.
But if you think about it, I'm like, cocaine is it's a cleanest form of cocaine. Like there's just a clean form of what you need. What Adderall is supposed to give you focus.
Well, much of these drugs are derivatives of like cocaine.
1,000%.
It's in the same almost the same category.
Antidepressants are shrooms. It's the same.
Well, they're reuptake inhibitors.
The
is what
exact
most,
same effects that you have when you have when you take a shroom. You have the exact same effects that when you're on antidepressants.
I can't.
Yes.
I don't know personally.
I know personally.
I don't know personally. I know from what I've read, and I'm not making you wrong. So don't think I'm telling you I don't know what I don't know.
Right.
And I'm okay saying what I don't know.
Right.
I've done a lot of studying on the drugs that help with depression and the reuptake inhibitors. So we have neurons in our brain. This is in my book, The Origin of Opportunity. But I talk about those neurons that basically exchange electrical pulses and chemicals. And they, like say serotonin, it pulls it into the neuron, which gives you that feeling, right? Whether dopamine
that's what was happening to me up until March of this year or last year.
March of last year.
Yeah, I was on antidepressants until I started working here. And then I realized it was just like an environmental thing. I mean, granted, yes, like I've had depression my whole life. I've been diagnosed, and like other members of my family have had it, but they also haven't had the ability to change their environment or like, their habits.
And then
I suffer from natural depression. When shit happens that I don't like, I'm depressed.
Right.
When I'm not making progress, I'm depressed. When I'm not creating value for the people that are actually watching, I get depressed. right? So
depressed.
I fight depression, right? So literally, so I think
I fight
I think-
depression
I
by
think
not
depression-
giving a fuck.
That's-
I literally.
that's an easy way to handle it.
I used to.
I wish I didn't care.
When
I took
I gave a
antidepressants for a
shit.
while.
When I gave a shit was when I realized I was
sorry
sad.
this is actually a pretty sensitive topic because I was very vulnerable. Thank you. Did you finish that? What you were saying?
Well, oh no, I was just saying like so I took
Huge props to you.
antidepressants. I was on antidepressants for depression and anxiety, and then I started working here. I quit. I was let go from my dead end job,
Right.
which is actually probably the best thing for me. And then the very next day I started here, and instantly, like I mean, I didn't just quit antidepressants cold turkey. I kind of weaned myself off of them, but
And
I haven't had to take them
for
since
those
March.
for those people, anybody listening,
Yay, Austin.
coming off. You've been off them since March.
Since last March, yeah.
That's amazing. So when you do come off them, I'm not a doctor. Talk to your doctor because if you come off of it right away and you don't do it with the doctor's help, you'll find your
I talked to my psychiatrist about it, and they had me.
Withdrawals.
Yeah, they had me half my intake for 2 weeks, and then I was only taking it like every other day. And then on the second week of every other day, I didn't even need to take them. And then I took like a month later, I went back to my psychiatrist, and he was like, we checked up, and he was like, your mental, because my big problem was I would have these really big dips.
Yeah.
Really big dips.
Wait, did they say you are mental?
Yeah, absolutely. Look at me. You couldn't tell. So when I went back, they were like, "No, from the first interview we had when we diagnosed you and we put you on antidepressants to now, it's like night and day." And they asked me what had changed, and I told them, and they were like, "Yeah, like you'd be surprised how often people, if they just like, because I would just go to the gym even just once a week. It was
God, that's
crazy."
huge.
And then
Gym is huge. About 30 minutes into a workout, if you really get your heart rate up, the dopamine will drop.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or the not dopamine.
Tryptophan. Just kidding.
No.
I don't remember what it's called, but yeah, that helped.
Endorphins.
Yeah, so that helped.
Endorphins kick in 30 minutes.
And then having a job where I wasn't always worried about a looming, am I going to get fired?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I can get let go from here, but it would take probably like me killing a client. So Chris, watch out.
Hey John, by the way, do not fire him now.
Yeah, not this exact second. Wait till after the stream. But
shout out to John Orlando hanging out at the Raiders game.
He's field side.
He's field side.
Yeah, he's on the field.
Nice.
I'll be honest with you.
Why isn't there a cool camera on you? You got the cool setup. You got all the jam back there with
'cause
all the technology. I'm like, I was back there not wanting to leave. Chris said you got to go sit in the chair. I'm like, this is fun over here. There's no
you don't
camera.
have to sit in the chair.
No, we get to play with all the modules and stuff like that. You need a camera on you, brother.
Yay.
People need to see a face. You
You
got
like
you got a
Austin.
great face.
All right, Andrew, get up. Austin.
No.
Austin.
Somebody work it.
Austin, come here. Austin, come here. You sit down. Andrew, you switch out.
I don't know how to run the board. I was watching him. I know how to mute you. That's all. That's all he showed me is here's how to mute Chris.
Yeah. Well, I love the.
Isn't that funny? Like that's the only thing you showed me how to do is mute Chris.
The setup you have at your spot is really awesome.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, that was great.
You like that?
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
really great.
Is it better than this?
It's a 4,000
Yes.
square foot studio in a 12,000 square foot home. I think I wouldn't.
I want
I'd
to see
rather-
this.
with
You
a
guys keep talking
resort.
about
All right, here I
it.
am.
and
There you go.
pictures.
Are you gonna bring?
Hey, Austin. I
have a camera,
Yeah.
There you go.
You're gonna bring the short Mexican lady over there and
You
do
can bring
a
the short
interview?
Mexican. I'll clean it. Probably not. That's 400
Okay,
square
listen.
feet.
Let me help you out. Let me help you out.
You don't
The first
have- you
30
don't have to
seconds,
clean to come
him and I
over.
are doing his podcast in the basement. He literally get okay, Chris. Just so you know, I have a wholesome show. So could you just not swear?
Oh, fuck. Don't invite me.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, don't worry about it, buddy. First 3 minutes of the show.
I'll be the first one at Bible study talking about Jesus' dick.
Well, I think because YouTube will give you those strikes, right?
It's not. I have like so many people that I care about that have been watching me for years, and they have kids. There's a lot of. I have a huge female audience. I have massive respect for women. I love women. And
You love one in particular, though.
more. Yes, absolutely, 100%. She hits
Shout out
good
to
save,
Mrs.
Chris.
Cartwright.
Yeah. So Anna,
Save.
but thank you for that. But
Give her a
it's
plug.
But they have kids, and
Yeah.
the kids watch the show, and they're inspired by me for some unknown reason. And I just and Chris has so much to offer without using foul language. Like literally, he's a great human being.
Shout out to my grandmother who taught me every swear word I know.
Yeah, but I mean, swearing is fun. It gets people's attention.
Listen, let me tell you something. This is no joke.
It adds passion to a sentence.
Listen, this is no joke.
It
my,
does.
My grandmother came to America on a Navy ship.
Where's she from?
Germany, World War II. And she had her daughter, which was my mother, in her arms. And she spent 30 days on a Navy ship.
Oh, God.
And before she landed in America off that Navy ship, she took 30 days and learned every American swear word and poker. And by the time she got off, she raised me as a child and taught me 2 things. 1, how to play 5-card draw poker.
I thought you were going to say shit and fuck.
No.
Okay.
No, how to play
She taught me 2 things.
Oh, yeah, 2 things. How to play 5-card draw poker. She'd pull out a Band-Aid box on Saturday nights, and she'd sit there and literally play poker with me for pennies, nickels, and dimes. Whatever I kept, I got to spend. Rarely did I get to keep any. And number 2, she taught me the greatest lesson of all. People listen to 75% of what you say when you don't swear. They would listen to 100% of what you say when you fucking swear. Just happens that way.
That's why people love me.
That's right.
That's why people say that I'm so real. And they're like, I think people think I'm real because I actually am honest, but the simple fact that I'll put a fuck in it, a shit in it, and I'll give a shit in it.
Well, I've built 200 homes, right, and industrial subdivisions, and tore down whole neighborhoods, and
Well, we can't talk about that, though,
we
right?
can't talk about that.
Oh, okay, just making sure.
Construction.
I think I know where he's parking his 384 cars now.
So
shout out to those 200 homes that were torn down.
So when Anya met the contractor side of Andrew, it scared her to death.
Why?
Because every other word was fuck or shit or
God.
It was
Earmuffs.
No, it's bad. Like literally on a construction site. I saw my buddy, one of my subcontractors I saw yesterday, who does the paving, the center blocks and so forth. He's an Italian guy, 300 employees, and you know when you're on a job site, if you're not ready to go to blows with almost everybody there, it's a weird environment. Like, and they respect that.
Shout out to all my construction buddies.
Yeah.
Me.
So, it's just when she saw that side of me, she shut down. I think there are some people that when you do cuss, as soon as you cuss or anything, they instantly stop listening to you. And I've seen that.
Can I ask? Okay, this is a personal thing because I do cuss a lot.
I love it. Just so for the record, I love to cuss.
Oh no, but believe me, I
Cussing
wouldn't give a
feels
shit either
great.
way. I mean, if you did or you didn't, I wouldn't give
Can
a
I
shit
get
either way.
a couple
but thank
fucks
you.
in here? Shit, fuck,
Can I
shit.
get another fuck?
Shit. I got to make up for the last 8 years. Fuck, shit, damn. Fuck.
By the way, if
Fuck.
somehow I lose my YouTube
Fuck.
account, you
Fuck.
can catch me on other social channels.
I'm going to tell you right now, you won't lose it.
Shit.
We have a show here called The Sticky Podcast that the engineers run.
Oh,
and
fuck yeah.
if we
Great.
haven't heard anything, you're not going to hear anything.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
The Sticky Podcast.
But to be
that sounds
fair, I was gonna
interesting.
say because like when I talk to people who don't cuss, I start
You
feeling
trust them.
really uncomfortable.
Yeah, you're full of shit. That's bullshit,
don't-
right?
yeah.
You don't trust them.
I don't trust.
So
I
I'm-
feel
I
like
bet-
you're probably not.
I've said some
saying-
cuss words now, so you
I
trust
completely
me.
trust
You trust me now.
I trust you. I was like, and he said it on
Shit.
air. I was like, nah,
Shit,
he's
fuck.
a real one. All right,
Yeah.
we're locked in. That's it. We're locked in. No, but it's just like one of those like I think it comes from like 2 different like worlds. There's one world where people are very like, I don't want to say uptight. That's not the word I'm looking
I'll
for.
say
But
it. Uptight.
but like
Tightly wound.
or yeah, they're just they're just very structured. They're like there's the type of people that like
Yeah,
wear a
they're
button up and they're
limitation. I
ironed
agree.
and yeah, they're just very. And then there's the world of like Lana's where we're like we just don't give a shit and we just don't give we're smoking, we talk about whatever. We're very transparent, very upfront, very real. So when I do come. Like, I mean, I obviously know how to classy it up, and I know how to speak in front of
Wait,
people.
what?
I do. I'm very classy.
What?
Sometimes. Not all the time, pero sometimes. But every now and then, like, when I feel like I have to classy
We need a bottle
it
of
up.
water, stat.
Oh, I have my Dutch Bros. But when I feel like I have to classy it up, I get a little like uptight because I'm like now I can't talk about what I really want to talk about, or I can't say what I really want to say. Like I can't be Lana.
All right, we only have about an hour left. For the last hour, can I see this classied up version?
Nah,
No.
I'm in sneakers, homie, and like nah, dude.
I mean,
I'm
unless
in my Vans. No,
one thing crypto's taught me: if I can't verify it, it probably doesn't exist.
I'm like, I haven't had. My thing is
You
because
looking kind of classy. Your Vans actually match your shirt.
thanks. I tend to match.
Let's see the Vans.
Yeah. Isn't that
Oh, they
cool?
do.
Yeah,
that is kind of cool.
Thank you.
I'm
Vans
so I wear the exact same thing every single day, so I notice everybody else's clothes.
Shout out to the Mark Zuckerberg fashion statement.
Looking
of the
at.
day.
Is this Mark? Is this what Mark
Well,
wears?
and doesn't he like profess that he only owns?
You know what?
like,
You look
gray
very like
shirts?
magazine editor in chief. They always wear black.
That was
You know,
that was one of the things I saw. I used to act for 3 years.
Did you?
Whoa!
What type of
Yay.
roles
Yeah,
were you
let's
doing?
talk about that.
Majority of the roles I got were
He usually didn't
He's like very
speak.
like
He just pumped.
Batman. He looks very like.
Claude Van
Yeah,
Cartwright.
like what's that dude? The half face in Batman. You kind of look like.
Oh, that was
Half-Face,
Tommy Lee, wasn't it? Tommy Lee.
No, not Tommy Lee. The one that
Tommy
got
Lee
his,
Jones, wasn't it?
I know what
No,
she's.
it wasn't.
In the better Batman movie, The Dark Knight. I don't remember his name.
The dark. Yeah, I don't remember. His
Oh, I think I know what you're talking
Where
about.
half his face got burnt off.
name.
Yeah.
I feel like, and not that you look like him, but you could
No,
play
yeah,
that role.
not
I
even-
could. I
yeah,
see
not
him playing
even
like that
close.
role.
I could rip that character up for sure.
I
but-
totally see that.
Yeah.
I feel like you could be like very action. What kind of movie?
Hey, can we
what kind
get
of acting did
Can
you
we
do?
get Andrew a quarter so he can just do flips?
Yeah, that's
What kind
fine.
of acting did you do?
So I did theater, and I'm in the Equity Guild, so I'm in the theater union,
Yeah.
and then I'm in the Screen Actors Guild union. So in '96 I retired for 3 years.
I'm IMDbing you now.
Yeah,
I can't wait to be
So-
on there.
so I was in a regional market, San Francisco,
Mm-hmm.
which you have kind of tiny roles, but most of the stuff I got auditioned and got were police cops. I'd be an
Yeah.
investigator, I
can see that.
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that a lot.
I couldn't even buy drugs in my
Oh
neighborhood.
shit!
You were getting to the bottom of
Oh
it.
shit!
What? So yeah,
Flipping Las Vegas, Andrew
Yeah.
Cartwright.
Hey, you do.
was a
flip in
problem.
Las
I could
Vegas?
never get addicted to drugs because I just couldn't buy them. They're like, man, I just can't trust. And I'm just feeling this,
I sell them. No,
you know.
okay.
And then after the show, I was on Nash Bridges for 3 years.
Buddy,
Nice.
you crushed it in this suit. Look at that suit.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Oh wow.
That's G motherfucking
It's
Q.
it's
Yeah.
very much tailored. Very much.
Dude,
tailored.
that suit is killer.
Yeah.
Like that's literally a killer photo.
Nice.
Well, and
Yeah.
Andrew,
Well,
I
I did a lot of commercial work. I was Microsoft 2000s poster boy all over the world. My
Listen, awesome.
Sorry, my bad.
I know, right?
Oh, buddy,
Is there a better way to say that?
Your timing was perfect.
Fuck.
I was Microsoft's poster boy.
It's just like saying, like, yeah, Intel hired me to do their sexy calendar. It's like, how sexy could it be?
So I don't know how to say this, but
God.
like it was on every box and every billboard across the whole world.
Wow.
So what do you call that? The face?
I mean,
Like if you walked by,
what were you on? Xbox?
No, Office 2000. So on like the back of like when you walked by the.
I don't know if that's- I
the
don't know if that's
pop-ups.
any
I was
kind of
on the
like a
back
real
of it.
brand.
Like
Like
Oh, wow.
inside.
imagine you're in the year 2000. You go into Office Max.
and you stand next to your picture, or you go next to a billboard and you stand next to your picture.
Dude,
it was a big deal to me. They paid me a crap
Well,
load of money.
it's from that perspective. That's a
Microsoft paid
huge
a lot.
campaign.
You are-
It's a
yeah.
huge global
It was,
campaign.
Right.
there were 200 people that took pictures of me in a Sausalito restaurant that
I'm not
overlooked the
seeing it.
water. And
I've been to
so,
Sausalito once.
so that's and there are a bunch
beautiful.
of stories around that. But
Was there any skin? I mean, was it
no,
skin?
I was in a white shirt and
No
like
bear
a-
rug pose?
Was the white shirt wet?
No, it wasn't. Actually, there is a story around that.
Oh, let's hear it. Wait, we can't talk about the car business, but let's talk about
Let's
the
talk
wet
about
shirt.
the wet T-shirt.
I mean, like, it's like,
Was there a nip
I don't
slip?
want to talk about the car business, but that wet shirt. Let's go. Let's go, baby.
It wasn't wet for the reasons that
I found it.
what.
Found what?
You
the wet
found
shirt.
them?
All right.
No, the Microsoft. Ah!
What the hell?
Oh shoot! You found it. Yes.
Oh wow,
That's
how
awesome.
cute.
What is that? A spiral bound book or something?
That's funny.
Yeah.
It's supposed to
Yeah,
be like
but-
the user manual.
Back in the day,
But
we didn't
so
have YouTube.
it was on there. It was on the back of it. It was on the whole stand, and it was on billboards.
And they gave you like
So-
$13 for that, right? Back
Oh,
then.
no,
$13 million.
They paid me a sick amount of money. My agent,
okay,
my
good.
agent, Boom was my agent, And shout out for Boom.
Yay,
They're
Boom.
still in San Francisco. They milk them for like so much money.
Where do you guys find agents like that? I've been doing this shit by myself. Where do you guys find agents like
Lana,
that?
we've already introduced you to the best.
So you know what I did?
John?
Wait a second.
No,
Wait a
you
second.
know,
Who's that? Who's that? You can't just say we've introduced you.
You already mentioned him, Mr. Orlando.
Mr.
Oh, John Orlando?
Yeah.
He's an agent?
No.
No, but he can get stuff done for you like an agent.
I know.
No, see the difference between I think me, I read a book called How to Be a Working Actor, and part of the thing was the first thing I did was go work for an agent and for free. I said, look, I'm like highly productive. I've built several companies, but I'm
So
retired.
I'm on the right path.
So you go in and say, look, I want to work for you for free. And then you learn the ropes. I worked for a casting director for free. Just walked in, said, look, I want to help you. You need to find people for roles. I'll help you. And I videotaped, we would tape auditions.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe how bad, like literally when you're filming people, you're like, please just act natural. I need to put 5 people on a reel on a tape that I give the director, and there's 100 people I'm filming, and literally it was hard to get people to say something natural.
Yep.
So, but to be on the other side of the camera and realize how we show up as actors, and realize how not natural and how desperate people are to just find good people that'll come and that can pull something off, and yeah, it's amazing.
They get caught up in their head doing the acting part instead of just like.
Chad, you're from
actually
LA.
reading the
Have you
lines.
done any acting?
I have, yes, but it not so much in LA. It was actually when I lived in Vegas in 2001, and was an extra in Ocean's 11 during
What?
the fight scene.
The fight scene?
Yeah, there's a
Did
boxing.
you whoop some ass?
No, well, I'm
Oh,
I'm
yeah, I
extra.
remember the fight
so it's
scene,
at the MGM Arena Gardens. I think it's Lennox Lewis versus one of the
Lennox Lewis,
Klitschko brothers.
Oh wow,
And
that was a big fight.
yeah, well, it was for the movie, so it was fake.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's in the movie, but there was I think they did do real
they
fights.
have a real
Yeah,
fight?
yeah,
Okay.
but so it's I think I was 20 years old at the time, and
You're not 20 anymore, right?
no, no, I'm not.
22 probably.
Yeah, so basically,
Give you some
I remember I went there. I had some, I don't know, central casting type extra agency or whatever. So it was great because it's MGM Arena Gardens. They don't have craft services or like catering. Just all the restaurants are open. So you could get whatever food you wanted. And I was like, 20 years old. I just moved to Vegas. I'm like, this is great. And there's no way to keep track. So I had a lot of nachos and candy and all that stuff. But it was.
That's the problem with craft.
what was your
craft
role?
service.
I was just an extra, so they didn't really have any way. There's so many people there. They didn't really have any way of keeping.
So you just sat in the crowd.
Well, no, I made my way ringside like a natural extra actor would do. You're not supposed to talk to any of the main talent. So I met Julia Roberts and Matt Damon and like all these people like you're not supposed to talk to. And
Shout out to the former endorser of Crypto.com.
Yeah. So I just kind of like made friends with people, and I've always kind of been an artist, so I brought some paper and I was just like sketching and drawing and hanging out. So that was one role, and then the next one, there was some movie called I think like Undisputed or something with Ving Rhames and.
Oh wow, I actually remember that.
Yeah, so we got bussed out to a medium security prison that's like an hour outside of Vegas.
Who else was in that? Ving Rhames and.
You went to Indian Springs where OJ was?
I don't know what it was called. It probably is.
Yeah, it's the prison outside of Vegas.
Yeah, there was
Ving
one.
Rhames and the guy. Oh my God, he went to jail.
There was some like super huge white dude from Buffy the Vampire Slayer was like one of the other guys. But anyway, they like told us we had to wear like jumpsuits, and I'm thinking, okay, this is great. All right, it's like not.
What was it again?
Undisputed.
Undisputed.
So I'm there, and then they're like, okay, now we're gonna bring out the real prisoners from the prison, and I'm like. And like
Wesley Snipes and Ving
Wesley
Rhames,
Snipes, yeah. So they fight.
Great movie.
Yeah. So I'm there and I'm like, okay, this is you're already in a prison. It's kind of sketchy. And then they're like, it's a prison movie. So like I'm with
Shout out to all the homies in prison.
They put me with all the white guys, and then all the like Hispanic people are together and all the black people are together because it's like the prison gang movie or whatever, and they're
Wait,
like
what
fighting.
gang were you in?
I was in the white guy gang.
Aryan race?
Yeah, so he's already an Aryan Brotherhood by association.
So then they bring out
Put the bald white guy with the Aryans.
yeah. So this is actually hilarious. So then they bring out the real prisoners, and I'm like, I don't want to be by these fucking real prisoners. Like, this is like their chance to like do whatever. Because it's like
Did they surround you and say, hey,
what?
You're
swastika flag, tattoo, or you're dead?
Right. So the one main guy who was from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I just made sure I just went over like by wherever he was.
Help me, please.
Because I'm like at least like they're not gonna like the he's gonna be like by the cameras.
If they gotta choose which hostage,
Yeah, exactly.
it'll be him and not you.
Damn.
No, it's. I think that like I don't know. It was just crazy.
Better him than you.
That shit was crazy.
True
sorry.
or false?
Uh-huh.
Did you shower there?
No, we were just there for an afternoon, and the production
You
company.
can tell us. Nobody's watching.
Well, the production company or the casting company, if they see this, they never paid me, so they owe me whatever $100, but from 20 years ago. So with compound interest.
Had you invested that 100 in
Hell
crypto?
Yeah, right. Yeah. I would've
Actually, you may want to go to California's. There, you can go to the site where if they did pay you and couldn't find you, your money is probably there. I look up friends.
It was
all
in
the
Nevada
time.
though, so
Look in Nevada.
okay.
Look,
Right.
So if they had to pay, and most production companies get toasted for this, and I look at people's names all the time and find money in different states.
Mm-hmm.
Like, say for example, your insurance. If they couldn't find you or they sent mail, we have to put. I have a banking license, so
Yep.
if I owe you money, I have to send it to the state. And it just sits there.
Right,
There,
right.
there are billions and billions of dollars that are sitting there. I've done videos on it on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
Trying to help
I'll check
people
it out.
find money. I bet you we could probably look it up,
Help
and
me
you
find
probably
acting
have.
jobs.
Yeah, and then I think that was pretty much.
No, I would intern for a casting agent here in town.
Well, I'm
Because you-
just
interning
act for
here.
us.
Yeah, I'm
or-
literally
yeah.
interning here because I wanted to do podcasts. I'd rather my podcast is my passion. I'd rather do a podcast than acting. But I've dabbled in acting in the past, but
No, when I think of the the roles I've had and the hours I've spent on set, and I compare that to sitting here in a podcast, it's just not even. I mean, you got to pay me a lot more money to get me there now.
acting is it's a hurry up and wait type of deal. It's a lot
Yeah.
of be there on time, don't
is
be there
not-
late because you look bad as an actor if you're there late, but then the production takes 3 hours just to fucking start.
Mm-hmm.
And
Hey, it takes us a while to get the camera set up, okay? I'm going to let
No,
you build the FX6 and then we'll see how long it takes you.
podcast so different.
FX6?
Podcast not
Yeah, it's a
bad.
Sony cinema camera we have. That's my college tuition right
You
there.
had to pull it out on the table.
Even just to
like-
just to do a podcast at home, it takes
Okay, you got the
not,
big guns.
It doesn't take that long. But doing like a podcast different. Acting and trying to get lighting right for a camera, different people, and that was annoying. It is kind of annoying, but I'm like I still love the environment. I still love the set. I love being on
So I've
set.
got a documentary in my own movie. I worked with Clint Eastwood on True Crimes. I played a reporter, and he
I'm sorry, what?
yeah. So he was
Literally greatest actor director of our time.
He is
Clint
absolutely
Eastwood.
incredible.
Yeah, I love
but
him.
he actually ruined my acting career.
Man.
Oh, yeah.
So we can't talk about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Clint Eastwood ruined your career.
He did.
What happened?
He destroyed. Well, so it was I was on the set of True Crimes. We had like juices, like fruits I've never even heard of before. We're on the set. We had swordfish. For
Shout out
lunch.
to dragon fruit.
Yeah, yeah, every type of fruit. Like I've had dragon fruit, but at any rate, it was unbelievable. Swordfish lunch, prime rib, steak, lobster, everything you can think of. We only worked 8 hours, which on a set I was used to working 18 to 21 hours. Right, sitting in a trailer most of the time.
Yeah.
But with him, it was just he was so classy, and I said, "How did you do this?" And Clint said, "Look, early on, it was really." It was dealing with all the stuff that you were dealing with, and they'd still be treat me that way if I didn't create my own company. It created Malpaso Production like 50 years ago, and he hired all his friends, and they're close. They make a movie a year, and they meet at Thanksgiving. They do Christmas together, and they work 8 hours, and they are able to keep a family, which on other sets people couldn't keep families.
That's facts. Yeah.
Because of the work schedule. They work 5 days a week, and he treats them like decent human beings. And I told Clint, I said, I'm never getting into the acting business till I can treat people like you do.
Aww.
So and now I'm full circle. I'm getting ready to make my own.
Dope.
And
I like that.
It's about what happened with the Miller Motorsports track when I was trying to buy it for $28 million. And a Chinese company bought it for $18 million.
Orale, what the fuck?
And I sued the county and won.
Really?
Yeah. I'm under NDAs not to talk about it, but...
So much for that.
Got it.
That's a little different.
Shout outs to NDA. Mine ends in February.
Yeah.
It does. I worked for Take Two Interactive.
Oh, no.
And when they fired me, they said I couldn't say anything bad about them for a year.
Okay.
So that's up in
He
February.
said, I'm going ham on February. Fuck that company.
All right. His March 1st podcast should be at least a little interesting.
Well, but the tough thing is that you've said some things that you could associate back to. Yeah.
What do you mean?
But you'd have to cryptically put it together.
No, I'm going to put it out fully. Honestly, who cares?
We should have like a burn book podcast.
Yeah.
A what?
Like a burn. You know what a burn book is? Have you guys never seen Mean Girls? Oh, fuck you guys.
Of course they have.
my
Look at
God.
them.
You guys don't know what a burn book is though?
I love books. I wouldn't want to burn them.
No, it's not a.
I love reading
You know
books.
what? Like when you burn somebody, like burn.
What are
When you
your
make fun of
favorite
somebody?
books?
Yeah, really?
Yeah, like when you make fun of somebody. So
I
basically,
don't do that.
a burn book, it's kind of like it's like a high school, middle school kind of thing where
Really?
you put a picture. Say for example, Chris, we'll
Mm-hmm.
put a picture of Chris, and then we just write all the shit that we just can't stand about him, kind of shit like.
Or you make up stuff.
Or you make up stuff. This motherfucker's
This is a thing?
this. It's the whole thing.
This
But
is a
people
thing?
keep
Yeah,
it.
you outgrow it usually by high school, but Lana didn't.
Oh, bro, you have no idea the amount
Hey, by
of
the
people
way-
that have fucked me over.
By
in
the way,
my-
if we're going to talk
Okay.
about burn book, let's talk about the Wells Fargo VP who got fired today for urinating on a passenger on a plane.
No way. For real?
Yeah. Shout out to Wells Fargo. You really know how to hire people.
Wait, what?
I own a lot of Wells Fargo stock.
My brother peed on somebody for cutting him in a bar. That shit was funny as fuck.
I bought a lot of
I'm
Wells Fargo
pretty sure
stock.
if you piss on me on a plane, I'm throwing you out.
Really?
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
I'm pretty sure if I pissed on somebody on a
Like,
plane,
think
they
about-
pay me for it.
I wonder, like, what you do in your private life.
Who, me?
No, what you do in your private life. I mean,
He's on a
People in
plane.
general?
Though. He's on a plane, like 300 people.
yeah, but he's getting fired from his job.
Yeah, but he stood up on a plane and pissed on somebody.
Right, but in
But
his
what,
private life.
but wait.
Not on his private jet, though.
There's always two sides to the story.
He wasn't at work.
No, there's always two sides of the story.
Well, I'm pretty sure if you
Chris,
Like,
piss
what
on
the
somebody-
fuck did
I
the
saw you
customer
peeing
do?
out back.
Because a lot of times I'm like, look, customer ain't always right. Motherfucker, I'm going to piss on you. You want to talk to me a certain way? No, I'm gonna fucking pee on you. I'm going to take my dick out. I'm going to pee on you.
So what if the other person just opened the door and he turned around? Because he was
Sure, it
That's
didn't
a
happen
good
that
point.
way.
Okay.
How did it happen?
I don't know the details, so I'm not going to throw the guy under the bus.
Pretty
Yeah.
Just yet.
I can never throw
sure. Pretty sure
under the
getting
bus.
fired but from Wells Fargo gets you under the bus.
In what world does somebody who works at a bank pee on another person? There's got to be something to
This was
that.
on a plane, though?
On a plane.
Oh
So
my
then
God.
what the fuck are they adding Wells Fargo for? This has nothing to do with it, with Wells Fargo.
That's what-
Well, he's the
that's
VP
what I'm
of
saying.
He's a
there.
VP for
That
Wells
there's-
Fargo.
we-
So what?
I'm pretty sure when
He
you get to a
works for
certain,
Wells Fargo. He isn't
VP.
Wells Fargo.
I'm pretty sure when you get to a certain level of management, they don't want you pissing on people on a plane.
But you got a whole private. Once
I'll be
you
honest with
clock
you,
in,
Lana.
once
I
you
don't
clock
think you
out,
should be
clock
pissing
out.
on people on a
But
plane.
it-
Lana,
But you-
look at Dana White. Look at all the controversy he's going under. Like, he did that on his personal life, and they're trying to fire him.
Yeah, but
Who?
wait a second.
What did he do?
What the fuck was he doing? Did he slap his wife?
So
I
his
saw that.
wife slapped him, and then he slapped her back. They both came out and said, "We were severely intoxicated. We've been together for 30 years. This is not normal. We're fine." Like, we both got got heated.
I will say
Sometimes-
he's starting
let
some
me not
slap
say this on-
league, and I think it might be some sort of marketing ploy.
That's what I said, and
I
then
think
TBS.
so.
So people thought TBS canceled it. They were, but they just delayed it by a week. Kind of
What?
let things like simmer down. The premiere of the slap league.
Well, I heard that they're going to actually kick off the league by them being the first two.
That would be pretty
That
good.
would be epic.
That'd
Oh
be
my
pretty
God.
good.
That would be
in
fucking
this
epic.
corner. Oh my God! Can you imagine
so-
Bruce Buffer?
So
It's time. firemen. We got Dana. We got his wife. Okay, let's go.
And she wins.
I really think
Oh
there
my
should
God.
be there should be a whole ass sport where husbands and wives just smack each other.
There is. It's
Okay.
called domestic.
Okay, I'll be honest with you. I think we might be onto something here. Dana,
Yeah.
if you're listening,
Yeah.
let's talk.
Let's
we can
talk.
be over at the office sometime later this afternoon.
We can be over in 30 seconds. We're right
think-
behind the office.
I think there's a whole play here that turns this thing around for
Yeah.
you for political.
A woman's hit is still a hit. A woman's hit
Have you
still
ever
hurts.
been? I'll be honest with you. When a woman slaps, they know how to slap.
Oh, bro,
They don't know how to
beat up
punch.
my ex-boyfriends.
I know.
I've been scared for my life where I actually went in and just beat the fuck out of my boyfriend, and
I
then
know,
I was
but
like,
Girls don't know how to
did it to
punch,
me.
but when they slap, they're deadly with
"Nah, I
that
could
shit.
punch. I could do
and
it
by the way,
all.
they
I
don't.
grab heels. I throw shit.
When a
I
guy
don't know if
slaps, he
I
doesn't have
feel
any
like My
nails.
life is in danger.
But
my
when a
life
girl
is in
slaps,
danger.
she gets you with the nail drag. Like they may bust a few nails, but you'll get like, what the fuck? You get?
What, you think a man don't?
Huh?
You think a man,
Men don't
don't?
have nails. Like we chew that shit.
That's you.
No, man, this
That's
stuff's
you.
delicious, man.
Nails bring me back to my childhood.
What?
What?
Yeah, we can't talk about cars.
I
but
knew
we'll
I'd
talk
make you
about
laugh on that one.
chewing
I knew I'd
fingernails.
make it.
It's just so weird. You're like, we could talk about like, mushrooms. You're like, that reminds you of this business deal I closed.
Yeah, right.
So no, you know that
He's
you know
so
that, you know
random.
that song. What do you call it? 9 to 5. Dolly Parton. She was sitting there writing the song while she was flicking her nails.
She did that with her nails, right?
Yeah, she started the thing with her nails, and then she said that sounded like a typewriter, and they kept it in the song. So if you look at the song lyrics, it literally says that nails done by Dolly Parton. Like as far as
Oh, if you look at like the writing credits.
yeah, like writing credits, it says that is an instrument apparently is nails by that Dolly Parton. I
I
love the
love that
song.
song.
It's like an anthem for like getting shit done, right?
Shall we
love
let
that
Lana
song.
switch off? We can let Lana switch off, and then we can get the big four in here.
Okay, Lana switching off,
No,
and there's
no.
5 guys
I'm
in this
gonna
room.
let Antonio in.
Well,
Listen,
I mean,
That didn't sound appropriate. Don't switch off on Lana
you guys-
if y'all want
you
me to
guys got
leave the room.
You guys got 30 minutes. Bring it home strong. By the way, at all costs, please get Andrew to talk more about the cars. Where are they?
oh
Where
my
are they all
God,
parked?
yeah.
So you're not a car guy. You don't want to be known as a car guy, but can we?
I'm a banker. Like I know everything there is to know about all the infrastructure and like you could ask me about anything about cars and you'll not stump me. So I got 20 years of experience understanding the whole business, from buying, wholesaling, financing, insuring, everything. Just
Really?
everything you can imagine about cars.
God, I need to.
I've securitized literally tens and tens of thousands.
Do you know where I could get a
of
lowrider?
loans. A what?
You know where I could get a lowrider?
I'm sure you can find it online
Nah.
or at the auction.
Nah, I'm trying to ask you.
Oh, the other way would be to search serial numbers and start forensically finding them in backyards
Whoa.
because they're somewhere.
Okay.
They're out there.
So what are we talking about?
Well, we were
What did I
talking
walk-
about Wells Fargo fired
talking
a
about-
guy.
I was afraid to ask what I walked into. I didn't.
yeah.
Sure.
So that's what we were kind of in, and it's interesting because I guess he urinated on a woman, and he worked in India, so he's a former vice president of Wells Fargo in India. You know what's interesting to me is that now that Wells Fargo has fired him, right?
They did fire him? They
Yeah,
officially
so-
fired? Damn.
So if they didn't fire him, Wells Fargo wouldn't be in the headlines. Think about that for a second. If I'm the PR person at Wells Fargo, like, do I fire this guy? Because now they're in the headlines. His name is not the first name there. Wells Fargo is the first thing in this article.
Yeah, because
I mean, think about that for a minute.
That's what's messed up is like Chris said, as soon as you're at a certain level of management, now
Mm-hmm.
you're not just, like me, you're not just Lana Cherries. Now you're Lana Cherry, CEO of
Yeah.
Wells fucking Fargo. That's what people know you as. So it's like, oh, this
That-
guy, as soon as you Google him, he's Wells Fargo.
That's so interesting you bring that up because we were in the other room and we were just talking about that where like when
Wells Fargo? You were talking
no,
about
not
too?
Wells,
Oh,
just
okay.
like us as individuals, when you're at a certain level, you have to carry yourself in a certain way while still trying to be authentic at the same time.
yeah.
So and it is a tough
annoying.
balancing act.
That's a very tough
know.
balance.
I think it's almost impossible because you can. I've learned this over the years and having started 32 companies in 40 years. there's lawsuits and stuff that pop up, and when you're actually in a lawsuit, you're like, even if you're completely like you did nothing wrong, at the end of the day, the ability to through the Socratic method, like asking questions, you can make almost anything look horrible. Anything look horrible. So,
Like peeing on somebody in a
well,
plane.
I'm not, he's accused of peeing. I don't want to say allegedly accused of peeing, so I don't want to say he's peeing and be the guy that said that it was peeing. And was she on fire? I mean, I don't know the details.
What did I walk into?
So I just, I would like to, at least project some doubt into, destroying this guy's thing. And I own a bunch of Wells Fargo, so I'm a little pissed
Would you
off.
hire him?
Would I hire him? I mean, the guy's creative, right? He's willing to go out on a ledge. I would like to know what inspired him. Maybe he's passionate.
Right, but
I would want to know the backstory.
Pulling to unzip new ideas.
I have to hear like book. I'm one of those like when people like, oh, he beat up his girlfriend. I'm like, well, what'd the girlfriend do? Like the guy with the Wells Fargo is like, oh, he peed on someone in the plane. I'm like, well, what did the guy in the plane do?
Well,
There's always two sides to the story.
How does Wells Fargo find out? Like,
yeah, like how does
you know what I'm
everyone
saying?
find out? How do you even find out?
It was his buddy employee next to him. Probably just threw him under the bus.
Wait, what level is this guy at?
VP.
Which
VP isn't.
That's what
nothing
I'm
in a bank.
That's what I'm saying.
Because I used to work in banking. VP's not.
It's
like to the outside world, they hear vice president. It's a big title, but within banking, it's not a big title. I remember. I'm not going to say the bank. I remember a couple of years ago, something happened on the airplane, and everyone talked in the news about that bank. And I think it's because
there's a VP in every single branch of
maybe
every single
maybe it hit
location
the news that way because Wells keeps getting fined all the time for doing something crazy with their customer funds.
They just finally, they opening accounts. They open
fake accounts, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't. They did, I don't know that they've ever used customer funds in an inappropriate way, but they have opened up accounts to get bonuses, employee bonuses, and hit targets that they had a lot of pressure on them.
Yeah.
But I own a lot of Wells Fargo stock. I bought Wells Fargo when its book value was 90% of its actual value.
Yep.
So I bought Wells Fargo with its cash flow, and the dividends that they were paying me was 9%. I was making 8 and 9% as far as what I invested in and what I was making. I was like, this is incredible. Coming off of 3 or 4% money to instead of having the money in the bank, owning the bank, right, and getting there paying me, and I think the value of that stock's gone up about 200%.
Okay.
So and then they put them at a bridge about how much they could invest at some $1 billion amount.
Yeah.
And they lifted that about a year ago. So I knew also that when they lifted, and this is not financial advice, I'm not taking anybody else's financial. I've done this myself. So I bought Wells Fargo. I bought it when it was the book value of the company was lower than, because most of the time company's book value is 200 or 300 or 400 times 400% of its actual value. So to get a bank at 90% of its value, I'm like, go bankrupt. I make an extra 10%.
Yeah, it was a great value play. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Can we dig deeper into investments for a little bit? And
sure, as long as everybody knows I'm not giving anybody advice.
Of course.
Yeah. You know me, I'm like, I so don't want anybody to get hurt. I do everything myself. As far as I buy my bonds, I buy my securities, my treasuries, I buy into companies, I invest in companies, I start companies, and it's me. So nobody gets hurt around me for what I do, only me.
I love that. That's like your motto. Ever since the last podcast too, you were very like, I just want to help people. I'm very honest. Like I'm not trying to hurt nobody.
So if we
I love that.
So if someone paid you $15 million to go on TV and advertise, you're not going to do it?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. Not at all.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can respect that.
I'd rather be on a park bench.
Yeah.
Because you'd rather give it to them genuinely.
But if Microsoft was willing to give you a bunch of money to be the poster boy, then
I thought my
hey, you have to get yourself up here.
That was not financial advice either. Don't buy. It wasn't necessarily endorsing Microsoft or Windows 2000.
Yeah. So, well, no. I mean, I used the product at the time.
I think everyone did.
I
We didn't have much
used
choice.
it in all my
Right.
companies. So the idea that something I use, something that works, do I like it? No, I like Apple. I've always liked Apple better, but Apple's gone through their cycles. I love that in the Apple back in the if you've ever been in the back rooms of Apple, they have a big picture of Bill Gates in an Apple shirt.
Oh Lord.
So there's a big Apple logo and a tiny logo of Microsoft on the other side. So, and he's out there on the stage as one of the contestants that Steve's deciding if he's going to pick them to put him in his next computer.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
and you see, it's like a game show. If
I
you
didn't
you
know
can
that.
you can find it online, and you'll see how Bill Gates is pandering to Steve Jobs, who
Guys, we're going to have lunch at Oishi Sushi.
Oishi,
ooh,
Fuck
Thank you.
yeah.
yeah, okay.
I do have a question for you guys because you guys are very successful, obviously, and I'm still starting. What is the best advice that you guys can give for someone who like has never invested money, doesn't know anything about Bitcoin and stuff like that? Like, where can I start? Someone like me who has never done something like that.
Can I jump it off and we'll
Yeah.
go around? I think the first $100,000 that you ever invest should be into yourself and your personal development and your skills,
Got it.
because that's going to be something that you'll automatically be able to see a ROI on and carry with you for the rest of your life. So maybe that's joining a
What is ROI, return on
return on investment.
investment? Okay.
Yeah, so it's like basically, the other guys may have different answers, but for me, that was something that was helpful, because if you develop your skills and you develop your network, those are things that you're going to take with you throughout your life, and you have more control over it. So the initial money you put in, it's with you forever.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
I get what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, and then from there, obviously, you can get into other stuff. But for getting started, that would be where I would suggest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the same page. Education, educate yourself in the things that you're interested in your fields. But always look for differing opinions. There's something else we were talking in the other room that, it's a good thing to bring people in around you that have different thoughts. Like
Yeah.
if everyone around you just is telling you the same thing, change that up a little bit.
Because there's no growth there.
Yeah.
I get it. I get what you mean.
Yeah, invest. That's a pretty. I would say I'll go back to my beginnings. I bought all the courses I could get in personal development, and bought a lot of them, and a lot of them were just mindset. And then I bought a course that nobody was buying, but part of that was I looked at what has this person accomplished, and I noticed that most everyone that I was listening to were rich or famous because of their speaking, not because of what they had done in the world.
Okay.
And the
that's true.
people that were teaching what was being done in the world had no time to teach anybody, which is why I do what I do. Because nobody had time. Why would you take the time? I don't need to do any of that. I don't need to be sitting here.
Facts, yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
this is to give to other people. That's why it's valuable to me that whatever I say is going to contribute some value, because it ain't about me. I don't need to be famous.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're like, you already got this.
Yeah. So for me, I bought this course. I learned how to patent. I got my first patent into the system when I was 16 years old. I got my first licensing rights, started trademarking, copywriting, and got exclusive rights to a product when I was 17.
Nice.
And negotiated and had 200 employees at 17.
What the
and
fuck?
was a multimillionaire.
Whoa.
So, but I learned how to lock up rights to a product line. I got 13 different products that I locked up in Northern California
Yeah.
and Central California to be able to distribute fundraising candy. And it was as far as competitive leader, I was number one.
For schools?
Yeah, just all kinds of fundraising activities. Yeah. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah, it was really cool. I mean, who beat me was the Girl Scouts. But other than that, those girls are.
But they had an army.
They're pretty
They had
badass.
an army of little girls.
Those girls
And
those girls are
Yeah.
organized.
Yeah.
They're organized.
No, that's great. And to kind of piggyback off that, I was looking at some of your videos on YouTube and just some of the conversations that we had. You've talked about having millions, losing it all, getting to tens of
four
millions,
times.
losing it all. Is that something that you're comfortable sharing? Just a snippet of like.
Sure, I'll share whatever.
So my question specifically would be,
I did the battles. I've
Yeah.
got the scars. I almost took my life
Yeah.
in one
You
of those
said that last
cycles.
time, yeah.
So if I can take my experience and give it all to people so that they don't have to go through that, I'm all in. Everything I know, I share.
yeah. Did you get to? Did you? Because I've had ups and downs as well. Did you get to a point where once you? I mean, maybe you're there now, but like you're like, all right, I have it where you're not worried about it anymore, and it's just about the game or winning or sharing, and then you're like, you. I think you talked about this a little bit before, but I want you to share it with the audience, like where the money isn't the actual goal.
Yeah, This is right after I almost took my life. I was sitting in a closet.
What year are we in?
This is 2002.
Okay.
I hit 15 million as far as the net worth, and then I lost it all and went $875,000 in debt. And remember, I was homeless. I mean, I just lost my house.
Hey guys, can you?
Oh,
we got a big story going on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So where was I? What was the
$875,000?
Yeah, so I'm $875,000 in debt. I had 33 employees at the time that they absolutely loved me, and I treated them all with respect and just really cared about them, and they were willing to do anything as far as to get the company up and going. They just loved where they worked. They loved the whole thing. It was called Access Home Services, and had retail stores and everything like that. And I remember I didn't take my life because of my mom. I didn't want her to bury me, and I didn't want my son to have a successful father that took his life like that. So I didn't want to live, but I lived for the people that would be for other people. So I'm like,
you didn't want to hurt nobody.
I didn't want to hurt nobody. I didn't care about me. I was done.
Right.
I was toast. I had a $10 membership at the gym, and I put all my stuff into storage. So I had a $50 storage unit on Spring Mountain, and I would go.
Oh, this was here in Vegas.
It was here in Vegas.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, I have family, so any one of them would have taken me in, but I didn't want to burden anybody. So my family doesn't freaking know, right?
I felt that.
Yeah. So I didn't tell any of my friends. I didn't tell anybody. In fact, I've only really came public with it about a year ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's not something, actually a few years ago, I talked about it in my book. And I realized for the first time, like I was completely free. It was weird. I had no power bill. I don't know if you can. I had no rent.
I get what you mean.
I had nothing. And BMW was trying to get my car. They're like,
is that where you were sleeping?
Yes. So I would pull in behind like apartment complexes, and the gates would close.
Yep.
And then I could sleep because they couldn't really take the car at that point. So yeah, it was.
How long from that moment to when you reached some sort of level of success again? Like, the bounce back period, how long was that?
So I was like, okay, what do I do? 6 months. It was about 6 months of that, and between 6 months and a year. And I had a couple of guys that I had ran out of town. I was so successful, they literally closed their entire business and left. And then so they called me up and said, hey, we'd love you to consult for us.
Nice.
Right? And they were scared to call me because I was the competition, right? But they heard that I was no longer around as far as in business.
Okay.
So I opened up 106 stores for them. And
which industry?
Cellular.
Okay.
And also 2 retail stores.
Wow.
And they were shocked. And then when I was done setting everything up, I said, thank you, that was awesome. And I pulled a business plan off my shelf called Property Sold by Owner. It was to help people sell their own homes without using a real estate agent. So I started that magazine. I sold $120,000 in advertising in the first week.
Wow.
The magazine took me about $5,000 to produce. So instantly I was in the green.
Yep.
All I had to do was produce the magazine. And then from that, I felt like people still couldn't get it across the finish line to sell their home. So I started a discount brokerage where I only charge people like $1,500 or $2,000 to sell their home.
Wow.
And then from that, I started a construction company because my father was in construction. Then I started developing and building homes. Then I started a development company. Then I started a bank, and I started a dealership, and then I started a banquet facility. I bought real estate. I tore down neighborhoods and rebuilt them. A shipping company that I built, a 30,000 square foot shipping facility, and yeah, about 13 different companies. I think coming off of that, I was so worried about, because I had not diversified. I had sold everything, bought this one company, and I wasn't diversified. And that's what put me in that situation. So the next time I rebuilt it, I built it in real estate, I built it in cars, I built it in finance, I built it in insurance, I built it in 13 different sectors. So when real estate crashed, I went from $63 million to negative 12.8 million on my balance sheet. But the difference is, instead of only being in real estate, I also had a banquet facility, I had a car dealership, I had an insurance company, I had a finance company, I had all these other companies. So while I was losing $50,000 a month for 4 years, being 12.8 million negative, I called my banks every day and I said, I'm going to square up with you. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to make sure that you're whole. I'll protect the properties. We're going to get the maximum value. We're partners. You believed in me. You'd pick the right guy. So I paid all of them back. My last $50,000 I paid April 12th, 2012. I remember I was at this Layers coffee shop. I was out on the patio, and I remember making that call and wiring the money, and I wired my last 50 grand. I was broke at that. I was zero. I had no money at all, which was awesome because I was digging out of a hole of $12.8 million. Some would say it would have been smarter 4 years earlier just to file bankruptcy.
Right.
But to me, I'm so detached from money, right? To me, it's more about the creation. It's more about creating stuff, about building houses, developing, industrial subdivisions, restaurants, nightclubs. It's about creating stuff and being true to your word and making stuff happen. And I love putting things out in the world, exchanging products or services that actually benefit people. So I didn't want to hurt anybody that had believed in me.
Right, because those relationships are where the real secret sauce is.
Yeah. And I mean, it was stressful because they were all thinking that I was just going to bail on them.
Right.
Because most of the people.
That's what everyone does. It's the easiest way to get out of it.
But what else was I going to do?
Right.
You know what I mean? That was my thing. And people would say you're stupid. And probably I was. Depends on your financial blueprint.
Right.
My financial blueprint is great relationships, developing relationships, growing as a human being. I use business for personal development, to grow as a person. I don't use it to make money. Every deal I learn, every person I talk to, like you and you guys came on my channel, it's like it's an opportunity for me to grow as a human being. Yeah. So that's my selfish thing. And then on the flip side, I selfishly am trying to help other people so they get to be selfish and say, I listen to Andrew because he's providing me some kind of benefit to why I should even listen to him. So that's kind of, because I think people look and go, what's in it for me?
Yeah.
Like, like what's in it for you? And you gotta, I think, speak to that.
I also think that people are seeing where you are at life now, but what you just described, that was just 10, 11, 12 years ago, where you were still going through stuff. And I think that people that are going through it right now, they need to understand, things take work.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
You have to really, especially being an entrepreneur or business owner, you have to really be able to endure anything.
Yeah,
you really have to. And I feel like for the folks that maybe are listening, if they want to start a business, I'm from a small town in Illinois, in between Chicago and Milwaukee. And on Facebook, I have friends, and one of them was talking last night, $30 an hour. I used to think I was really kind of like making it, right? Like back there, cost of living is pretty low. And he's like, now it's damn near just scraping by.
Yeah.
And I had to put a post up and a comment because he had tons of comments. Like everyone was saying like, oh, this is facts. And I said, well, a job is just over broke. If you're trading your time for money, you're never going to be rich or wealthy. And, basically just like kind of laying out a blueprint. Like if you're not willing to take risk and you're going to be working for someone else, then you're going to be getting a wage. And if you're getting a wage, then it's really hard to kind of like get to that next level. And I was just kind of trying to share with them, like, that's like why I love America. You can have an idea and start a business and and become successful and pull yourself up from the bootstraps. And that's really still alive and well today. And I kind of just left in closing that if they weren't happy with the situation, that they should learn sales and at least do commission-based sales, because then you have unlimited earnings.
It's funny. I'm probably going to say something that'll probably shock you, coming from me. I've always dreamed about being complacent in a job. And I started my first venture when my dad cut me off financially at 12 years old. And that just, by 15, the ambition was just dripping out of me like sweat. Right. So I got plenty of sweat equity. And to me, I don't wish my level of work ethic or ambition, like I look at people that have jobs and that they can clock out, like the people that work for me, and they clock out at 5 o'clock and there's not a thought in their mind about me, the company, nothing. They get to literally, when they walk out the door, they don't have to care anymore about me, the company, or anything. And when they walk in, it's getting into the mode of actually working there that they get to. But up until that time, they could care less, which means when they go home, they're actually at home. And they don't have flip charts or whiteboards in their living room. I work every day, 7 days a week, from the time I wake up till the time I go to bed. And I don't think that's talked about enough.
Right.
That if you're in a job that pays your bills, puts some savings, and you're able to invest, it's not so much, it's what you save and invest that makes the difference in the long term. My up and down stories, if I go back and I would have got a good city job, saved money, invested it properly, I'd probably be just as wealthy as I am today.
Yeah, I mean, there is a flip side to it.
Maybe not as
I
well.
don't. No.
Probably, the numbers don't work there. I'm sorry, I just lied badly. I got carried away with the
not
concept.
Financial advice.
Yeah, I got way carried away with it. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't even come close to the numbers.
Right. But let me ask you.
You guys are like looking at my house, going, yeah.
Yeah, no. But would you trade it? Would you trade it if you could?
Well,
but if there are still, because there's still struggles like being an entrepreneur, even at your level, there's new problems you have to solve.
What would I be trading? So I would probably have more friends, more developed relationships on a very social side. I probably would have played more activities. I would have watched more football. I don't watch a lot of football. I would have watched more basketball. I would have watched more baseball. I probably would have drank more alcohol, which is great. I probably, the trade-off, is there. There's definitely, I can think of a lot of things that I missed out on. I missed out on my childhood. When you start a business at 12 and you're a millionaire by 17 and you have 200 employees, you've missed your childhood. I didn't go drinking. I wasn't on senior cut day. I didn't cut. I went to school.
Right.
I got perfect attendance, and it's just, I don't want to villainize someone who's at a job and say, you need to do what I do, because what I do almost cost me my life.
Yeah, I appreciate that, because too many people have polarizing conversations about this, and it doesn't have to be that way.
No,
we all have our roles to fill.
We make people wrong.
Yeah.
For having a job, and I'm like, if you're not going to use the resources that you accumulate, and they're just going to sit around, and like, what are you doing? Go get a great job that you love doing, serving people that you want to serve. Enjoy your job, save some money, and enjoy your life. Like, I don't know why that's not a conversation. I don't hear it proliferate, and because some of my stories are nightmare stories. They're tragic. They're emotional. They've cost friendships, relationships. I've lost a lot of relationships because they go, you know what? I love you, but you just work too hard. I don't get enough of you. And I want somebody that I could have more of to be in my life. I love you, but I can love somebody else. And that somebody else that I can love will give me more of them than you will. Because all you're doing is you're just working. And I just can't help it. It's like
it's built inside, I think.
Yeah. It's just It's just me.
Well, and there's with the people that are doing jobs and stuff, it was I feel like with this particular situation and comment, it was just one, they were talking about,
Well, they want it. They're asking you, how do I achieve like success?
and commenting on like the inflation and all that stuff, and also kind of complaining, right? So it's like my thing is like
For sure.
I love learning new stuff. With AI, I'm learning so much every day, and over the last year. Yeah, and it's interesting when you're working on something and it's not really super well known, and then within the last 8 weeks has become like
we've been
on the
playing
tip
with
of
it
everyone's tongue.
We've been playing with it for 2 years.
Yeah, but the masses of people, until like Lenza and with Stable Diffusion and Chat GPT, they haven't really had that moment yet. And aren't
It's
really
only
sure
just
how it
begun,
works.
too.
Yeah, so we're just scratching the surface on that, and that's kind of why I think that anyone that is working in any business or any job, they need to be paying attention and start interacting with it.
Yeah, I think don't run from technology, run to technology for
Right.
sure. And these are tools. They just make you, like I did a video called Superhuman in regards to how to use the new AI technology, and it's not complicated. It's easier. Like if you want to write code for an app, you just tell ChatGPT write code, and it codes for you, and you copy and paste.
Yeah, you have to. There's a little more to it. We've been using some of the stuff.
I'm only saying that to get people as a gateway to use it. I'm trying.
Yeah.
My wife does this. She makes everything complicated, and I know that if you're interested and you look at something, you'll uncomplicate it.
Well, and when I was working at this ad tech company previously, they would say Google was. I think we had 10 engineers at the time, and Google was the 11th engineer.
I'm sorry, just Google's responding.
So yeah. Google was the 11th engineer.
Listening.
Well, because the thing is, they're writing in multiple code languages.
Says the engineers of the time in Google was 11th engineer. I don't know.
Oh gosh. Oh yeah, because it's just transcribing.
Yeah.
But basically, like all the developers that we had, you can't remember everything. So that's why I think some of these tools are really important, because even for guys that are coding. So my co-founder Pablo, we're working on some stuff, and he said this before ChatGPT, he would maybe have to code for 4 days.
Right.
Now he can get it done in 4 hours.
Yeah, it's amazing. I've seen some people now that what takes 10 hours is taking minutes or even...
Yeah, I look at it from the perspective of what you were talking about earlier about your life experiences and the way things could or could not have been balanced better. It's helped people embrace technology because you can use it to save time.
Oh, for sure. It's
and
just
you
a
could spend
tool.
time elsewhere.
Yeah, it's a tool, and it's like anything else. It's a tool. The bad thing is if you're in an environment, we live in a competitive world. We're competing for jobs. We're competing for just about everything, right? So if you're not at a level where you can compete with everybody else, I just don't want anybody to be left behind that could use these tools. I mean, it took a while for people to start using Google. And so this to me is right on par with if you use Google to look stuff up. I have on my phone ChatGPT. It's on my home screen, literally on my home screen, so I can just press it because ChatGPT is actually a website right now that you got to log into. They don't have a mobile app, but I have it on my home screen as a save thing. You can press the website like when you're on the website on your phone and add it to your home screen. So Google that or ask ChatGPT, which you might not have, but get it and put it on your phone. But yeah, like earlier today, I pulled up a chat, and the answer I got from ChatGPT was so much better than Google. I mean, the double spend that we're talking about, just that word that was coming up, it coded it right away. Double spend. This is the reason why it took off, and that's why it's what it is.
So we have a few minutes left. Do you want to talk anything about some potential business boot camps that may be coming up, or should we keep that under wraps?
No. I think it's formulating like a mastermind, right?
Yep.
It's we're looking at Tulum and on the beach, 4 hours. I mean, this is open. It's a group thing, so there'll be some masterminding. There'll be some, grabbing ideas about where you're at in your life, that's where you want to be. And if that is, then strengthening that with the group and with marketing, with building out, being able to get access to capital. Like that to me is really about how do you get money?
Yep.
How do you get access to leverage that money? And then where do you invest it? Your life or your time or your money, right? Because even your time is an investment,
Yeah.
right? So it's probably the biggest investment you'll ever make is your time,
Yeah.
right? Money, you can just simply, it's kind of dead. You just put it there.
You can't really multiply it. Yeah.
But you organically. So I think it's going to, for a lot of people, it'll be really like introspective healing of their own like financial, spiritual kind of event, because it's really going to acknowledge everyone as who they are,
Right.
and then really bring them to where they're ultimately where their heart's going to sing, where they want to be.
Yeah.
Busting apart some of the identifications and limitations that people have that keep them from getting what they want, and maybe some of the things that'll help them get to where they want to go, and learn to, their elevator's pitch, their basic story, how to get started, when to get started, where to go to find things, lots of resources. I'm a big resource guy.
Yeah.
So how to, patent, how to trademark, how to copyright, how to license stuff, how to go into foreign markets, how to get other people that can have your business and be in other places. I mean, and the open mic masterminding. I mean, I've got 40 years of experience in 32 businesses in 17 industries. So everything I've ever learned in all of that stuff, I plan to share, and I'm hoping everybody at the boot camp will literally do the exact same thing. Like whatever they have to offer, I don't want them to be quiet in the room.
Right.
This is one of the things in school, which when I got in business was a huge thing. In school, I had to pass the test. To get an A, I was the source of that. As soon as you graduate from school, you can cheat. Like everything that you want to know, you can just ask somebody.
Yep.
You don't have to like learn it on your own, or you can just, hey, what do you think about this? And most people like me, that I have nothing to lose by telling you how to get what you want.
And I think that's so important, like to have your network where it's like there's something new comes up and they're like, hey, I'm crushing it with this. We're making a ton of money.
Right.
Like, let's hop on a call. I'll tell you all about it, and then you can start working on it with me.
Yeah.
And like it's so fun, kind of the entrepreneurial circles that we run in, where everyone's always like really helpful.
Yeah.
Because it could be you this week that's setting someone up, and then next month it's someone else coming knocking on your door, ringing your phone, or texting you, saying like, hey, this is really crushing it right now.
Yeah, I've seen people go from being the CEO of one company to being the first employee in the second company of the friend that used to work there, and you see flip-flop and everything else. I think at the end of the day, titles are, they're kind of irrelevant. It's like, what are we creating? How are we going to move things forward? You know? So I think it'll be a fun boot camp. It's definitely non-guru based. So, that the idea is not for people to come bow at the feet of the guru.
Right.
I'm putting it together, but really it's a facilitation of the best of everybody, and to share and to grow. And, I want to contribute everything that I can. I mean, I've done the battles. So.
Right. That's awesome. It sounds like a really great reset, a place to people kind of like get some restorative healing and also financial freedom.
Yeah, that's the idea. Pull the restraints off mentally, emotionally, and financially.
In a beautiful location.
In a ridiculously beautiful, like water is like 80 degrees. I mean, it's just absolutely perfect. Sand is like so refined. It's just beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah, and then we got a day club there. We've got a full restaurant. There's a bar. There's a $50 million resort. Just absolutely beautiful.
That's awesome.
And the owner is the reason I've picked this resort. Is the owner started with nothing and built a $50 million resort by herself with no money.
That's amazing.
And it's debt free.
So hearing her story would be awesome on one of the panels or keynotes as well.
Yeah, she's agreed to help. Her story is just so like ridiculously inspiring. She wanted to start. She was in New York with an unsatisfied life, dating an investment banker, and unhappy in her life, and she just left Mexico to Tulum and put Tulum on the map. Literally, she put it on the map and built this from nothing. She wanted to start bikini boot camp.
Wow.
Bikini boot camp was what she started, and she wanted people to come and heal and grow next to the beach in a beautiful environment.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for the conversation. It's
and
incredible.
any final thoughts from Blockquake?
I just want to encourage people to just go out there and, try whatever they're thinking, any idea, go out, give it a go, surround yourself by the right people, and make stuff happen.
Yeah,
Awesome.
definitely.
Cool.
Check it out.
So I'm Chatteroo. You can find me at Chatteroo LA. Antonio, what's yours?
Antonio Brass, for the company, it's our company name Blockway.
Awesome. Andrew?
And you can Google Andrew Cartwright, and my Instagram is Andrew X Cartwright, and my YouTube channel is Andrew Cartwright. That's where most of my stuff is, and Cartwright 007 on Twitter.
Yep. And check out his book, Origin Opportunity, on Amazon.
Just
Get it.
crushing it right now.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's organically just developing a following. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right,
And
cool.
thanks to Chris Champion and Sticky Paws Studio and the Crypto Dinner Club.
Yeah.